Oklahoma City takes care of the Indiana Pacers in Game 5, and they did it in pretty convincing fashion, fellas. J Dub, legacy game, 40-piece. SGA, regular night in the office, 30 and 10. And Tyrese Haliburton. I don't know if we'll ever be able to let him live this one down because, fellas, he just didn't show up yet again to the NBA Finals. It was a terrible outing for Tyrese Haliburton. And ultimately, the Thunder are up 3-2 right now, and it's looking like the series might just be theirs. Thoughts, comments, anything?
Well, here's the thing, Ron. At some point, when you get into a series, whether it's game 2, it can be as early as game 1, or it can be even as late as the elimination game. Teams start to separate themselves from the other team where you recognize this team is just better than this team. And last night, watching that Indiana team and watching that Oklahoma City team, I started to see the separation between these two teams on the glass, with Chet being able to just be as dominant as he was around the rim. I think there's something wrong with Miles Turner, and I wouldn't be surprised, Ron, after this series is over, we heard that Miles Turner is having surgery on something, because it just looks like something's wrong with him. I don't know what. He running like he got a piano on his back, but it's just something that looks wrong with him. But as far as these guys playing, I think that this Oklahoma City team, as a unit, has started to separate themselves from Indiana, slowing down their transition game the way that they did. I think SGA has figured out Nembhard. In the beginning of the series, I felt like Nembhard sped SGA up, which is uncharacteristic of SGA. SGA always played at his own pace, but I felt like Nembhard, being the pressure defender that he was, he started to frustrate SGA. Watching SGA last night, it seems like SGA played at the pace that he normally plays at. He played slower. He was more in control of his game. He was definitely looking more to get to the spots that he normally gets to, and it worked. But more than anything, what it reminded me last night of was 1994. I'll never forget this, Ron. 1994, the Rockets are down 2-0. They lose the first 2 games at home to the Phoenix Suns. In game 3, Vernon Maxwell goes for 34. He's like, we're not going home. We're not going down 3-1. And when he does that, they go on to win 3 of the next 4 games. And they go on to ultimately win the series. Essentially, he was telling Lajuan, I got us back in the series. Now it's your turn to take over. I felt like J Dub did that last night. Like, I got us the game that's getting us to the top of the mountain. Okay, SGA, now it's your turn to push us over the top of the mountain. And I feel like that's what we're going to see on Thursday in Game 6. Don't get me wrong. I know that Tyrese Haliburton is a little beat up, and I think these couple of days that these guys have off, I think that that's going to help. But I just think that this Oklahoma City team is better, and I feel like they've separated themselves from this Indiana team.
Mars, thoughts on Game 5?
What are your thoughts?
Well, I was going to ask you guys, what was more surprising to you? Actually, it's on the poll right now. J Dub's 40-piece or Tyrese Haliburton's no-show?
Well, coming from an all-pro and an all-league defender, I think it's more likely that you could get a performance like that out of somebody like that, as opposed to your starting point guard where we get nothing from you. And essentially, that's what we got yesterday from Haliburton. He didn't speed the game up. He didn't do anything on the defensive end. He couldn't make shots. He couldn't get downhill. He didn't affect the game in any way possible. Those 4 points that he had were at the stripe. He turned the ball over 3 or 4 times, which is very uncharacteristic of him. I think Oklahoma City does a good job in speeding you up, and I think that they've done a good job on him. But for him to be completely taken out of the game, that's less likely than J Dub going for 40.
I disagree.
Me too.
Go ahead, Ron.
That's all you have to say is you disagree?
Yeah, that's what I have to say. Go ahead, Ron.
Wait. You disagree with what?
Ronnie,
I disagree with it being more likely that J Dub would have the game he had than Halliburton. But go ahead, Ron.
What do you want me to say?
Talk about the game, Ron. What did you see yesterday, Ron? Because you was popping all of that shit to us about Indiana this, Indiana that. Ron, what did you see yesterday from this crew? That where are you with this team? Who in your estimation, Ron, is going to win the NBA championship after what you saw last night?
Well, what I seen last night was that the whole arena was packed. You know, they all had white shirts on. That's why I wore my white hoodie today. They all had white shirts on. Everybody was going crazy. It looks like Scott Foster put in that call to all three of those refs, so they were ready to, you know, officiate the game the way a game is supposed to be officiated.
Way better.
The way the game is supposed to be officiated. Also, what I seen was yesterday was the first day, and Chill kind of alluded to it. It was the first day where we seen a talent gap. Like OKC just looked better from start to finish. The Pacers started to kind of try to turn things on in the third quarter, a little bit in the second quarter, but it never really got close. Once they got up 10-15, the Pacers.
It was a 2-point game.
It was a 4-point game.
Very close.
So it
was like 93
in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, we were halfway through the fourth. It was a 2-possession game.
They made a run, but it never really felt like Indiana was getting back into the game like that. Like
Ron, I know for a fact that I hate when people say things like if a player misses a game, or if a player has 4 points, for instance, right? I hate when people say, man, if this guy would have had 18, we win the game by this many, because we all know that's not how basketball works. but if, and I'm not going to just say Tyrese, if Miles Turner decided to play half a game of basketball, if Tyrese decided, you know what, I am in an arena today, maybe I should play some basketball, I think they win that basketball game, because I didn't see a major talent gap. I just saw one team playing ball, another team not playing ball. Tyrese Haliburton didn't show up to work last night. You know what I mean? TJ McConnell. You know what I'm saying? How long is TJ gonna have to do his job before they just give him his gig? Like, you know what, you do his job so much anyway. You know, like I'm saying, Ron, like it's like, for instance, like if I just start hosting today, everybody gonna be like, man, Ox is such a better host. He might as well be the host. You know what I mean? So it's like TJ's such a better point guard at this point. It's just like, bro, Rick, if you want to win, you know what to do.
I mean, but that's not what's been going on all season long. That's not what's been going on all playoffs long. That's not what we
not talking about all season long shit. We're just talking about right now.
And see, that's the thing, Ox. You ride
even
with
in the finals, though. Like,
and I'm not going to argue that TJ. I'm not going to argue that TJ's been fantastic. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to act like Tyrese Halliburton isn't the main reason why we're here. He's not. Let's not act like as good as TJ has been in these NBA finals, Tyrese Haliburton isn't I mean, we got an all-pro guard on our crew. There's a reason why we've been deep into the playoffs 2 years in a row. There's a reason why we've been the best team since January 1. Tyrese Haliburton has a lot to do with that. And I don't want to
y'all too sentimental for basketball. Chill.
No, I'm not. No,
I've come to realize that these playoffs this season, that y'all are too sentimental for basketball. I don't care who drove here. I don't got nothing to do with it. We got a job to do.
It's work. Yes.
Sometimes you got to drive and then sit your ass in the car and let us go do our thing.
Okay, I can get with that. That part I can get with, Ox. But I did drive us here. So what you're not going to do
much love. You get much love.
You get credit for doing that. You get credit for driving.
Here's the difference, though, fellas. You're not going to leave me outside the venue because I don't got enough dough on me.
If we get to the venue
and they
say
I filled up the car.
They say no shoes, no service, and you decide to not show up in any shoes, that's your problem. We're not meant to now cancel the whole trip because you decided to not show up with some shoes.
Nah, fuck that. We all going back home. Niggas ain't gonna leave me. Y'all ain't gonna leave me in the car like a little kid. Y'all ain't gonna leave me in the car like a little kid.
So you would lose the finals to stick with Haliburton.
Cut your nose off to spite your face. Cut your nose off to spite your face.
OKC go ride or die with SGA. And I can promise you that.
He ain't killing him.
He's not, but if he was, they go ride or die with SGA.
I'll be saying the same thing.
Just like the Miami Heat rolled or died with LeBron James.
Right.
And
we focus.
he
on
drove the
this
motherfucker
seriously?
straight off the highway.
See, y'all, you reminiscing about
Would
2013 and 14
you
and
guys
11.
have benched Haliburton yesterday? When you seen the
Yes.
third quarter that TJ McConnell had, him and Pascal practically single-handedly bringing them back into the game. It was a 2-point game at one point.
Mhm.
Would you have brought back Haliburton in place of TJ McConnell like Rick Carlisle did?
I would.
Definitely
Here's the
brought
thing,
back.
Mars.
I might
Halliburton coming back in the game. TJ McConnell not leaving the game. And if he does take a quick break, and we were on playback watching this game, I said TJ and me and Ox talked about it. I said I actually said I'm not sitting down TJ McConnell. Ox was like, nah, he got to get a quick break. I said no, I'm not taking him out the game. With that being said, Halliburton's playing too. I'm playing them both together. Nembhard Nembhard has kind of flown under the radar because he's not the star caliber player that Haliburton is. TJ McConnell's been out playing Nembhard too. So, but also with that being said, Nembhard's the main one is checking SGA. But Nembhard and Neesmith haven't had amazing series. TJ could play for one of them. On top of that, Miles Turner, you haven't really been doing too much. Pascal, for all I'm concerned, Pascal could play center. Miles Turner, you could come sit down. Obi Toppin, you don't have to come in. You know it. I'm saying that to say Halliburton's going to play no matter what, for better or for worse.
I don't agree.
TJ McConnell, you're playing for better because you've been playing better, so you're going to play. But I'm riding. I'm living and dying with the results of Halliburton. I'm living and dying.
This is not an old head. This is not an old head take. You have to roll
head or not.
You have to roll with who got you there. You have to roll with who got you there. And I'm not cutting off my nose to spite my face because Tyrese Haliburton, for all intents and purposes, he wasn't good yesterday, Ox. And I said this to you last night. At some point, you got to look at TJ McConnell and go, I need to get on my job. It's not that my job is not secure or anything like that. That's not the issue. But this dude clearly came to do his job. And I feel like TJ took us as far as he could take us. Because if TJ stays on the floor yesterday, do they beat Oklahoma City? I don't know. But I can tell you right now, if Tyrese Haliburton doesn't play the rest of the game, if he doesn't play the rest of the game, it could affect him moving forward. And we need him. We 100% need him. It could affect him moving forward.
Don't do this right now.
No, you know exactly.
And it's not Ox, it's not a soft thing. No, that's not what this is about. This is not about being soft. But what I'm saying
it's about not being mentally tough. Then
it's not about being mentally tough neither.
Not mentally strong.
I got to get on my job. I clearly have to get on my job. I got to get on TJ McConnell's page. I got to get on Siakam's page. I got to get with these dudes. Just like when they haven't had it going. Well, this is why we have the best record in the league. This is why we had the best record since January 1st. Because there were times when they didn't have it going. And I got going. And they recognized they got to get on my page. We can't just leave him behind now. One more time, Mars.
They got benched when guys don't perform.
And Haliburton got benched.
It
wasn't like he played the whole game, Mars. He did get
No
benched.
one plays the whole game. No one's Wilt Chamberlain in. But Haliburton played, besides the fact that he came out early in the first quarter because calf tightness. Haliburton played pretty much his regular minutes in the second half. Played pretty much his regular rotation.
Tyrese should have splinters in his ass.
I don't see the issue for a singular game when someone doesn't have it, putting them on the bench. I don't care who you are. If you're not helping the team win, especially when it's a do or die game 5 in the finals. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Killian Hayes. I don't care who you are. If you're not helping the team win, get off the court. But there's no time for you to be like, wait, you're actually the biggest reason we're here in the finals. So you could just play like trash and we have to stick with you. No.
That's not
no. Because if I lose this game, you're now down 3-2. And I'm not saying they're down 3-2 because Rick Carlisle stuck with Halliburton. Like, there's many reasons why.
Right.
But that didn't help. That didn't help. I'll say that. That didn't help.
Hey, Mars, good evening, by the way. I just want to say, Halliburton, I'm with Ox and I'm with Mars. His ass should have been on the bench yesterday. He was scared. That's what he was.
In replace of who, though? Like, okay, we can establish. Okay, no, we can establish TJ McConnell should have been on the floor. That is, we don't have to even debate that. We all know that. Yeah. There's 4 other spots. Pascal is locked in. So TJ and Pascal. The 3 other spots, who are you going with?
Nimhard, Neesmith, and Obi. Let's rock.
Obi, Nimhard, Neesmith. My thing is this. And we can. I'm not saying leave Haliburton on the bench the whole game. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that fourth quarter where Rick Carlisle decided not to put TJ McConnell in the game and
10 minutes, he subbed him out at the 10-minute mark.
Yes, and decided not to watch Nimhard struggle and Haliburton struggle. And the struggles that Nimhard doing, it's bonehead plays. It's like, oh, I'll just turn the ball over. I'm okay with that. The struggles that Tyrese Haliburton doing is scary. He's scary. He's scared. He come off the pick and roll, pick his dribble up every single time because he can't beat nobody off the dribble, and then he cry for a foul. All this putting my hands up. No, I had to come. You know what? I'm glad we're here today because I had to come to my senses and I had to, be a man and man up. Tyrese Haliburton ain't better than Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell would have went 5 for 30 last night.
Well, yeah, he would have emptied the clip. I don't think that makes you a better player.
No. In the finals, that make you a better player, Mark. Tally hasn't had, besides the game where he he had a near triple-double game before that. But like, brother, we need you to start playing. You've been playing like trash. All this side-to-side dribbling, passing, turning the ball. Bro, come on, bro. We need you to get downhill.
When you come off a pick, you come off a high pick. When you come off a high pick and you got was it Isaiah Hartenstein? When you come off a high pick, you got Isaiah Hartenstein out there, and it's just a big gap between him and the sideline. Now you're not getting around that hip to put some pressure on the defense. Instead, and you don't even keep your dribble alive and go back the other way, but instead Isaiah Hartenstein high hedge is making you pick up your dribble when we got 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Scared, bro.
That's no good. That's no bueno.
Bro.
That's no bueno. You come sit with me over here. Come over here.
All of the frantic dribbling from side to side, from damn near half court, frantic. It's too much. Should nobody be able to guard you from damn near half court, bro? Get by there.
I feel like this is such an overreaction.
It is a little bit wrong. It is a little bit, but with that being said, we can talk about how good J Dub and how good J Dub.
Besides Donovan Mitchell versus Halliburton, Jordan brought that up. Everything we said has been explicitly about last night's game.
No, I get it. But I'm gonna say why it's an overreaction.
Okay.
Because you guys are talking about benching a guy.
Game, Ron. A must-win game, Ron.
Okay, so what?
Their life is on the line, bro.
Obviously, I get that. I understand that. My thing is, and I know it didn't happen, but if he would have made 2 or 3 of the threes that he shot and went 2 for 4, the conversation is completely different.
If Hallie played better,
no, that's not what I'm saying, Mars. That's not what I'm saying. You got if he makes 2 or 3 of those shots. No, this is what I'm saying.
100.
Jordan wouldn't be up here talking about him dribbling.
100% ties into
2
what you're saying.
threes don't change.
No, listen to what So can you guys let me finish what I'm about to say?
Yes, it does.
Can you let me finish what I'm about to say before you?
You're telling me if
you can't say something we all disagree with, though.
No, you didn't even let me say what I'm about to say.
That part of the statement, I think we disagree.
Oh, okay. Let me go further into what I'm saying. So
please elaborate, brother.
No, here's what I'm saying. Are you guys expecting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to shoot 10 threes next game? Are you expecting him to go 7 for 10?
No.
Are you expecting iHeart to shoot 4 threes and make 3 of them?
No.
The point I'm making, I'm saying that to say we're not expecting these guys to be who they aren't. Haliburton has been this player all season. He's not split pick and rolls. He's not dribble side to side. He is a player that dribbles east to west and probes the defense and looks to get other players off in the way that he does. He has a unique style of play that nobody else plays like. He did this in the first round. They won the first round. He did this in the second round. They won the second round. He did this in the finals, and they won 2 games. In fact, they went up 1-0. I didn't hear none of you guys saying bench him when they went up 1-0. They went up 2-1. Jordan, I didn't hear you say bench him. Ox, I did not hear you. Well, Ox, you've been consistent with the TJ McConnell, but you never said bench Tyrese Halliburton because he didn't split a pick and roll. That's the only reason why I'm saying that we're overreacting, because this is who Tyrese Haliburton is.
No,
it's
about last night.
He shouldn't have played.
Right, he shouldn't have played in the fourth quarter that trash for that as long as he
Okay.
played.
But
in the fourth
what
quarter,
about game
to
one
be
when he was playing trash and then turn it on in the last 3 minutes?
Yeah,
What
but
about
he wasn't
that?
turning it
He
on. He
didn't
didn't
do
have
that
it
last
going.
Shaw didn't
night.
know that
But
though.
to
Rick
Ron's
Carlisle
point,
should have knew that.
but
Bro,
well, hey, this the
McConnell
He should have
problem.
known he was
had
going to
it
hit the game
going.
winner.
That's
He
not
should have known
our
he was going to
job.
hit the game winner.
That's
Game
not
one.
Bro,
our
but
job to know that.
McConnell
That's
had
Rick
it going.
Carlisle's job.
Bro, if somebody, bro, as a coach, bro, and I
He
think
didn't
this is
have it
only
going
like
game
pro.
one.
And he took you as far as he could
That's
take
why it's
you.
easier
No.
to keep Haliburton
No.
in game one. No, really, no disrespect.
Nobody
No
had it
one on
going.
Indiana really was going crazy. So
No,
it's like,
last night nobody was either.
that's
TJ
a lie. We
was.
just talked about
So,
TJ.
and that's why I said what I just said. You have TJ, you have Pascal. The other three players, no. Benedict Mathurin was 2 for 11. Nembhard finished the game with what? 7 points?
Yes.
Nobody else was going.
The
Neesmith kind of. You can say Neesmith kind of.
The difference with like a Nembhard, who I also think sold the game in the fourth. Like, you know, he's out there for the other sides of the ball more than the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Halliburton's not going to replace that. So last,
doubt.
like game one, I understand why Halliburton was in the game down the stretch, even though Halliburton wasn't playing well to that point. Because no one else really had it going. So there was no other option. It's like you're going to bank on your best player picking it up, or we'll live with him in this game because no one else is a better option. Last night, there was a better option. They went away from the better option to keep Haliburton in, and he didn't help the team. Now, I do agree with
team,
you.
Mark.
He hurt the team. When someone said earlier, Haliburton didn't help the team, I think it was Chill. Yeah, he actively made the teame worse yesterday. This is just, I think, logical. But I do agree with Ron on the fact that this is who Haliburton's been, and this is why I've been very against the jumping of the gun with Haliburton. This is why I've been against seeing he's a top 5 player on Twitter. This is why I've been against he's a top 10 player now. If they win the chip, he's top 7. This is why I've been against it. I think Haliburton is really, really good. I'm not as high on him as Ron, obviously not. I think he's a top 5 point guard in the NBA. I think he's 5th, but I think he's a top 5 point guard in the NBA. I think his skill set is very valuable. I think his ability to make the right decision more often than not is really valuable. I think his ability to shoot the ball is really valuable. I think his ability to get off the ball is really valuable. I think his improved defense is actually helping his case. But that man can't create shots for himself. He hasn't been able to do it for 2 years. And that's been my biggest issue with Haliburton for 2 years. You can go back and watch a year ago when Haliburton was going through the hot streak. You can go back and watch anything I've said about Haliburton. My biggest issue with him has been, and I spoke about it during the playoffs last year.
You've always
this man, when he dribbles, he hops. And he can't create separation because his feet aren't on the ground. So, like, I don't know how to explain it. His feet aren't touching the ground at all times, so he can't explode at any given moment. And that to me is a big issue.
Hey, Morris, what's that little dance y'all be doing over there in Ireland where they play the little
Irish?
That's how he dribbles. His feet be tapping like
it's genuinely ridiculous. Anyone who watches the show
you do over there in Ireland,
I've been saying that for over a year, and I've said that's an issue to me with Halliburton. His inability to create advantages by himself individually and capitalize on those advantages individually is what holds him back from being a Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. Is what holds him back from obviously being a Steph or Luka SGA in that, like, those top 4 point guards. I understand the Donovan Mitchell conversation because Donovan Mitchell, if there's 2 things that are guaranteed, is A, he's a clearly better scorer than Tyrese Haliburton, and B, he will empty the clip even if he doesn't have it going. Now, I will say that's a
and on the defensive end, it's separation too. But keep going.
Sure, but I think there's a double-edged sword with Donovan Mitchell and the emptying the clip stuff because sometimes he can get his teammates out of rhythm doing that. Sure. So like there's positives and negatives. Like, I'm willing to have that.
But when your teammates don't got it going, you need your starter empty the clip.
I agree, and Halliburton just doesn't have that gear in my opinion, and especially consistently. Now down the stretch of games in these playoffs, he's been amazing. I don't think anyone can take that away from him. But consistently throughout a game, I think that's the thing that holds him back from being in those talks, regardless of the Pacers team success. I think what's happened is people have just underrated this Pacers team to uplift Haliburton. And this Pacers team masks a lot of his flaws. A lot of them. And that's
I never lost that debate against Carson, pretty much.
Sure. Congratulations, Jordan.
There you go.
Like,
there you go.
A lot of Haliburton's flaws get masked by his team. And I think that leads to some people saying he's better than he is. And I'm not saying it's a problem that the Pacers mask a lot of Haliburton's flaws, because that's what a team is meant to do for everyone. TJ McConnell's flaws are meant to be hidden by what's around him. Tyrese Haliburton's flaws are meant to be hidden by what's around him. Miles Turner, etc. That's how you build a good team, because no player is perfect. So if Pascal Siakam has a struggle with a certain thing, you want to have players around him who are good at that thing to offset Pascal Siakam's weakness. Same with Haliburton. The Pacers have done that, and somehow that's elevated Tyrese Haliburton to be a top 8, top 9 player in the NBA. And I just don't think that's the case. I think you look at Haliburton for what he is, and as an individual player, I think he's too flawed to be in the conversations that other people were putting him in. And I'm not even entertaining the Steve Nash stuff that I heard Ron again arguing last night. Like, we'll leave that to the wayside. Just his current standing in the NBA, he's not a top 10 player. He's not the third best point guard in the NBA. He's not those things. And that's okay. And that's absolutely fine. We just don't need to pretend he is because the Pacers are really good. Give the Pacers their credit and don't just give it all to Tyrese Haliburton. Like, Pascal was the conference finals MVP. And it was a deserved conference finals MVP, by the way. Like, I think Haliburton should have won it. Yep. But Pascal was definitely deserving. Like, he played really well in that series. And if the Pacers were to win the championship,
he gonna win the finals.
He'd be the finals MVP.
Yeah,
so, like, give Pascal his credit, give TJ his credit, give Nembhard his credit for what he does on defense. I think last night criticized him for in the fourth. Give Aaron Neesmith credit for that crazy putback dunk, but also talk about the fact that man can't stop fouling at all. Like, there's problems with everyone on the roster. We just don't need to act like they live or die with Halliburton. They don't. And they don't need to live or die with Halliburton. And that's okay.
And that's why, and Mars, that's why he should have been on him. That's why they should have took him out when TJ had it going, though. That's exactly why, though. They just took him out when TJ had it going.
So two things. Number one, Mars, like, people listen to you and they take it literally, and they don't see the context that you just explained. So Tyrese Haliburton can't consistently create a shot. He can't consistently get downhill. I mean, he averages 18. He averages 18 a game. I'm not averaging 18 a game where I can't get to the rim, where I can't knock down an open shot. I can make an open shot. I can get to the rim.
Yeah, but that ain't creating a shot, though.
Where am I getting my buckets from? I'm not just getting
their offense. No, their offense is dribble drive.
Right, and their offense is dribble drive. I do have to get around people, Jordan.
A lot of Halliburton's offense comes from generated advantages. He plays out of advantage situations. And that, once again, that's a good thing. You 100%. Don't want to be in a system where you are responsible for creating every advantage. But even within this system, the Pacers system, you need someone who can create an advantage by themselves. And Haliburton isn't going to do that consistently. Haliburton scores off when the Pacers are moving the ball around in rotation, then Haliburton catch and go quick. So he's going up against the closeout. So the advantage is being created for him. And then he can play out of it, and he's going to make the right read all the time, and he's going to get to a flow.
But we've also seen
he's not going to just go break you down off the dribble, draw two, split it, and then get to the rim. He's not going to do that. Like, that's not his game.
He's not going to do that consistently, Moss, because we have seen it. We have seen him do that. I have seen him when they get and teams have stifled their offense, where he's had to create a shot and get down.
Yes, he's been able to do it sporadic.
He has not been able to do that consistently. Now, to your point about TJ McConnell being on the floor, Ron, I vividly remember in 1992, the Chicago Bulls are down 15. Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Horace, these dudes suck. They're down 15 in the fourth quarter. Phil Jackson yanks them dudes, gets them off the floor. Henson is on the floor now.
I was going to bring that up.
BJ Armstrong is on the floor now. Not only are they on the floor, they get them back in the game, right? They get them back in the game. Jordan is not sitting for the rest of the game. No, he is not. Scottie Pippen is not sitting on the bench for the rest of the game. No. Get these dudes back in. Now, he got them back in, and Jordan ended up turning it around. That's what Rick Carlisle was trying to do with Haliburton. Hopefully,
how many points did Mike have in that game? How many points did Mike have in that game before that happened?
Before that, I don't know, because Michael Jordan closed it out quite well.
He didn't have zero.
No, of course not.
He ended the game with a shot that he had.
Yeah, but come on, Jordan. Like, who are we comparing and who are we talking about? Like, stop. That's the best. That's the best
thing. We're talking about Tyrese. Tyrese not that level of dog. He's not that
right. So that's why he should have said. That's why he should have said it. That's exactly what I'm saying. He should have sat on the bench. I saw Kevin McHale do it to James Harden. I saw Kevin McHale do it to James Harden. Wasn't giving us nothing against the
2015.
Clippers.
2015.
Should he have? But should he have?
Cost him his job, by the way.
Corey Brewer had it going.
And it cost him his job, by the way.
No, it didn't. The next year, no, it didn't. He coasted to the next year. The next year, what cost him his job was James Harden coming in out of shape. That's what cost him his job.
Him and James
Harden, but they got to the conference finals because he sat James Harden in the fourth quarter, didn't play him because he wasn't giving him nothing.
Let's just stick to this playoffs, and I want to go to a couple different games.
Okay. When
the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, Game 7 against the Clippers, only scored. Oh, no. Not that game.
Yeah,
let's go
to quite comfortable throughout. So
let's go to the game against the Thunder, Game 2, where Jokic only scored 17 points.
They got blown out by 40 in that game, didn't they?
He still played 32 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he have zero.
Game 7 in that series.
Are you
Where
saying
Jokic
to the bench Jokic?
I'm asking you guys,
Yeah,
should he have?
no, because
game 7, it's a do or die game. In the words of
The
Ox, it's a do or die game.
the
Your
difference,
life is on the line.
I think
And Jokic
the
only
one
shot
difference.
nine shots.
Yeah, the Caruso Musculos. I've seen it. I think the difference is the Nuggets, and this is to their detriment. They have no other option. They have no other option other than Jokic. Either Jokic has it and we got a chance, or he doesn't have it,
Joel Embiid,
and it's over. If they had a TJ McConnell back up big, playing like TJ did last night, I would say if Jokic ain't playing well, get him out the game. Like, if we're down the stretch of the game, it's close, and Jokic is playing like trash and hurting us, get him out the game. The issue is their other option is DeAndre Jordan.
All right, fair enough. I got a couple more examples. We're going to go to the next best player that's in the playoffs, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay.
Round 2 against the Denver Nuggets yet again. The game goes into overtime. Shai finishes the game 7 for 22. I don't know what he is in the fourth quarter, going through the fourth quarter. He played trash that night. He finished with 18 points on 7 for 22. If the game went into overtime, they lost. Do you then put in Casey Wallace? Do you then put in Aaron Wiggins? Because
was Casey balling? Was Casey balling that
even if let's just say for the sake of argument, Ox, he had it going. Are you sitting SGA?
No, but hold on.
Wait. If SGA's playing like Tyrese Haliburton was playing, and Casey Wallace was playing like TJ McConnell was playing, yes, I don't care. I don't care what your name is.
If that's the game I remember,
it's my job as a coach.
Yes.
Chill. It's my job as a coach to not give a shit what your name is. That's my job. My job as a coach. My job as a coach is to figure out who is gonna win me this basketball game based on what I've been seeing.
So every day I come in. So I want to make sure that I'm understanding you, because this is what this shit sounds to me like. This shit sounds to me like every day I walk in here, I'm fighting for my job. I have no security.
You're not fighting for your job.
You should look at that. You should look at it like that, just like how college coaches look at it.
If I suck tonight, I ain't playing tonight. But
no. Oh well, wait. Okay, I thought no. Wait. But hold on. Wait. So you asked me that. Let me answer. I think I don't know as far as that. As I thought you were talking about from the coaching standpoint. Now, as a playing standpoint, I should my mind should be like, I need to produce in my minutes. I need to be ready to play. 100%. And if I don't produce in my minutes, I need to accept if somebody that's behind me in the depth chart is producing in their minutes and they're playing more minutes than me. That should be your mindset as a professional. As a professional, I should come to work ready to play, be in shape, be locked in, know the schemes. I should be tip top, know what's going on. Now, in the event that I am 0 for 10 and not giving anything on defense, and my backup just came into the game and gave us a quick 18 and brought us back in the game, I should know in my mind, it's fine. Like, I'm not doing shit. He's playing. Boom, that's good basketball. That in fact, I should accept and embrace a coach that's willing to do that.
Can I give one more example, please?
Hold on, before you give that example.
I got one that's so much more relatable. I promise you, this one should hit home. Yep. And if it doesn't, then you're just not home. You in a hotel or something. Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
What game was this? It was
was Dante chopping, Ron?
The game was 126-128. They lost. Anthony Edwards played 40 minutes. He finished with 16 points. He went 5 for 13, and this was the game where he just wasn't shooting. If you ask me, he kind of looks scary. If this is the label you want to put on it, if this is how we're labeling players, he kind of looks scary.
He didn't finish with 0.
Was this game
0?
This game 4 of the Thunder series?
This was game 5.
The game that they almost won, and he.
No. You're right, Morris. It was game 4. It was game 4. Dante DiVincenzo, 23 points. No, 21 points. 5 for 8 from 3.
Playing the fourth?
Nikhil Alexander.
17.
Nikhil Alexander Walker.
23, same thing.
5 for 8. 23 points. They both went 5 for 8 from 3, and they both had plus 20 in that game.
Yeah, but how, Ron?
Very good.
My memory
how
of
was that
game
comparable
is Anthony
to
Edwards actually played quite well in that game. So
yes, but hold on, Mars, because how is this like you keep bringing up these examples? None of these examples is comparable to the game that Tyrese had last night. This man didn't do
it's not all going to be a one size fits all. I just want to go to different stars who they didn't play their best game. They didn't play their best game.
Finish with 0. Look, look.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what this is. I'm not saying that Tyrese needed to score last night, and he didn't finish with 0. He had 4 points, but Tyrese needed to score more. He needed to score more. But also too, okay, but
so what?
None of in any of these examples, excluding Jokic, none of them had 7 assists. So I can say that too. That Tyrese Halliburton still. No, I'm saying that for a reason. Tyrese Halliburton is a pass first guy. I don't expect him to, on any given night, I don't expect Tyrese to score more than Jokic, Anthony Edwards, or Shea. Those are the other 3 guys I brought up. Now, with that being said, on any given night, I don't expect Tyrese Haliburton to have 4 points. But also on any given night, I don't expect Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to have 14 points. I don't expect Jokic to have 16 points. Yes. I don't expect Ant to have 13 points.
Ron, it's not about the points, though. I don't think we
looking about the points.
No, it's about okay. But yeah, I did. But hold on. This is what I'm saying. It's not just about the points to me. I'm saying if you watched that game last night, Tyrese was nowhere near a positive at nothing. Maybe 1 or 2 passes. Him coming off the pick and roll and they stripping him every time or they stifling him every time just because he won't just because he won't keep dribbling. Him just picking the ball up and getting flustered, or him shying away from the ball when you got guys trying to give him a dribble handoff and he can't get past nobody. He was nothing last night. TJ got in the game and you saw a night and day man getting to live in the paint, 2 feet in the paint every time he drives. Tyrese wasn't giving us that at all. So I understand. I'm not saying Benjamin don't play him, but I'm saying when they started that 4th quarter and you gave TJ a short break at the 10-minute mark, when I would have saw when I would have saw Tyrese Haliburton go in there and do that bullshit he doing, I'm wrapping that shit up in 2 minutes.
I'm glad
because the game was closed.
I'm glad
the
you
game
said that,
was closed.
So from now on, in the future, when we get in the playoffs, and I watch Anthony Edwards go 5 for 19, when I watch him go 9 for 22, and he's got 3 turnovers, and we're in a nip and tuck game.
That's not the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
No, it's not.
It's not the exact same thing at all.
If Anthony Edwards is actively making his team worse by being on the court, I will be up here saying Anthony Edwards should not be on the court, especially if someone else is playing. If someone else is playing better, if Dante DiVincenzo is playing crazy and Anthony Edwards is actively hurting his team, I will be the first to say Anthony Edwards should be off the court. Now I want to make it clear: Anthony Edwards shooting poorly does not mean he's making his team worse. Tyrese Halliburton, the biggest issue.
My starting, whoa, Mars, no way, Mars. My starting 2 guard, my leading scorer, who's 9 for 22 or 5 for 19, and not really. By the way,
he's probably just missing good shots, though. I'm probably just missing good shots.
Okay, Haliburton missed some good shots last night.
Not only did he miss.
He missed a couple good threes.
Yes, he
did.
I
said if they would have went in, the energy would feel a little different.
Y'all are missing Mars's point. Mars is saying Mars is saying
you can play well and miss shots. You can play well and miss shots. If you are impacting the game, if you are getting downhill consistently, drawing in the defense, finding your open teammates. That's why I said in that game 4, the 128-126 game, I think Anthony Edwards played well, if I remember that game correctly. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But that was a game where OKC were overloading everything onto Anthony Edwards.
They shut him down.
And they basically took away his scoring as well as they could, said, you don't have the in-between game to beat us. There's another weakness of Anthony Edwards I spoke about. And we don't think you're going to be able to make the right read more often than not. He did. Dante DiVincenzo
had 5 turnovers and went 1 for 7 from 3.
Yes, and
he did that, and he was not being as aggressive as he could.
You can't be
and like I said, and anyone,
you gotta watch the game.
Maybe you don't.
I just told you he had 5 turnovers.
That's cool.
But he was all right in the game.
What I'm saying,
we watched the game on playback.
In my opinion, Anthony Edwards did not make his team worse. Did he have a great game? In my opinion, no, because I still do think his decision making could get erratic. I do think he got sped up somewhat, and I do think when you're shooting 7 threes and he was shooting some deep threes, they can throw your team off a little bit. But I do think he wasn't making his team worse because the looks Dante DiVincenzo was getting in that game, a large part was because of Anthony Edwards' gravity. The looks that the Pacers were getting last night had nothing to do with what Haliburton was doing. Nothing.
Nathan.
Congratulations, 7 assists.
Nathan.
Nothing. There was no playmaking going on. There was no downhill pressure going on. There was no drawing multiple defenders going on. There was no getting into the paint going on. There was no great defense going on. He was making the team worse in every conceivable manner.
And they're not doubling them. They played a one-on-one. They played a one-on-one.
If Anthony Edwards is making his team worse in the game, I will say he should not.
That's all I'm asking for, Mars.
But I don't think shooting poorly means you are making your team work.
Right.
You know,
if Haliburton made all of those 4 threes he made last night, if those 4 threes he shot, he made all 4 of them. He had 12 points.
He would be
He
fine.
still did nothing. He still did nothing. He just made, congratulations, he made 4 threes.
Nothing.
But his downhill pressure
the
wasn't
game
there.
would be close.
He wasn't playing it yet. It would have made a difference in the game on the scoreboard. But Haliburton still did not play well. Haliburton's game, in my opinion, is not predicated on if he makes or miss shots. And that's the Ron's point. Haliburton can go 3 for 11 or Haliburton can go 7 for 12. That doesn't change his impact on the game. His impact on the game is making the right read consistently, putting the defense in rotation, being an elite passer.
And I can say the same thing.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, okay, and Mars, and I can say the same thing about Anthony Edwards, who, by the way, this season was the best long ball shooter in the game. In those last 2 games, he goes 2 for 14. Don't sit there and tell me that had nothing to do with them not playing bad. Because their offense, I heard everything that you said.
Y'all can say 2 for 14 all y'all want. Tyrese Halliburton played like straight garbage last night.
I ain't saying that he
clearly somebody better. I don't know what we arguing.
I know what my eyes saw. I don't need to.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what we arguing. TJ clearly was playing better than him.
I'm not saying that he didn't play good. I'm not saying that he affected the game. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is, in the future, when these guys are playing the way that like TJ played yesterday, in the future, like James Harden, like Anthony Edwards, when this happens, these guys got to sit down.
James Harden should have been benched in game 7.
That's all I'm saying.
Against the Nuggets.
No problem.
James Harden. We all agree. Do we all agree? In game 7 against the Nuggets, James Harden should have been on the bench.
Yes, because
he should have been on the bench and got his ass kicked too. Both.
He was not helping. He was sabotaging the team. Can we agree with
100%. I don't. Especially if there's somebody's out there like Chill. You bringing up Anthony Edwards. Oh, but these guys had it going. Part of the reason why they had it going, Dante DiVincenzo on them had it going because of Anthony Edwards that game. You talking about that game 4 where he just wasn't shooting the ball. It's because of him. These guys don't got TJ ain't had shit to do with Tyrese last night. Like nothing. When Tyrese was on the bench, TJ said, I'm gonna come in. I think he scored 8 straight for them?
He scored 13 in the third quarter.
Like that's what I'm saying. So my thing is in that 4th quarter, when you put Tyrese back in that 4th quarter and you seeing at the 10-minute mark and it went down to 8 and the league kept going like this. Kept going separating. And part of the reason why.
Well, that's not true. So when Tyrese Halliburton came back in the game, they were down 10. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. They were down 10 when he came back in the game. And they cut it to 4 when he came back.
2, actually.
Yeah. Was it 2 or 4, Ron?
Yeah, no, they cut it to 2.
They cut I remember them cutting it to 4.
Remember they cut it to 2, and then that's when J Dub hit that big 3, and then Casey Wallace got the dunk on the fast break.
Yeah.
When
I remember all that shit happening when
somebody got ripped at half court.
TJ got out the game. I remember all that shit.
I know that they cut the lead. I know he came back in the game around 10 and a half, something like that.
They
were
cut
down
it to
10.
I want to say on a Pascal dunk or something like that.
And then they ended up cutting the lead to 4. I remember that.
And then J Dub hit that 3.
So I'm going with you, right? I'm going with you. I ain't on no level, Jordan. I want to make sure
how many times did they
on no level am I saying that Tyrese Halliburton was effective last night? Because he wasn't.
That's why you
not
just sat him on the bench, though.
All I'm saying is that if you guys are going to tell me this about Tyrese Halliburton in the future, I want to make sure that we use that same logic when Luka is 7 for 30. When Anthony Davis,
chill. They're not.
No, chill.
When
Anthony Davis is 5 for 18 and 3 rebounds, like we've seen him in the playoffs, and he's been completely and utterly ineffective, and he's not doing anything on the defensive end of the floor. When James is 5 for 20 and he's turned the ball over 5 times, his ass needs to sit on the bench. I need to hear that same energy from you guys when this happens to these guys too.
Chill. Real quick, Jordan. I feel you on the consistency. You want consistency, that's fine. To Ron's point, Ron saying, "Oh, they won't." And if we don't run, you know why? Because Tyrese isn't as good as those guys. And maybe we should. Hold on. Maybe we do feel like, you know what? Give them another chance because they're better. My point is this, though, to you, Chill. I want to figure out what is y'all specific pushback. Not you, Ron, because I heard what you said. You said, man, no, TJ probably should have been playing. Chill, you are sticking with this thing about, oh, he took him as far as he could have took him. He need to sit down, let Benedict play and all this and that. What is your specific pushback with TJ McConnell? Because I've been telling y'all all season about TJ McConnell, and every time y'all watch him, he proves me right. Every time you watch him, he proves me right. Man, okay. He doesn't have to be better than Tyrese Halliburton
last night, though.
But he doesn't have to be better than Tyrese Halliburton. I just want to know if the kid keeps proving me right, why are y'all still saying no? Like, I don't understand. Tyrese,
No,
he's proven
the logic.
he plays winning basketball.
And
But
Ox,
the logic that Chill is saying that TJ took as far as he can go. No, TJ took y'all far as Rick Carlisle allowed him to play. Like, he was playing good as hell, and Rick said, "I'm gonna go back and trust Tyrese Haliburton," which I have no problem with. That's what all coaches are supposed to do. You should, but when you put him in, and the leash got to be shorter from a guy like Tyrese Haliburton. It's different for Anthony Edwards. It's different for LeBron. It's different for KD, because those guys want to be aggressive. This guy, they needed him to be aggressive. They're not doubling Tyrese Haliburton. If you watching the game, they're not doubling him. They just being physical with him, and he can't do shit about it. So for him he's basically a role player now. If he's not creating advantages, he's not getting in the lane and creating for others, he's a role player. So why can't a role player? Last night he was a role player. Sometimes he's spectacular, but last night he was a role player that was not playing well. Why can't you get him out the game for somebody that is playing well? Why? Because he's Tyrese Haliburton.
But he did that. That's why TJ McConnell was what he was last night. He did do that. And back to my point, he got him as far as he could take him. Ox and I go back and forth with this TJ McConnell thing all the time. I think TJ McConnell is a great backup lead guard. I don't think he's a good backup lead guard. He is a great backup lead guard. But when we get into situations like this, even though my guy isn't playing well, I got to stick with my guy. TJ McConnell came in and he gave me as much as he could. Your guy
is not doing nothing. What did he do while you were sticking with him?
Are we winning this game yesterday if TJ McConnell stays in the game?
Look, it could have been closer. We have a chance. Chill. My thing is, with y'all with Tyrese Haliburton, y'all are saying this as if he's generating something. Yep. He wasn't generating nothing but bullshit. He was detrimental to his team, and it was glaring. He's not generating nothing for y'all to stick with him. It's not like he's getting to his spot and just missing.
That's why it's not comparable to a Luka or
Anthony Edwards. Like, because he's not getting to the spot and missing.
This is what needs to be understood. Tyrese Haliburton's value and these superstars' value comes from their ability to create advantages and then also capitalize on those advantages. If LeBron James is 5 for 20 with 5 turnovers, this is box score. We can guarantee LeBron James is still creating advantages for his team. That is why you can't replace LeBron James with Cam Reddish and just say, oh, well, Cam Reddish has made 4 threes. LeBron's 5 for 20. Bench LeBron for Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish can't create advantages. So you're not getting the same value just because Cam Reddish has more points and is more efficient. With Tyrese Haliburton and TJ McConnell is last night factually doing Tyrese Haliburton's job better than Tyrese Haliburton. That is why we can scream 100%. And say Tyrese Haliburton should be on the bench for TJ McConnell. Anthony Edwards and Donte DiVincenzo making 6 threes. He's not creating no advantages. Anthony Edwards is doing that. So you cannot say, oh, Anthony Edwards is 7 for 22. Donte DiVincenzo is 5 for 9. Bench Anthony Edwards for Donte DiVincenzo. Because Donte DiVincenzo is someone who benefits off the advantages created from Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is an advantage creator. Tyrese Haliburton and TJ are both advantage creators. If Tyrese Haliburton is creating nothing and TJ McConnell is creating everything, bench Tyrese Haliburton for TJ McConnell. If Anthony Edwards is doing nothing and Julius Randle is creating everything, then you can justify, hey, we might not need Anthony Edwards because Julius Randle can take this burden and we'll just go out there with more play finishers. That would make more sense. But not this, oh, well, just bench him for another role player. Because TJ McConnell's role is to create advantages. Donte DiVincenzo's role is to capitalize off advantages. Cam Reddish's role is to be there and look nice. Like, everyone has different roles on the team. You can't just say, well, this guy's shooting poorly. We need to bench him for this role player who's shooting well. Because this role player who's shooting well is directly playing well because of advantages being created for them. That's why it's not comparable. That's why you can't say, well, when Luka's 2 for 11 from 3, we need to. The reason that's not the same. It's not comparable.
Okay, and what you just told.
I had to speed home to get part of this. I want to get in this.
What you just told me, Mars, is contradictory to what you told me a little while ago.
What did I tell you a little while ago?
The advantages part. So you just told me that Tyrese Haliburton, that's his job to create advantages, that's his job to create advantages. And in addition to that, TJ McConnell was doing that. Well, yes. Anthony Edwards, that's his job to create advantages. Yes. And DiVincenzo, he was capitalizing on those advantages. Well, all of those avenues were already closed for Anthony Edwards to create those advantages with the basketball. Because Anthony Edwards has told us countless times, I don't pass the basketball. That's not my game.
What he says and what he does are two different things. Because he can say what he wants. He was passing the hell out that ball. He can say I don't pass, but then when I watch him pass,
that's not my game. Is what he? That's not my game.
Okay, but that's what he was doing. So am I meant to listen to his words or watch his actions?
But with him being a connector, and I won't argue the point about him being a connector. But with him being a connector, there were other guys who were capitalizing. There were other guys who were capitalizing not on him creating advantages. There were other guys capitalizing on the defense being what it was, and it wasn't because of him. Because him being the long ball, it was him being the long ball shooter that he is. Shooting 1 for 7, getting contested on long ball shots. DiVincenzo wasn't getting wide open looks. DiVincenzo was getting shots where he's contested too, and he's knocking those shots down. Now, don't get me wrong. DiVincenzo isn't the downhill guy that Anthony Edwards is. He isn't the one-on-one player that Anthony Edwards is. But one of Anthony Edwards' main parts of his game is him being a long ball shooter, him being able to score the basketball. And if he's not doing that because lanes are cut off for him, just like with Tyrese Haliburton yesterday, who can get downhill, who can get to the rim, not as consistently as you would like him to, but he can do those things. When he's not doing that, you want him off the floor. Well, the same logic has to go with Anthony Edwards.
No, chill. That's
But
not
the
the
thing is,
same
real quick,
logic.
Gordon,
That's totally
real
not
quick.
the same
Where's
logic.
I wanna say this.
That's not a contradiction. That's just you just disagree with me. I think Anthony Edwards, regardless of what his words are, and these words are from November, by the way, regardless of what his words are, that man was passing the ball. Regardless of what he says he does, that man was creating advantages. Regardless of how he feels about himself, what he does on the court speaks differently to what he may have said 5 months ago. I'm looking at what he did.
He can't do anything.
What was Tyrese doing last night, though, that you wanted to stick with? That's what I want to know.
What I said was,
You have yet to answer that.
overloading on him as a driver and bet on his lack of intermediate game, and they were basically funneling away his driving lanes. But in order to funnel away him as driving lanes, you have to shrink the court. If you shrink the court, that means there are going to be open shooters. Anthony Edwards was finding said shooters. That means Anthony Edwards, just by existing on the court, created an advantage. His existence led to the court being shrunk, which led to open shots. You take Anthony Edwards off the court is no longer shrunk, because the reason the court was shrunk was because of him, which means you can't just take
even
him
if
off
he's
the
shooting
court.
bad.
Yes,
right.
Because his value in that game was his ability to manipulate the defense in a way in which his playmaking was more valuable than his scoring. Now, would it have been better?
His gravity, not necessarily playmaking, but I'll give his gravity, yes. I'll give you his gravity.
Call it what you want to call it. But his impact on the game was not a negative because of that. Now, if he would have made those threes and he would have made more shots, would that have been better?
Yes.
Duh. But he was not hurting his team. He was not making the team worse, because the shot quality with him on the court was better. The looks that guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels, Terrence Shannon were getting with Anthony Edwards on the court was improved. That was not the case with Haliburton on the court. Haliburton was not helping the team in any capacity. No one has been able to tell me how Haliburton helped the team yesterday.
I've been asking for that too, though.
That's how you guys know he didn't. You guys are just Chill is arguing that we need to give this same treatment to everyone. And I think I will. I just don't think it applies in the context that he's trying to apply it to, where you shoot badly.
I have an answer to that, though.
I have an answer to that.
Good. You guys were saying like what he did to contribute to the team and whatnot.
Okay.
I do have an answer to that. Some of y'all might feel this. Some of y'all might not feel this. Obviously, Halliburton has been one of the clutchest players in the playoffs that we've ever seen. I'm not just going to say this year, that we've ever seen. In game 1, when Halliburton didn't really play good, he was non-existent for most of the game.
Yep.
In the clutch, Haliburton turned it on like he's been doing throughout these playoffs. The reason why, once again, I'm not saying that I take TJ McConnell out the game. I don't take Pascal Siakam out the game. After thinking it through, I probably don't take Nembhard out the game because you're checking SGA. That still leaves me 2 more spots on the floor, on the court. The reason why Haliburton is playing, yes, part of it is because we have stock invested in you. You're our star player, and you are one of our better players. You're depending on how you see it, I think he's their best player. Some people might say he's their second best player. He's their most important player. That's one reason why. You are our most important player. Our most important player is not sitting on the bench no matter what. When the game matters the most. But also, too, I just seen you in game 1 hit the biggest shot in the playoffs. I've seen you come up big in the clutch time after time after time. This game is heading towards clutch minutes. We are going to need something spectacular to happen, and you are the guy that we have been trusted in to do that because you are the guy who has showed up time after time after time when we needed you. That's why Haliburton's being on the floor for me. No, you haven't had a good game, but it's also been games where you haven't been good and you showed up clutch. I'm banking on
but he
you
was
to
still
do
being
that
aggressive
again.
though, Ron. He was being aggressive. Last night he wasn't.
In game one, he was not being aggressive. In game one, he was
being
dribbling side to
aggressive
side. In game one, he was turning the ball over. In game one, he was
how
getting
many
cooked on
shots?
defense.
How many
In game one,
shots did he
was not
shoot in
good.
game one? How many shots did he shoot in game one?
In game one, Haliburton went 6 for 13. Finished with 14 points. Had 10 rebounds. 2 for 7 from 3.
So how many shots did he shoot last night?
Last night he shot 6 shots. Went over 4.
So he wasn't being so exactly. So that's what I'm saying. He's doing different. Like he wasn't being aggressive last night. That's for sure. He wasn't doing nothing off the pick and roll. And my thing is, they're playing him single coverage.
They played him
If
single
they
coverage
were
first
doubling, yeah. But if they
he started getting doubled all series.
You're right, but he started being aggressive and it worked out for him. Last night they playing him single coverage and he's doing nothing.
Yeah, Jordan, I get what you're right.
Does that calf injury have something to do with it, Jordan?
He played. I don't even want to talk about the calf.
That's another reason he should have been on the bench.
I don't know.
I'm talking about he played. Okay, we can acknowledge that he played bad from start to finish. All I'm saying is in the 10-minute mark when he got back, when he subbed him back in, my thought process as Rick Carlisle, first off, TJ, you're not coming out the game. I said this last night during the game. But I also said last night during the game, I'm bringing Tyrese Haliburton back in because you have shown us that you are a big-time player in the clutch, and we need your fourth quarter contributions. This is what I'm thinking right now. It's easy to say hindsight, oh, I'm not putting him back in the game. Tyrese Haliburton should have sat. Like hindsight, I can agree. He probably should have sat on the bench, and he probably should have went with OB and some other guys. But at that 10-minute mark, it's no way in hell that you guys can convince me that I'm
not saying that. We're not saying don't bring him back at all. We're saying bring him back when you brought him back. By the time we're at 7 minutes and that man still ain't doing anything, okay, bye-bye.
Not even then. I'm still rocking with him. And here's the thing. Next game, if it's the same scenario, TJ balling and Pascal doing what he's doing, if the game plays out the same exact way and it's at the 10-minute mark and I got to put Haliburton back in, I'm putting him back in. If at the 7-minute mark he turns the ball over and he misses a 3, I'm keeping him in the game because it's Tyrese Haliburton.
But I think that's what makes it scary for the Pacers because you can put Tyrese Haliburton, if he's not playing well and you put Tyrese Haliburton in from 7 minutes left to 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, when he comes in the game, it could be a 4-point game. By the time he's out of the game, it could be a 17-point game. We just saw in the fourth quarter OKC generate 4 straight turnovers. 4 straight turnovers. That blew the entire game up. When you're looking at Tyrese Haliburton, if he's not able to create that rim pressure consistently, it doesn't create more space for guys like Andrew Nembhard to dribble drive, Benedict Mathurin to dribble drive, Aaron Nesmith to dribble drive. It allows OKC to stay set in their position and not give up any rim pressure. TJ McConnell was doing that. TJ McConnell doesn't have the luxury of having a 3-point shot to the level of Tyrese Haliburton. He hit a couple of threes last night, which were really valuable, but he does not have the pull-up 3-point shooting off the bounce just like Tyrese Haliburton does, so he relies more on getting to the rim. And we saw when he got to the rim, it created a lot easier looks for himself.
All right, fellas. Aside from Haliburton playing bad last night, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to Prize Picks and bank on Tyrese Haliburton playing good game 6, baby. Demon picks for Tyrese Haliburton all around the board. Demon picks for his scoring. Demon picks for his rebounding. Demon picks for his assists. Demon picks for his threes made. Demon picks for his PRA. Demon picks for everything Tyrese Haliburton. And in case you don't know what a demon pick is, well, first off, before I tell you that, you should download the Prize Picks app. You should use promo code PANEL because when you use promo code PANEL, you will get $50 back instantly when you play just 5. Now, here's the cool thing about Prize Picks. They have this little thing called a Goblin Pick, and that's where basically they will discount a player's stat line and you can still get money on it. So let's say it's a Tyrese Haliburton only getting 5 assists. We know he's going to get 5 assists, so that's an easy pick. But then they also have a harder pick, which gives you more payout if you do hit it. And let's say that's Tyrese Haliburton scoring 25 points. And if he does score that 25 points, you will get more bang for your dollar as opposed to you just picking his regular stat line. Now, Once again, on Prize Picks, when you use promo code PANEL, you will get $50 back instantly in promo funds. But also, today is Tuesday. And on Tuesday, Prize Picks has a thing called Taco Tuesday, which will once again give you a discounted pick. So make sure you download the app today, use promo code PANEL, and go find that Taco Tuesday pick so you can get the most bang for your buck. Now, actually, what I was saying about today is this. This is how we rocking for game 6. We got J Dub going less than 23.5. I'm banking on the numbers. You have 40 points last game. So this game, I'm assuming that you won't have another big outing. Pascal Siakam, 20 plus. Somebody has to score for the Pacers, and I'm expecting it to be Pascal Siakam. Tyrese Haliburton, you've had 2 not really good games back to back. I expect him to get 15 plus points in game 6. I actually wanted to go with the Demon pick. Ox, I meant to go Tyrese Haliburton 28 points or more, but we'll go with the 14.5. Chet Holmgren, 15.5, less on his points for next game. Alex Caruso, 16.5 PRA. I believe that is probably the best pick on here. And then we got a combo of 3-pointers made between Neesmith and Lou Dort, 4 or more. Those two have been shooting like crazy in this series. I expect that to continue. And that is how we are rocking for game 6. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it, and let me know what y'all doing.
No way I would have put that demon in for Tyrese, Ryan.
Don't worry.
I would have vetoed that shit so fast.
Don't worry. It's gonna get put in. But John, what are your thoughts on game 5?
First off, I don't know if anybody talked about J Dub yet, but J Dub has
not really, no.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal over the past 2 games. Cutting to the basket, playing in transition, being an on-ball creator when the shot's falling. We've had questions about J Dub the entire postseason, which was obviously well warranted because we all were trying to figure out if he could be that consistent second scorer, and it feels like he's starting to put it together. And we talked about this last night, me and Mars did. We're watching 2 players in Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams be so important to a championship team in year 2 and 3. And it's like we're watching them grow on the biggest stage in basketball, which is really cool to me. A lot of second and third year players, they grow through the regular season, maybe through the play-in, maybe through a playoff series. Not a lot of these guys that are this important to a championship team grow consistently. Cason Wallace knocking down shots. We've been waiting on that. Cason Wallace has been getting open looks consistently throughout the series, and the fact that he was able to knock some down was important. Aaron Wiggins knocking down multiple shots. That was very important as well. TJ McConnell, he played phenomenal in this game. Once again, when you have a player that can get to the rim consistently, and that's a lack of what the Pacers had in this game, you should keep playing him, in my opinion. And with, like I said earlier, with the wiggle room that you have as a Pacer team and how quick this Thunder team can build leads, you have to be very decisive with who you're putting on the floor, when you're putting them on the floor, and recognizing how effective they can be while they're on the floor. And if TJ McConnell is constantly generating open looks and getting to the rim consistently and knocking down a lot of very big threes, you keep him in the game, whether it's playing him next to Tyrese Haliburton and let Tyrese Haliburton play more as an off-ball scorer, because we've seen times him get downhill pressure looks based off of double screens or based off him getting pin downs and just curling to the basket, getting into floater range and getting a lot of open looks off of those looks as well. I think that's what you should do. And then Isaiah Hartenstein was really good in this game as well. I mean, there were times in the earlier game where they were attacking him. I know Pascal Siakam got a couple of open looks out of the pick and roll, same with Miles Turner. But when he's able to guard one-on-one on the defensive side, there was a possession where he caused a few turnovers, and you could see the Pacers were sped up. And based off of the turnovers they had, you could see they were sped up, losing the ball, dribbling it off their foot, slipping and falling on the floor. They were just sped up the entire game, and they didn't look comfortable, especially while Tyrese Haliburton was on the floor. So I think this was a really good game for OKC. I think it's over on Thursday, to be completely honest.
I think that I find myself, and I'm definitely guilty of this as of late, I find myself living more, not living in the moment as much as I should. Like, think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, how are we going to talk about a 68-win team that got 2 All-Pros that won the NBA championship? Like, we should, I feel like I've spoken more about how bad Indiana is instead of how good this Oklahoma City team has really been. How good has J Dub been throughout the course of the season? I did not have J Dub as an All-Pro before the season started, or an All-League defender. I did have him as I did have him in the most improved conversation. I did have him in that, but I didn't have him being nearly as good as he is. Shea being the league MVP, this team winning 68 games and completely separating themselves now from this Indiana team. I mean, J Dub has gotten consistently better throughout the course of this series to go from 17 to 19 to 26 to 27 to now 40, and just been masterful on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. This Oklahoma City rotation, how much better they've been throughout the course of this series, and how Mark Dagnall, because I talk a lot about Rick Carlisle being the coach that he is in terms of playing the 11 guys that he plays and how good those guys are. But what I didn't do is I didn't give enough credit to Mark Dagnall for how he rotates 8 guys. That's it. And I know, Ox, that you don't appreciate when a coach counters another coach instead of just coaching their game. But I feel like what Mark Dagnall is doing is exactly that, more than anything. Because Rick Carlisle throws a lot more rotations out on the floor, and I feel like Mark Dagnall has been countering those rotations because Rick Carlisle is searching for what lineup works. As soon as he searches for what lineup works, Dagnall goes quickly with Wallace, or he'll go with Andrew Wiggins and something like that. And it just completely it just thwarts them. So I think this Oklahoma City team is one for the ages. I think that they've been phenomenal all season. I think SGA and J Dub, I think that this pair, these 2 stars, I think they've been fantastic. And I think Oklahoma City is going to win the NBA championship on Thursday.
I just want to clear that up real quick. I love adjustments made by coaches. What I don't like is when a coach sees, like comes in with a game plan and then throws that game plan away because one coach is doing something. I think a lot of times I think a coach should be more assertive and make this coach, like, what I'm saying, let us be on the offensive and make that coach adjust to me instead of me being on the defensive and have to adjust to them. But if you find yourself on the defensive, I think making adjustments is a great thing.
Some of the best boxers are the best defensive boxers. Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali. But they can also be great offensive guys too. And I feel like Mark Dagnall,
like James Toney,
100%. And I feel like Mark Dagnall has done a combination of both. James Toney's a great boxer, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know. But I feel like Mark Dagnall has done a combination of both, where he's been on the offensive. Now, some of it has not worked, where he ends up starting Case and Wallace in the series and kind of overthinking himself instead of sticking with what's worked. And I feel like this series he's been more on the defense and countering a lot of what Rick Carlisle's done. But more importantly, Ox, I just think they got a better team than Indiana. I think from a talent standpoint, from a rotation standpoint, I just think they got a better team than Indiana, and I think they ended on Thursday.
Yo, I want to get back to J Dub right quick. In specific, that 40-point game last night, that was absolutely a masterclass. It was beautiful to watch. And I've been saying this about J Dub all year. He is nice like that.
J Dub proved me to what I said, why this Thunder team would or would not win the championship. He had to prove that he can be that number 2 guy and that he can step up when they need him. And he answered the bell. He's been answering the bell the last couple of games. So I feel like, it was fair criticism from what we saw last year from him. So to see him answer the bell and step up and do what he's doing now, he gonna have to keep doing it too. You know what I mean? Like every
Jordan,
time
he been doing this all season though.
Yes. I mean, he did it all season.
I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked by his 40-piece last night. J Dub has consistently been getting to the rim. J Dub has consistently cooked in the mid-range. J Dub has consistently been a transition demon. J Dub is like just offensively. We could just throw the defense out. Offensively, J Dub is like that.
No, 100%. I'm not surprised, but I'm not surprised by his 40-point game either because I mean, just the way the series has been going, like he's not needed nobody to generate shots for him. He's been getting to a spot and sometimes he missed, and those are shots you're like, okay, J Dub can make it. Now he's making them. So since he's making it, to me, it's like, damn, somebody audio. Yeah. But then to me, it's like he making them. So it's like, like that's J Dub. Like I said, every time the Pacers went on a run or like you think the game is getting out of hand, J Dub come and do something like, shit, not so fast. We right here. And then that's a perfect pair to put with Shea, who's going to be your closer. Like Shea can be struggling. J Dub can get it going. And then when it's time to close, Shea end up hitting big shots like he did in the fourth quarter. last night, going to the basket, scoring that late layup. It's like perfect night and day. This is the question. I think for me, it wasn't the experience of the Oklahoma City Thunder. When everybody talk about what the experience mattered. No, I said from the beginning of the playoffs, they gonna go with J Dub. Like if J Dub can be that number 2 guy, they can go. If he not, then they lose. So he's been answering the bell, and I think you just got to give credit. Like shit happens, he just been answering the bell. But he do got Finals MVP action though. By the way, Mars.
Make sure we clear on that, Jordan.
But I also think Shea. Having the game that he had last night, like he made sure that J Dub ain't run away with that shit. Like he made sure, yeah. He got 40, but go look at my shit too, though.
Yeah, I think it's arguable that J Dub's outplayed Shea in the last 3 games. I think you could debate any of the 3 games. I think for sure the last 2 games he outplayed him. Game
I don't
3.
know if he outplayed him the last game.
He didn't outplay him in game 4. No,
I don't know if he really outplayed him last game.
I think he
had
out
31 and 11.
No, he did. But remember, for a majority of the game, and like when the voters do it, they're probably not going to dive into the game. They're probably just going to look at the box score. Remember, for a majority of the game, Shea was struggling. Remember, Shea had shot. We was watching it. Shea shot
not the first quarter.
20 shots, and he had 20 points. And then in that last 7-8 minutes, Mars, you remember it? You was calling Shea garbage throughout the whole game. You was saying, everything you was saying about him. And then in the clutch, Shea turned it on. Remember, J Dub was leading the team in scoring for a majority of the game.
Yeah, but when Shea ended up with that 31 and 11 last night, I think he had 4 blocks too. That shit kind of
his defense was great last night.
Yeah,
Shea's going to be the Finals MVP, and it'll be deservedly so. I just think J Dub's been really good for most of the series now. I think Caruso's had a couple big games in there. Aaron Wiggins had a couple big games in there. I think Chet was amazing defensively in the 4th quarter of game 4 and again last night. They're just really good. My disagreement with Ron is I don't think J Dub's been doing this all year. He's made a conscious decision to get to the rim more. He's made a conscious decision to play with more force and physicality. There's a reason why he shot 11 free throws or more once the whole year. Mm-hmm. In the last 3 games, he shot 11 in every single one.
Yeah,
that's a conscious decision to play differently. That's a conscious decision to be more relentless in driving, not settling for the mid-range jumpers when you're on your drive. That's him playing differently. That's why I don't agree with him. He's been doing this the whole year. No, I don't think so. I think that's what deserves more praise. The fact that he's been able to adjust his game on the fly in the finals deserves more praise than if I was like, oh, he's been doing this all year. I think he's really talented. I think he's shown flashes of what he can do all year. I think he's a really good shot maker. I think he's really talented in the mid-range.
But
he's not been doing this.
I apologize. This right here is the kind of shit that drives me nuts right here. He should be ashamed of ruining another TJ masterclass. Okay, first of all, he didn't ruin it. Let's start there. No, he didn't. He did not ruin it. And to say that he ain't even better than Kemba, oh my God. Give me a
Kemba was
I ain't arguing Kemba wasn't awesome. But
there is a version of Kemba. There is a version of Kemba.
Which one? Tell me which one.
Hey, this team would have lost to the Bucks if Kemba was on his team.
It'll be 2019 before he went to Boston.
They would have lost to the Bucks with Kemba.
I'm not saying Kemba's better, but we all have seen a version of Cardiac that carries the squad last night.
Yeah, UConn.
Hey man, Tyrese had his time. Yeah, so look, Ron. So at UConn, Kemba had a better team, just like in the NBA. Kylie had a better team.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, shit, you go as far as your team can go.
Before them knees went, Kemba was something else. Boy.
He was.
I'm talking. You know what? Pete Kemba can't tell me.
At any point was Kemba Walker a top 5 league guard in the game?
Was he top 10?
Tyrese ain't a top 5 point guard in the game.
So today,
what's that mean?
So in June of 2025, is 5 point guards better than him? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Is there 10 point guards better than him?
Ox, you're the only one that thinks that. Maybe Jordan. Maybe Jordan.
I mean, you can definitely make the argument.
I'm good out here solo.
I do it differently though, because I don't view Luka and SGA as a point guard.
Then he's definitely top 5.
Yeah.
Okay, then
I don't view
SGA on point guards. Then okay, I guess he got some action, but
yeah, I just don't think.
Either way. I mean,
but you could definitely make the case Kemba was a top 5 point guard. So,
yeah,
you could definitely.
Wait. So just real quick. I'm gonna put out the names.
Please
tell me who you take a Kemba over in that era. You got Steph.
Nope.
Come on.
No.
Just keep
CP3.
Nope.
Come on.
But we're talking
Game?
about 20. But in 2019, Kemba was better than Chris Paul.
Okay, 2019.
Yeah, because that was Chris Paul. Chris Paul was that was the first year Chris Paul was seen as washed.
Yeah, I was going.
He came off the hamstring in 18. He came back in 2019. He was seen as washed.
No problem, Moss. Take Kemba. Take Chris Paul off.
Okay,
James Harden was
I was
guard?
going like
James Harden point guard?
2017.
Okay.
We can do
Nah,
2019.
So
He
you're
wasn't
gonna
the
say
point guard.
What
2019
version of
score.
James?
We can do
You
19.
just said Curry. You said Curry.
Yeah,
Curry.
He was bad. He was bad for sure.
Curry, Dollar.
Dame was bad
Dollar.
for sure.
Okay.
Dame was bad.
Y'all still
Kyrie.
considering Kyrie a point guard in 19?
Kyrie's a
Yeah,
point guard.
Kyrie
Kyrie's a point
Irving.
guard. Wilson. Kyrie's bad. Kyrie's bad.
Okay.
Come on.
Who else?
Russ.
Come
was
on,
that?
y'all know who.
Russ
Yes.
was bad. Russ was bad.
In
James
2019, Kyrie was better.
James Harden jumps over the Sears Tower.
In
over
2019, Kyrie was
Yeah,
better.
but James Harden's a two guard because he played next to Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
He's a
the
two guard. Chris Paul was washed, but he was starting. So Chris Paul was a point guard, and James Harden was a two guard.
Was he better than Luka in 19?
No.
Y'all talking about,
Come on,
y'all talking
no.
about 2018, 2019?
yes.
I just want to hear
No.
the answer.
No.
Kimball, hold on. Kimball wasn't better than Kyrie in
Lord.
2019?
No.
Nah, he wasn't better than Kyrie in 19.
Why
I
not?
don't think so. I don't think
Why
so.
not? I
What,
just
the
want to
Kyrie?
You guys genuinely think
I could see. I could
you
see
guys
Kemba-
genuinely think Ricky Luka was better than Kyrie?
No,
No,
I'm
not
saying-
Kyrie.
I'm not Kyrie. Kemba. You guys think
Kemba.
Ricky Luka was better than Kemba?
I got Kemba
No.
anywhere in the 5 to 7 range, maybe 8, 5 to 7 range. I'm comfortable with that, and that's where Tyrese is. Anywhere from the
Sounds
5
about
to
right.
9
Yeah,
range.
sounds about right. Well,
That's where
yeah.
Tyrese is. So
Kemba at worst is 6th, I guess, since Ricky Luka was better than him.
he
Hold
wasn't,
on,
though.
wait,
He
though,
wasn't.
wait.
And everybody knows he
Was,
wasn't.
he was better than Drew Holiday? Second team all defense that year, 21-8.
Well, Ox might have a different.
Was he
Yeah,
better than Drew?
I got
think
down
he
below
was
the
Kimba
better.
was
Drew, but I'm taking that
Kimba was
version of
third
Kimba as
team
my
All
point guard.
NBA though. Kimba was
I
third
think-
team
At
All
my-
At my
NBA
point,
that year,
point guard, I think Kimba's better than Drew at that position. But Drew, that's not taking it away from Drew. We know how dope Drew always.
Yeah,
is.
I think
but why
I
y'all-
think Kemba's being a slightly.
I'm just so happy I spoke up for Kimba while y'all was sitting there trying to brush my dude under the rug.
Yeah, I feel
Y'all
like
don't
Kemba's
forget
being
about
slightly
Carlisle.
under.
Hey,
Don't
was,
do that.
was Kimba
Don't
better
do
than
that.
Mike Conley that year?
Man, come on, man.
Mike
And if he
Con-
was-
wasn't, then Mike Conley was better than Tyrese.
What
Put
about
it that
Ben
way.
Simmons?
You tell me.
Ben Simmons?
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
y'all.
That's a good
Hey,
point.
hey,
That's a good
hey,
point.
hey,
What
hey,
do you mean,
hell
hell
yeah.
yeah? 17, damn near triple double Ben Simmons? 17, 8,
No,
8?
I
Ben
think he was better than Ben. I think he was better than Ben.
I think he was better
What's
than
what's
me,
the
too,
what's
though.
the gap?
Nasty,
Is it this? How far? How far?
It-
Ben,
don't-
ben,
you don't-
Ben,
it's
Ben's
better.
probably the 6th or 7th best point guard in the league at that point. Kemba's better.
Playoff Kyle Lowry?
No, we ain't doing that.
But
Hold
yeah,
on, though, 'cause we got another playoff rising.
that was before Ben became like one of the 5 best defenders in the sport. That's why I think Kemba was still better. But you give me 2020 Ben Simmons, I'll probably take him. But 2019, I don't think Ben was on that level of defender yet. He was still better than Kemba in defense, obviously. But there was a major offensive gap.
See, Diesel, if you would have said playoff Rondo, maybe I would have had to change of heart.
2019 to 2019. So is that the best version of Kemba Walker? 2019
Yes,
Kemba
in
Walker?
my opinion, yes. Yeah.
Besides that UConn run,
So that's in, and by the way, that's in year 8. Tyrese Halliburton is in year 5 right now.
Okay. Well, we can't imagine
I don't care
future
about that.
Halliburton. We're talking about Halliburton now versus Kemba.
The
Unfortunately, Kemba
best
had a whole
version
career.
of him. We
Yes,
haven't even
unfortunately,
seen
Kemba had a whole career that we can judge from. But yes,
unfortunately.
yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
it's just the
I-
way
It's
it is.
interesting
I
that
don't
James
know.
Harden played the 2 guard.
Well, yeah, because Chris Paul played the point.
Alongside Chris
right?
Paul, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Paul was a point guard, right?
y'all don't
And
got to
then
keep
James
trying to
Harden
look
was
for reasons to knock Kimba down. He was the man.
So James Harden wasn't a point guard for like 3 straight years because he didn't play the
when he
point guard.
when he played with Chris Paul, he was playing the 2.
And when he played with Russ,
He was
He
playing
was
the point.
playing
Russ
the-
was playing a
it
4.
was Russ actually, yeah, it was weird because once they traded Capella, they were using Russ as a screener and stuff. It was,
Yeah, Russ was playing like the 4.
but yeah,
He was.
yeah,
No,
it
I'm
was-
dead ass serious. He was. They was
They
using
had,
him
they
as
had
a
like
screen. They were
they had like
having
PJ
short
and Rocco as like their bigs, and then
Yeah.
Russ was being a
Homecoming.
screener. and-
Sometimes they would put him at like a 5
Yeah.
ball lineup too. Sometimes they would use it as a screener.
That
and
was a
use
They thought that would
Rocco
be
No, baby, I'm gonna be real with you. They really shut it down too early. Like they just shut it down too early. Like the Rockets was going when they came back. When Russ came back,
With
from
Russ?
injury, the Rockets. Yes, the Rockets was on a. They was on a.
They
heater.
were experimenting
They were
with
on a
something that
heater.
I think would have been interesting to see how that experiment played out. I'll
Right.
say that.
Yes, bro. Before they got into that bubble, the Rockets was on a heater. Like they was starting to turn around. Like you were starting to see, oh shit.
Even in the bubble, they were going crazy.
Even in the bubble, it just Daniel House got hurt. I mean, Daniel House had to leave, and then Russ got hurt. I'm telling you, that Rockets team was shifting the corner. That was
they were like a top 5 defense in the NBA once they went to that.
For sure.
Like people
Offense
judge like
too.
PJ Tucker at the 5. It's like, it was working.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
would it have
working.
worked for a whole playoff run? I doubt it.
Until he ran up on the Lakers.
Daniel House
That
got
would've been
kicked
interesting.
out. Daniel House got kicked out after game 1. Daniel House had like 20-something game 1. Then he got kicked out. Then that's what happened.
It
Russ was hurt.
been interesting. Yeah, I still think the Lakers were just too big for them. Like, I think that's a major problem.
Yeah.
But like, I would have been interested to just see like how they tinkered with that experiment and what would have been like the next steps. And then
I
they
want to see it
ultimately
one
just
more
went
time
fully
next
with
year.
it. Yeah,
How long is it sustainable? How long was, because from what it sounded like from you, dude, Kemba Walker was in that conversation of top 5 league guard for.
Well, at best he was 5th, but yeah.
Okay, so at best he was 5th. So how long was Kemba Walker in that conversation? Like, he showed up in 11. 19 was the best version of him. How long? Because I'm thinking about Tyrese. The reason why I'm asking you this
Once John Wall got hurt, that's about it.
Because I don't think he was better than John Wall neither.
Yeah, once John Wall got hurt. So it might have been only a year. It might have been only a year because once John Wall got hurt, I think that opened up the spot for Kemba. Because Steph, Kyrie, Dame, and Russ.
It wasn't very
so
many point guards.
And also you had prime Chris Paul at that earlier.
Yeah, like 16, 17.
So, like, he had no action before 2019. John Wall got hurt. Chris Paul became washed in 2019. Kemba took that spot. But every year before that, he had no chance. He had no action because Chris Paul was better, Steph was better, Kyrie was better, Russ was better, Dame was better. Those guys were better than him. And then once he got to Boston, I think you were starting to see a somewhat of a decline. The injury started tallying up, and then Luka elevated. So he had no action again. It was literally 1 year. Kemba Walker was a top 5 point guard, maybe, arguably, for 1 year. That's it.
And Tyrese Haliburton, I mean, last year, can we say he was a top 5 league guard?
You can make the argument last year.
I'd like to think that we can make the argument, even though I felt like Trae Young, De'Aaron Fox. I mean,
I would disagree, but you can make the case.
And then this year, there's still that conversation. And then next year, I feel like where we are with Tyrese Haliburton now, I feel like that's going to be more sustainable moving forward, as opposed to Kemba Walker. At best, it was 1 year that he was that. Tyrese Haliburton, on the other hand, I feel like moving forward, he's going to be in the conversation longer for being in top 5. That's why I don't think that there's a comparison between him and Kemba, because I think he's better than Kemba.
Sounds like you're saying he will be better than Kemba.
I think he's better than him now, and I think he will continue to be better than him.
So if Haliburton existed in 2019, he'd be
I think he'd be ahead of Kemba Walker. If we take him and drop him in 2019, yes, I think he's ahead of Kemba Walker. Yes.
I wouldn't push back too much. I just think Kemba was tough.
Oh, he was. Well, I'm not going to argue that point. Yes, he was a baller.
Oh yeah, Cade's coming. Yeah, Halliburton is at risk of his spot going down too. Like, it's not like he's just going to ascend. Halliburton's also at risk of the inverse happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of young point guards behind.
Tyrese Haliburton is 24. What are we doing?
Yeah, but man, what if Hallie start the season off shitty again next year though?
Calf strain. But like, I just think it's possible. Like, I mean, for me, my top 4 is locked. It's Luka, Shea, Steph, and Brunson. That's not changing. And then you got like Ja Morant can have a better year next year. Cade is on his way. Like, you don't know what LaMelo's going to do.
He can get his respect.
Man, LaMelo is the dark horse because LaMelo can fall anywhere between 10 and 3. Just letting y'all know.
I know Chill thinks De'Aaron is better than
10 and 3.
Chill doesn't even think Hallie's top 5 right now. But like,
all I'm saying, so do y'all not think that LaMelo could be from anywhere from 10 and 3?
I concur.
Could be from 12 to 8.
I concur.
3 what?
3 what?
Top 3
point guard.
I'm gonna just mute my mic.
At best, in my opinion, if I look at Halliburton, if we talk about point guards in the league,
in the league, Moss. He thinks that he could be
the National Basketball Association.
He be better than
the player in the NBA.
I said he can be from 10 and at best 3. He can be somewhere from there.
Now wait a minute, Moss. Wait a minute, Moss. Wait a minute, Moss. Please, Moss. Wait a minute. Jordan, explain what the third best point guard in LaMelo Ball looks like.
Oh.
What does he look like if he's the
Are we
third
saying
best
point guard or player? Like, that's where I'm confused.
No, point
Point
guard.
Oh, okay.
The
He's
third
still
best point
tripping.
guard. What
No,
does he
no,
look like if
He's
he's
not,
the third
he's
best
not
league
tripping.
guard?
He's
But
smart.
these
He's talking about
That's
LaMelo.
crazy.
He's talking about
Smart.
LaMelo.
We're
Yeah,
spitting.
smart.
Go ahead, Jordan.
I was
Smart.
confused.
Ain't no way hell I'm
about.
talking about. Ain't no way how I'm talking about the third best player. I'm talking about
The
third
third
best
best
point
league
guard.
guard.
And you're talking about
So
LaMelo. You're saying
Today,
LaMelo.
we're
Best
in
three.
March of 2026, and
Lucas
LaMelo
ain't
Ball is
that
the third best point guard in the league. What does he look like?
Lucas ain't stuff.
He probably looked like about 27 a game and probably about a good 8.5, 9 assists a game and probably a good 6.5 rebounds a game. You're probably looking at that.
What he been
He's still
doing?
not better than Steph.
Yeah, but on Charlotte. I mean, Mars,
John,
you gonna have
he ain't
your,
gave you those
Mars, you
numbers
gonna have
yet.
your miss. You gonna have your mixed opinions on Steph, Mars, because Steph gonna start off slow. Then you gonna say he watched the first 30 games, and then
I
you
still
gonna
think
come
he's
back.
washed now.
Yeah,
Watch
but
Steph is better than LaMelo.
well, all I'm saying is LaMelo. Y'all talking about LaMelo and Charlotte? Like that team is fucking garbage. Like we all know the Charlotte Hornets is flat out garbage. I'm saying if somehow they get better or somehow LaMelo get traded, you crazy as hell if LaMelo ain't gonna show y'all what he gonna do.
I don't
You
see how
crazy as
LaMelo.
hell.
I don't see how LaMelo can be better than Cade. I don't see it.
Shit, okay, cool.
LaMelo,
Just like I mean,
LaMelo's a
Cade
better
was
scorer
that-
than
I
Cade.
don't see him being better
Cade
than
was
Brunson
that-
as long as
look,
Brunson is
look,
healthy.
People talk bad about
Yeah.
Cade.
No,
until the
he
Pistons
is
got
not,
good.
Ron.
People
No, he is not.
LaMelo is a better scorer
No,
than
he is
Cade
not,
Cunningham.
Ron.
Yes,
Hell no,
he
he
is.
is not.
Chill.
Yes,
Yes,
he is.
No, he is not a better scorer than
I
Cade.
wholeheartedly
He is-
disagree with that.
No, he is not.
I
Or
disagree with y'all.
Tyrese Halliburton. Or I'm sorry,
He a better
Tyrese
scorer.
Maxey.
He's not a better scorer than Hallie, man.
He definitely a better
Maxey.
player
No,
than
he is
Hallie,
not,
bro.
Ron.
He a
Hell
better
no.
player than Hallie.
Hey, he a
What?
better scorer than him.
Better player than Hallie.
In the passing gap, isn't as big as you would think it is.
Between
At
who?
all.
LaMelo and
Jordan,
Cade.
you going back
to the
It's not.
You going
Put goddamn LaMelo Ball with that Indiana Pacers team. Shit.
That level of
You
decision
gonna see-
making is going to be
You
detrimental.
gonna see Big
LaMelo
Ball.
Ball
You gonna see
on
Big
that
Ball
Indiana
on the
Pacers
sideline
team?
standing up.
This is the one leg. I want to make sure I'm following you, Jordan. This is the one-legged three-point shooting
He be
guy.
hitting those.
Chill,
shots.
he do that. Chill.
He
He
be
be
hitting
hitting
those.
Chill. LeBron shoot one-legged
No
three.
way.
Chill.
He's a
LeBron shoot
turnover
one-legged three.
machine. Don't leave that part
LeBron
out too.
on the
Cade
Hornets.
Cunningham is
On
a
the
turnover
Hornets.
machine too. On the Pistons.
On the Hornets.
He is.
Cade
He is.
Cade
That's a big
Cunningham.
problem.
Hey, that boy be producing turnovers. I'm talking about
He
he is
does.
a turnover.
Are we
factory.
allowed to talk
He is,
about
I
the
agree.
defensive side with Cade versus LaMelo?
Oh,
LaMelo is one of
LaMelo
the
is a
worst.
good defender.
he is.
Look-
He is.
Who?
I'm not going that
I'm
far.
gonna be honest. We can't.
He could
This
defend
is just me speaking generally, but I do think it applies here. We can't just do this thing where every weakness a player has can just be said. Their team sucks. We just can't analyze it. LaMelo is one of the worst defenders in the NBA. Like
a
you
bad
can't
defender.
just tell me
He
because
is.
he's on the bum ass Hornets. I can't criticize that because hey, you put LaMelo in a competent system, he's gonna start playing defense. No, that man has sucked on defense his whole career.
He
You
has.
can't tell me he's
He
just gonna
has.
turn good. Like you can't just convince me of that. You can't be like, oh, LaMelo makes some of the worst decisions in the NBA, but the Hornets suck, so he's just gonna figure it out. Like at some point, we have to look at what this guy's doing, and we can't just say, well, the decision making is gonna be better on a better team. The defense is gonna be better on a better team. The flaws in this game are gonna be nullified by a better team. Sure, but we can't just act like they don't exist because the Hornets suck. I agree the Hornets suck, but we can't just ignore all of his flaws and say, well, the Hornets suck, so they don't exist. Like that, it gets to a point. Like we're just this is fictional LaMelo at this
No, but
point.
hold on,
Good
but hold on,
defender.
hold
It
on,
is
hold on,
though,
hold on.
Morris. It's
Good
LaMelo.
defender.
I
No,
understand.
it's LaMelo in
understand.
theory. He said from
Yes.
3 to 10. This is
Yes.
theoretically speaking. If LaMelo
This
gets
is
it
very
clicking,
optimistic.
I
Very
don't think it's
optimistic.
very
I
think he has
optimistic at all.
I think he's like
23
Very
years
optimistic,
old.
bro.
Okay, but you
Crazy
can't
as
just
hell,
say the
bro.
man's a good defender when he's never been a good
I'm
defender.
not stepping on that. I'm not stepping on that defensive train.
Hold on.
I'm-
Let me
Go ahead,
just
Jordan,
be
go
my
ahead.
point about LaMelo. Like we talk about him being on the Hornets. The Hornets are a bad organization.
I
They
agree.
are a bad franchise. They have bad players over there. Some of the ill-advised stuff that LaMelo does, he does it because it's just one of them things like, bro, I'm on a badass team. Like, it's not like y'all, like the same grace that some people give. I ain't even gonna do that because Kyle Kuzma.
LaMelo's been making bad
But-
decisions everywhere he's gone throughout his whole basketball career. Good team, bad team, indifferent. He's made bad decisions. When he was at,
played
when
the
he,
same way.
like when he
What good
when he
team?
was at Chino Hills were the best team in the country. He made bad decisions. Chino
And
Hills
they
then
won.
fell off.
They won.
John, I'm only a host
This is
if I
my-
hang out with
this
hoes.
is-
Like if I
This
stop
is
hanging
even
out with
worse.
hoes,
So when
they
the
gonna be on
team
with his
sucks,
Yes,
we
you
ignore
will.
the. So when the team sucks, we ignore the flaws because what's around him.
We can't keep ignoring
when the team is great, we ignore the flaws because they still win. So when do the flaws get acknowledged? When the team
was he making? No, I'm saying what bad decisions was he making at Chino Hills? What bad
pointing at the half court line and pulling that bench?
That's not a good shot. And he hit
it. He made that one.
Right.
Bro, how many state championships did they win at Chino Hill?
Man, it's all right. Wait. Look, we can't.
I think they won probably 3. They might have won a national championship. They might have won one national championship.
Yeah. The Lonzo senior year.
Kate and them would have.
But my point is, you can't say the decision making in Charlotte sucks because the team sucks. And then when I say even when he was on great teams, the decision making sucks, you say but they won. So when does the decision making matter?
I'm saying no. First of all, I disagree. Like when you say everybody makes bad decisions.
He makes more than most.
Okay, my thing is on
TJ McConnell
on a good team. Hold on a good team. What bad decisions are you talking about? Like what do you?
The bad decisions he made
so
when
egregious.
He was on Chino Hills.
What bad decision? Like what? Which one? What
horrible shot selection.
Stepping across half court and shooting the long ball.
Those because bro, to be honest with you, high school he was shooting NBA threes. Yay, you fucking surprised they do it now? Like they shoot NBA threes in high school. He's the NBA player, so I'm not surprised.
This is why I'm not jacking that.
I don't get why y'all saying like that's a bad decision.
I was getting to multiple. We just stopped at Chino Hills. I was gonna say the same. He did the same. He made horrible decisions. His decision making wasn't great at Spire. It improved.
And they won.
Yeah, but my point is,
in spite of that, Ron,
they didn't win in spite of it. They won because of it.
No,
you don't win because of bad decisions.
So time out.
You don't win because of bad decisions.
Y'all don't be so literal. I'm not saying that LaMelo is Luka Doncic, but what I'm saying is when Luka doesn't play defense, when Luka shoots dumbass shots, which he does, when Luka throws dumbass turnovers, they win. Yes. They win in spite of Luka doing that.
Things, Ron. They win in Luka's horrible defense. When Dallas have success, they win in spite of Luka being a horrible defender.
And why do they win with that?
Yeah, and that's my point. With LaMelo, you can make the argument the positives in his career have outweighed the negatives. That's fine.
All right.
Saying they don't matter is completely.
I'm not saying they don't. I don't say they don't matter.
I'm not saying they don't matter. When LaMelo was at Chino Hills, he made bad decisions. When LaMelo was at Spire, he made bad decisions. Both of those teams were good teams. When LaMelo was in Lithuania, he made bad decisions. When LaMelo was in Australia, he made bad decisions. When LaMelo was a rookie, he made bad decisions.
Every player
Everywhere LaMelo has gone, he has been a bad decision maker.
Every player make bad decisions. What are y'all talking about?
My point. Russell Westbrook makes bad decisions. LeBron James makes bad decisions.
He's done it at UCLA. He did it with the Thunder. He did it with the Wizards.
Russell Westbrook is a bad decision maker. LeBron James is not. It's about how much you do it. LaMelo Ball is a bad decision maker. Everywhere he's gone, he's made bad decisions. Does that mean that he is he's just a trash player? No, but LaMelo's decision making has been a weakness where he's 23, 24, not 23.
23. He's 23.
LaMelo's decision making has been a problem for over a decade now. LaMelo burst onto the scene.
No, it has not been.
LaMelo's decision making has been a problem since he was 13.
You talking about it's a problem? It's not a problem if I go somewhere and I win. Like I don't get how is that a problem? Like when LaMelo was a freshman. Hold on.
This is why, I just disagree with how you rationalize this.
Because this is somebody that y'all talking about a player that played for the Charlotte Hornets who's goddamn probably had one. I don't even know if he had one healthy season. But let's go back to Chino Hills when he's a freshman playing with his older brothers. They needed LaMelo to do what the fuck LaMelo did. Shoot the ball, make those shots, and scorch you for 20, 25. They needed him to do that. They needed him to do the same shit he did. They needed him to do what he did at Spire, even though it was a horrible situation. They needed him to do that. Then he go to Lithuania. They needed LaMelo was what, 16 years old playing in Lithuania? And he was playing decent too. Like, what are we talking about?
He was actually barely even playing.
I want this to be very clear. At Montverde, Cade made bad decisions. At Oklahoma State, Cade made bad decisions. When Cade was rookie of the year for the Pistons, he made bad decisions.
That's why Cade's turnovers are a major problem.
4 turnovers. He made bad decisions.
Yes.
Okay, but are we excusing that because they're a playoff team? Are we excusing that because they're a playoff team?
It's a problem with Cade. Cade has been extremely turnover prone since high school. That's a problem.
Hey,
Okay,
Mars.
but do you
Even
got
though
K?
Montverd's
Okay,
won,
Mars.
that's
Mars,
a
do you
Davidson.
got K from
Even
3
though
to
the
10?
Pacers were the
shots.
Do you
6th
have
seed
K
this year,
between
that's
3 to
a
10?
problem.
Do you have K between 3 to 10 though?
No.
So K is not a top 3 to 10 point guard in the NBA.
No.
You crazy as a motherfucker.
Luka,
Crazy as a motherfucker.
Shea, and
You
Steph
crazy as a
are
motherfucker if
better
K not a
than
top 10.
Cade.
From 3 to 10, does K fall
Luka,
in there?
Shea, and Steph are
Keep
better
going.
than Cade.
Keep
That's
going.
3. So he
Keep
cannot
going.
be 3 to 10.
Okay. Any
He could
so
be-
so
he
so
could be
so
6 to
so
10.
K
He could be
can't be
better than 6 to
K
10.
can't be that next year. K can't be that next year.
He
What
can't be a
about
top
what
three
about
now.
what about if
If we
K
wanna
come in?
if we wanna
What about if
project
K come
Cade
in and go
If we wanna
28
project
and
Cade
10
improvement,
and
yeah, if we want to project Cade improvement and Steph regression, maybe he elevates to that
so
status.
he could be from 3 to 10?
Yeah, but I'm talking about right now. As of
No, I
today,
didn't say right now. I didn't
I'm
say right
answering the
now. As
question.
of today, I
yeah,
said
what
next
Cade-
year. I
what
said
Cade
next
can
year.
be, I don't know. What Cade can be
Yes,
is
but that's
whatever
what
he
we
becomes.
talking about, though.
But
That's what we talking
what
about,
I'm
though.
saying
We
about
talking about
Cade,
next
what I'm
year.
saying about
We're not
Cade
talking about
is
today.
as
We're
of
talking about
today,
next year.
there's no case for him to be, in my opinion.
No, nobody cares
What he
about
made-
today. I said next
I'm
year.
not
I start
projecting.
the
You're doing a
conversation
different thing
next
to me.
year.
I'm not projecting with Cade. I'm saying right now he's not a top.
So
3
now you want to
point guard.
change the subject because you
No,
want to
I'm
now you want to
answering
change
the
the
question
subject.
you asked
to
me. You
fit-
said it's
to
Cade
fit
3 to 10.
bullshit
I
ass
said no.
narrative that you're trying to bring.
No, you asked me
wanna
if Cade
change
3 to 10. I said no.
Yeah, I said for next year. Does he have
After I
action
said
at
no.
B 3
After I said
to
no.
10?
No, he doesn't.
No, I said
Yeah.
No.
the conversation.
So next, so
After-
so
Cade
next
You
got
year,
action at
asked
3 to 10 next year, too.
Yeah,
now
you
you
asked
want
me-
to
Cade
move
and LaMelo both got
I
action
said
at
no,
3 to
no,
10.
I said next
You
year.
want to,
Thank
Ron?
you.
You want to
Next
move
year,
that?
I still
Ron, you want
probably
to move
think
that
he's gonna
number
be
up?
3
LaMelo don't got no
He doesn't.
action at 3. Could y'all
No,
keep
he
that
does
number out
not.
of here, please?
No,
We go like let's do
Sorry.
6 to 11. Let's
Sorry, I don't
Here's
see a
what
world
I'm
where
saying.
LaMelo
Here's what I'm saying.
jump from
let's do
11.
6 to 12.
Here's what LaMelo's not the 11th best point guard in the
Where is he
NBA.
right now, Ron?
Where is he? Where is he?
Like,
Where is he?
stop it.
25.
And
Where
here's,
is he?
look, I
Where is he?
just want to get this out there. I want to get this out there. This is all in theory. He probably won't be top 7, maybe not top 8.
Probably won't
This
be
is
top
all
10.
Okay,
in
so
theory.
in reality,
And this
is he the 11th
this
point
is
guard?
this,
In reality.
in reality, I don't think so. I still would probably have him probably 8.
Okay,
Wait a
so
minute,
is he-
wait a minute,
better-
Ron.
is he-
Ron,
no,
Mars,
is he
Mars.
better than Luka? Is he
I
better
was about
than
to say,
Luka?
No,
Mars,
no,
really
no, no.
quickly,
Is he
Mars.
better than Shea?
Mars, really
No.
quickly, before you even go into that, Mars, where do you have LaMelo Ball? June of 2025, where is he in terms of a point guard ranked? Where do you have it?
16.
Hold on, Ox.
Y'all crazy.
Where you got? Where you got? him at?
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of this. Oh yeah, he might improve today. Where is he?
Today.
I'm telling you
I'm
guys,
asking
in
you- I'm asking
theory,
you,
the
Mars.
whole top
Where
3
do you have
thing was
him
in
at
theory.
Okay, so
I
in
want to
reality,
get this
was he
out
in
there.
reality?
Though.
Gotta be.
Hey, Darius Garland's not better than LaMelo.
Okay, no,
Hey,
no,
y'all
he
can
is.
take that. Y'all can take that. Y'all can take that. Shove it all the way up your ass.
Yes, he is. Give us a
Hey,
place.
shove
Shove
it.
it.
Shove it up your ass till you throw it up. He's not better than Darius Garland. Darius Garland not better than LaMelo.
I'll go down the
not.
list.
John,
Give us a
not.
place.
this is me saying
Yes.
Fox is better than
Shove
Earth.
it up your ass till you throw it up.
That's what
He's
Ron, give
not
us a
better.
placement.
better
Give
than
us a
Earth.
placement.
Yes, he is.
Bro.
Is he
Start
fifth?
naming
Is he
them off,
sixth?
and
Is he
I'll tell
seventh?
you. Start naming them off, and I'll
Start
tell you.
naming them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go now.
Wait,
Jay.
Jordan, do you have a placement?
Come
Or
on,
do you wanna
we
go
can get
down
the
list?
top 3 out. We know the top 3.
I'm gonna probably say right now, I probably got him between 7 to 10 right now. But
Okay.
let's
Okay.
label them
Luka-
off. Let's label them
Luka-
off.
Shea,
Steph.
Luka, Steph, Brunson.
We
Those
can
four
get
are
them.
better,
We can
right?
get them out of
Got
there.
you with those
Okay.
4. That's cool.
Hallie, Trey,
No, not
Cade.
Hallie, Trey. We can keep them 3 out of there too. So where we
Okay.
at right now? 6.
Okay,
That's 7.
this
That's
is
7
7.
names.
This is 7.
Can you name the 7 again, right quick?
Okay, Luka, Shea, Steph, Brunson, Hallie, Trey, Cade. That's 7.
All right. Now we can
What about
talk.
Dame?
I got
Game.
Cade. I got Cade and
Dame's not playing
LaMelo
next year.
about the same. Right
Dame's
now, I
not
got
playing
Cade
next
and
year.
LaMelo about the same. Right now, I got Cade and LaMelo about the same.
Dame
I just
probably
think they're
doesn't
just
Forget
count,
Dame's
but
out for
if
next year. Forget Dame's out for next year.
Dame-
This season.
But it's right now, so it's based on the last year they played. That's what it is. It's not projected.
LaMelo Ball is not better than John Morant. 8.
yes, he is.
No,
They're similar.
It
I got
is
a mess
the LaMelo we saw this year and the Dame we saw this year. Who's a better player?
Dame was on his way to being an All-Pro.
It's
Yeah,
not
but y'all looking
close.
at-
It's
Y'all
not
looking
close.
at being an
It's
All-Pro.
not
on a
close.
different
I-
team,
I-
bro. Like y'all looking
I
at a
damn near
motherfucker on
think
a
the Bucks are
garbage
better with
ass
LaMelo.
team, bro.
That's the
Yes,
team he
bro,
plays
y'all
for,
looking-
Jordan. We
y'all
can't.
looking
I
at-
can't
yes,
assume
Bucks are
shit.
better.
Yes, but that's what
That's
I'm
the team
saying.
he play on, bro. That's how the cookie
He's on
crumble.
the
What we
ass
supposed to do
team,
about
bro.
that? That's
Like,
not
he's
our
on
fault.
a really
Okay,
ass
that ain't our
team.
fault.
So wait a minute, Ox. So he's on the coach
Name
team.
me the starting fucking
it's
five
LaMelo.
for the Hornets.
Wait, Jordan. Is
Oh,
LaMelo
yeah.
Ball better than Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah.
And he's
Is
he better
LaMelo
than
what?
Is
Is
he better than
LaMelo what?
Kyrie?
No, stay right here. Stay right
He's
here.
trying to laugh.
Better than Tyrese Maxey.
I'm not
Well,
here.
Ron said yes.
Is LaMelo better than Tyrese Maxey? I would take LaMelo over Tyrese
Is
Maxey.
he better than
I would.
Kyrie?
Is he better? Is he better
I
than
will
De'Aaron?
leave this show.
That's a tough.
Is he better than De'Aaron, Jordan?
That's 10.
He's not better than De'Aaron.
than Kyrie?
He's not better than De'Aaron.
No, he's not better than De'Aaron right now. No.
Is he better than Kyrie Irving?
He better than Kyrie.
But I also don't consider Kyrie a point guard, bro. I've been telling y'all this shit for a long time.
Stay out of it. Ron, is he better than Kyrie?
Y'all know how I feel about playmaking. You guys know how I feel about playmaking.
He's doing this on purpose. He's doing this.
I'm really not. Y'all know how I feel about playmaking. I'm telling you. Y'all know how I feel about passing. And LaMelo is like,
Bro, y'all
LaMelo
motherfuckers
is
gonna
like
change
that
that.
as a
Y'all
passer.
motherfuckers gonna.
Look,
y'all
I'ma
motherfuckers
just-
gonna
I'ma
change
just-
y'all mind on LaMelo next year, bro.
I'm
And
no,
then-
they are. No, they are.
Jordan.
They are. They are.
Every year, bro, y'all gonna change y'all mind.
No,
and
I'm
act like
not.
we had this discussion.
But chill. If you do change your mind, that's okay. Chill.
y'all gonna do
If
that shit?
LaMelo comes and plays better basketball than he's been playing, chill. And you change your mind. That's okay.
LaMelo was
You
hooping
don't
this
gotta
year.
chill. You don't gotta worry about Ron and Jordan on some goofball shit. Talk about stay over there.
No, I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna just say.
That don't mean nothing. Chill.
Hey,
If LaMelo
I
becomes a better basketball player, you can more 100% say,
Or-
I'm
but
with that
there's
now.
like
Or
15
if he just
all-star
get on a
caliber
better
guards
team,
in the
if he
NBA.
just get on a better team,
Tyrese Maxey
or
was on a
if
bad
he
team
just
last
play
year,
on a
and
better
he's still
team.
better than LaMelo Ball.
Why don't he
Man,
make his
Tyrese
team better?
Maxey's not better than LaMelo.
You fuck
Yes, he
out of
is.
here, bro. No, he not,
100%.
bro.
Better at
No, he
getting
not, bro.
downhill,
As far
better
as
at finishing the
whatever,
rim.
bro.
Look, what's the
100%
word?
consistent.
What's the word Penn said yesterday? Portability.
And
I like
LaMelo's a
Tyrese
night
Maxey.
day better.
Portability.
Why you making up words?
I'm just saying. I like
I'm
Max's portability.
just talking. So, and here's also the thing too. When I'm talking about point guards, I'm talking about somebody to run my crew.
Man, give me Colin Sexton.
Who would I rather have to run my crew?
That's crazy.
LaMelo or Kyrie?
Collins,
I'm
though.
sorry,
Collins,
y'all.
I'm taking Kyrie.
Kyrie can be more portable. You can say Kyrie's better off ball and this, and this. If I'm giving the ball to somebody to say run my crew, I'm sorry.
picking
I like
Melo.
I like
picking
LaMelo to run my
I'm not
point.
giving
Like
the ball to Cobb. I'm not giving
Look,
the ball
look,
to
for-
LaMelo
for
Anthony
instance-
over
for
Kyrie
instance,
Irving. I'm not doing that.
for instance, like if it's the Indiana Pacers, for instance, I think this is the perfect go-to where you need a point guard to come in there and distribute the ball and run the offense. I
would
want
pick
LaMelo.
So if you're doing
Over
that,
Kyrie.
I would want LaMelo
okay,
over
Ron,
Kyrie.
Still that, but that's when I
I
think
want
of
LaMelo
point
over
guards, that's
Kyrie.
how I
I can
think of them.
appreciate
Though.
that. Ron, I can appreciate the point guard logic. Okay, are you giving the ball to LaMelo Ball or Jamal Murray?
To run a team, I probably would go
LaMelo.
LaMelo.
What?
Bro, why do y'all think LaMelo is just a shitty passer or something like that? Like y'all
I don't
think he's
think
just a
he's
bad
I don't
passer?
think he's a shitty passer. I
All
don't
they
think he's a
see,
bad
all
passer.
they see is when LaMelo makes a flashy pass and it's a
Yes.
turnover,
No,
or when he
No,
shoots.
I don't
or when he
think I
shoots the
never
logo.
said LaMelo was a shitty
That's
passer.
all. All y'all be focusing on. Like,
I
damn,
never-
don't shoot
Not true at
dumbass
all.
shots.
I don't
I done
think
seen Dave shoot so many stupid ass shots.
Matter of fact, Ron, I'm full transparency. This whole season, especially at the beginning of the season, I was trying to make it a point, and you would ask, "What play? These are the playback games. Which ones do you want?" I would make a point to say,
It's
"No, I
Charlotte.
want to do Brooklyn. I want to do Charlotte. I
And
want to do
Trailblazers.
Detroit before they got good. I want to do Portland. Obviously, I want to do Kings games. I was trying to make sure that I did that because people was coming up here. You don't watch them. You don't watch them.
Yes,
But
I
then
do.
y'all said people don't want to see that no more. Let's watch some of the bigger games. We need to do Celtics games.
Yeah,
we
'cause
need
Charlotte
to do Lakers
sucks, though.
games.
That's why
That-
Charlotte sucks.
That don't matter. That don't matter. That don't matter. What I'm saying is, I don't care what team you're on. I can watch you and see if you playing good basketball. And you can't say, "Oh, well, he's no good." So you ain't had to do that. You ain't had to do that. You can still play good basketball. Good basketball. You know what good basketball does? It makes inferior teammates better basketball players. That's what it does.
I wanna
no,
know-
Nick-
I wanna see LaMelo on a
Nick
different
Smith
team.
Jr., Trey
That's what I'm
Man,
You could do that. You could do that. Ron. Go
Misich.
ahead.
Don't forget Misich. Don't forget
and
Misich on
Tajon
the team, too.
Saloon.
Keep it up, Ron. Keep it up.
Come
Go
on,
ahead.
dog.
Come on, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. Like y'all
Come
talking
on.
about a shitty organization. Now,
Good
now-
basketball makes inferior
now,
basketball players
now
play
what's
better
gonna happen
basketball.
is- Now
Nobody
what's gonna
goes over there and
happen
makes them better. Nobody.
I think.
Now,
I think
now,
A real
now what's gonna
basketball
happen
player
is
would. A real
Luka,
basketball.
LaMelo gonna go
Lonzo-
to the game, and y'all gonna swear he played.
Nobody
Y'all gonna
goes
say he
over there
played
and makes them
different.
better.
If you had before injury Lonzo instead of his little brother, there'll be a better basketball team.
Hell no.
Jokic,
Hell no.
LeBron, KD,
I'm not saying they play.
Indeed.
I'm not saying they're a top 3 seed. I'm saying they'd be a better basketball team. That's what I
Hey,
said.
no, I don't
I said
think
they'll
Jordan
be a better
don't
basketball
make them
team. That's
niggas
what I'm
better. Jordan don't make them better.
Now, you
Okay,
making
let's
words,
move on.
but,
Now you're trolling. I thought we
I'm
was
not
being serious.
trolling. Jordan don't make them better.
All right, Ron.
Oh,
Come on.
you know what's gonna happen is
Sorry
to
to get
another
you, y'all.
team. If LaMelo go to another team and he play well, y'all gonna start saying he's playing a different brand of basketball. But then his whole argument is he's been the same way his whole life. I'm telling you, you're gonna see him on a different team, and then you're gonna all of a sudden y'all gonna come to y'all senses. And swear to God, y'all never had this conversation about LaMelo. Y'all, that's what's gonna happen.
I do have a quick question though.
What's up?
With LaMelo Ball having the freedom to play the way he does, why would he want to leave? Like LaMelo's been playing the same style of basketball damn near his
Because they're not
for, like, the past
putting
6-7
competent.
years.
Because number
He
one,
probably,
I'm gonna tell you
winning
why.
because he
Number
don't
one,
care. He don't care about winning. He just want to get
I-
money and have fun.
I disagree with that. Number one, I think the Hornets organization. I think the Hornets organization is shitty. That's number one. As far as they don't give a shit about coaches, like they haven't had a ideal coach for them in a long time. Part of the reason why they don't want to spend money. That's what it was about them. So that number one. Number two, they drafted Brandon Miller. I like that pick. They don't know, like they had to figure out what they was gonna do with Bridges, huh?
The T-John Salon pick was terrible.
It's like shit like that.
That was
like shit. Like shit like that. Then you get a guy like I think one year they drafted Kai Jones or some shit like that too.
Yeah.
And then it's like y'all clearly are an unserious organization. There's no
James
structure
Bouknight
around.
and shit.
Yeah, James Bouknight. There's no structure around 20 LaMelo's 23.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
23,
23.
24. He wanted.
There's no structure around a 23-year-old kid who needs dire structure. They barely even got any fucking vets over there. So it's like you wondering why a kid is in this situation and playing this way. Like we can all see the glaring talent he has. His decision making can be poor at times. It can be consistently poor sometimes too. But what I'm saying is you see the glaring talent that he has. For y'all to try to deny he has overwhelming talent.
I never
And
denied
to say that if you can't put this guy into another organization and see that he's going to blossom or bloom, at some point, y'all, at some point, y'all,
Jordan, I don't think that the talent is.
y'all losing.
Real quick, Chill. I just want to say, like, the point guard position is probably the deepest in the NBA. There's going to be an all-star level point guard that just gets left out. LaMelo Ball could have legitimately been an all-star this year. It's just the deepest position in the league. Like, you could argue there's 13 to 15 all-star level guards in the all-star level point guards in the NBA right now. Somebody's going to get left out. You know, with point guards, I value making
I
offensive.
don't know if it's going to definitely. It might be Darius Garland getting left out.
Shit.
It won't be Halliburton getting left. It could be Tyrese Halliburton getting left out.
It won't be me leaving DG out. It won't be me.
I mean,
and to your point, Jordan.
Hold on, chill. Switch positions. Put DG in Charlotte and put Halliburton in Cleveland.
Darius Garland in Charlotte would be a laughing stock. Y'all wouldn't talk about Darius Garland at all.
Yeah, they already
you guys would not talk about Darius Garland.
You
would never get mentioned.
This is the bullshit that we be talking about.
You know, Chill. Every PCL argument I have is in this notebook. Let me just.
We would talk about him the way we talk about Cam Thomas.
I want to make sure that I'm clear.
Diesel, you got the titles in there?
Just so we're clear, Ron. Can you tell everybody
this is my debate against Mars right here. You can't see it, but still. Like, I have all the notes right here.
That shit up and throw it in the trash.
Can you tell everybody here, Ron, where Darius Garland was drafted?
Fourth? I think he was drafted
19. I think he was like pick 8 or something.
He was drafted 4th, I think.
Yeah, he was drafted 4th. Now, there's a reason why he was drafted 4th. Cleveland was garbage. Yeah, they wasn't doing anything.
That was garbage until they got another player. What the fuck?
Okay, Jill? And who did that start with? Who did that start with?
It didn't start with Darius Garland.
I'm sorry, but
just started with Jared Allen too. And Evan Mobley.
Cleveland had a play-in run in Evan Mobley's rookie year.
Wait a minute, Ron. The point I'm making is Cleveland was garbage. Before Donovan Mitchell showed up, Darius Garland was an all-star. Before Donovan Mitchell showed up. Let's be clear on that. And they still was whack as hell. So.
Yeah, you know what his all-star stats was? 21-8.
On damn good efficiency.
We don't got to be box score merchants. We know he was playing better basketball than LaMelo.
Please. 100% he was. No doubt about that. He was definitely playing. So, Ron, if I move, if what you're trying to sell me is you're trying to sell me that Charlotte organization. You're telling me you're selling me that Charlotte. They have nothing that they're doing down there, and that he would be a laughing stock down there. Cleveland was a doormat. Cleveland was a doormat.
Chill. You want to know Cleveland roster? The year Darius Garland was all-star.
Thank you. Get him because
Darius
he wasn't
Garland,
the only
Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Laurie Marketing, Karis LeVert.
Okay.
Colin Sexton.
Okay.
Kevin Love.
Okay.
What we doing? Chill. Name me them guys on the Hornets that can compete with anyone.
There's no all-stars. There's no Evan Mobley caliber players.
So you draft Brandon Miller, right? You draft Brandon Miller in effort that this thing is going to improve. Is that correct?
Was Brandon Miller better than Laurie Marketing or Evan Mobley?
Or Jared Allen?
Laurie Marketing was a cast-off. Let's be clear about that.
He was still a baller though. Laurie Marketing was still hooping. He was still hooping.
20 player a year or 6 minutes.
He averaged 15. He averaged 15 that year.
15.
Matter of fact, remember because that was going with that. Remember that was going with Laurie. Remember they had Laurie, K Love, and was it Jared?
Yeah, it was Jared.
Yeah, Jared Allen.
And they had that was a
good team.
I like that team. I like that team. They had a good team. I'm not gonna say that Cleveland team wasn't good. I think they were a good basketball team.
Yo, if you gave LaMelo a collection of bigs, he would average 12 assists.
Bro, them motherfuckers drafted.
No, when he
James
first got there, you're right.
You're right. They drafted James Bouknight and Kai Jones, and we talking about the Cavaliers drafting goddamn Evan Mobley, who just won Defensive Player of the Year,
and then trading for Donovan Mitchell.
What player on the Hornets team, Chill, can win anything in your estimation? What player can you look at that roster and say, you're going to be a defensive player of the year?
Brandon Miller could be most improved at some point. I do think that.
Yeah, at some point.
At some point. But I'm saying, not Chill,
because
look
of
at that
LaMelo,
roster
in spite of LaMelo.
Chill. Okay, all right, that's fine. But Chill, look at that roster
Laurie
now.
Marketing in my opinion, in spite of Darius Garland.
First of all, what trade assets do they even have that somebody
he had to leave to get it?
Besides
Darius Garland was in his way.
All right, bro.
Besides Miles, what trade assets?
Well, LaMelo, Miles, Brandon.
Oh no, you can't say LaMelo a trade asset to help LaMelo.
Wait a minute, LaMelo, Bridges. Let's see, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, who they actually traded. And then it turned out he came back.
Oh yeah, Mark Williams for Dalton Connect. That's gonna help them win playoff game and put fans in the building.
Yeah.
They don't got a star level guy to be in the playoffs, bro.
But that's how unserious their organization is. They decided they wanted to trade Mark Williams for Dalton freaking Connect.
Because that's the guy that they should have drafted initially.
Because they drafted LaMelo. They unserious.
That was their guy initially. And they tried, and what they tried to do, they tried to double back.
LaMelo go to Sacramento, you gonna have the first ball jersey out the
I'm not. You must be out your mind, bro. I'll be pissed.
What? You gonna be talking about?
I'd rather have Trae Young.
I would rather have Trae Young too. That's different, though.
No, I mean that's just because y'all know how much I don't like Trae Young as a basketball player. I'd rather have him than LaMelo.
Okay.
Y'all
all I'm saying is chill. All I'm saying is chill.
That ain't my problem, man. If they trade Trae for DeMontis, I don't got nothing to do with the Kings. I don't give a shit what they do.
Hey,
what y'all say? Serious cope.
Hey,
because I'm no longer a King supporter if they trade DeMontis. Damn the Kings.
In your estimation, Chill, if we swap Darius Garland and LaMelo Ball, what would the Charlotte Hornets be?
I still think they would suck.
5 games better.
What would the Cleveland Cavaliers do? Would they be good or would they be trash?
Well, they already good.
They'd still be good.
No, I'm saying, but would they be good? Would they be trash because LaMelo joined?
3 games worse.
I don't think they would be trash. No, they
3 games worse and 5 games better.
How good would they be?
Oh, they the number 1 seed in the East with LaMelo. The Hornets. Oh, they drafted 9 instead of 7.
5 games is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Look at the West this year.
They probably still be
number 1 seed. Tell me 5 games or 3 games ain't gonna be good.
What was the separator? What was the separator? In from
the Hornets don't move up in the standings if they win 5 more games. They don't.
Okay. If
Cleveland loses 3 more games, they're tied. They're tied with Boston for the number 1 seed.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
They still win 60+ games.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Darius Garland probably, man, Darius Garland probably pull his fucking. Darius Garland would have a bald spot. His hairline would just be receding and receding that he was in Charlotte. I'm telling you, you'd be like, damn, how old is Darius Garland?
Bro, nobody wants to play with LaMelo, so they'll never be better.
Man, please. Hey, Clippers finna go ahead and grab LaMelo, and then y'all gonna be talking about the Clippers might win it all. They might win it all. I just know how this gonna go, though. I know how this gonna go.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm running a poll right now, and I'm asking who's better, Darius Garland or LaMelo Ball. Y'all go vote on this and let us know who's tripping and who's not tripping. In the meantime, we do got some super chats, so let's see what you guys have to say about everything we've had to say. MP13 said maybe Caitlin Clark can play point guard for Indiana next game. They might actually have a chance. At least she won't be scared to try to score. If you don't want to play, then sit your ass on the bench next to the coach.
Damn.
Caitlin Clark would be a dope ass point guard for Indiana, though.
Sorry.
She does play for Indiana, the Fever.
Pulling from 20.
Yeah, she'd be dope. Hey, her decision making coming off that pick and roll is spot on every time, boy. You know, it's one thing bigs hate when they run like a little pick and roll and they drag it out and they don't pass the ball on time. The bigs hate that shit. With Caitlin Clark, boy, as soon as she come off and if your defender do anything out of line, she getting you right back in order, boy. She pocket pass.
It's incredible
off
how
the rip.
When you are, I mean, has Tyra on a scale from 1 to 10, Ron, 10 being Bird or 10 being 2000 Shaq and 1 being 2011 LeBron James. What has Tyrese Haliburton been in these NBA finals for you on a scale from 1 to 10?
I think you asked me this after like game 3, but he's got worse since then. So I said 3. No, you asked me after game 2. I said 3. I'm gonna say he had a good game 3. Game 4 was last night was terrible. I'll probably keep it at a 3, honestly. 3 or 4. I'll say 4.
So with him being there, does this erase everything else that he did up until this point?
The good things?
Yes. Does this erase everything else?
No.
Because I just want to make sure that I still recognize Tyrese Haliburton as still one of the elite point guards in the game. I still want to recognize him as that. But I do want to recognize that he's playing bad because we did the same thing, Mars, in '84 with Magic. Magic was awful. But with Magic being awful, we still couldn't take away from the fact that this is still the best league guard in the game. Still. He's just bad right now. And that's what you dudes do to me. Y'all make sure that I'm aware of what's going on right now. All right, Tyrese Haliburton isn't very good right now. Is he still one of the 5 best league guards in the game, though?
No, he never was.
Yes, he absolutely is.
Okay.
But with that being said, though, I don't think it's fair for us to like minimize what he's done in these playoffs because of last night. You know what I mean? I don't think that's fair at all. But I also don't think it's fair for us to ignore last night because of what he's done before. I think basketball, we can take it game by game. Mm-hmm. We can compartmentalize. We can say he played terrible here, but he played great here. Just like, for instance, Chet was fooled one day. And he wasn't fooled the next day. You know what I'm saying? I think it's okay to talk about that. Tyrese absolutely sucked last night. Tyrese had the worst playoff performance by a star in all the playoffs this season last night.
That's the worst I've ever seen in playoffs, to be honest with you.
That's the worst. That's the worst I've seen any star player in all of these playoffs. Even worse than what James Harden did in Game 7. Terrible. But he's played. But he also has had very, very good games, great games, these playoffs. I think all of that can be true.
DSG Piccolo said, was game 4 the game Randall got benched? Because Nikhil Alexander Walker and Dante both played 11 minutes in the 4th. So they were playing, Ron. Yes, they were. And like I said, there's 3 other positions.
Julius Randle got benched twice in that series.
Was it game 2 he got benched? I think it was game 2 that he got benched. And I want to say game 3. No, they won game 3. I'm sorry.
It was game 2 and 4, I think.
Yeah, game 4 he got benched.
7-gram swish said LaMelo has only played over 50 games one time. He will never be a top anything in the association.
Let's please not leave out the fact that that is the narrative with him, that he made of glass. Like he's got bad wheels and they always breaking, always. So in addition to this, because again, remember where we are, Mars. We're on the internet. Whatever comes out of your mouth, it's taken literally. Okay, so LaMelo Ball is a bad decision maker. That's a fact. However, when you say he's a bad decision maker, that means that he's always making bad decisions. Okay, that's not what he's saying. What I'm saying is that he's made bad decisions throughout the course of his career. The difference between him and the other point guards is that he makes more bad decisions than they do. That's why there's a separator between those two guys. Instead of all he does is make bad decisions, period.
Hey, chill. I would be made of glass too. It's like one of them things like when you had a badass job. I'll take the post office, for example. You know, sometimes, because I used to work for the post office, you know, sometimes motherfuckers don't show up to work. Sometimes at the post office,
you got to do their job too, in addition to your job.
Yeah, there you go. You know, shit happens.
You know what?
When you don't have no structure and no organization, motherfuckers treat your business like shit. So, hey, man,
you ain't lying.
You know.
I would also say this, just precautionary. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the ins and outs or the details of these injuries, but just judging by these brothers right here, I would say if you want to create your, and I'm all for entrepreneurship. I love that. Be an entrepreneur, do your thing. But when you create a shoe, maybe don't create an athletic shoe that you got to work out and stuff in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like create walk around the house sandals or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, his dad was against it too, by the way. You know, his dad think them Pumas is the reason why he been hurt. But also
Pumas. What about it? Might have been them other raggedy ass shoes that they were.
No, he didn't get hurt. No, he didn't get hurt in them. He didn't get hurt in them. He got hurt when he put them Nikes in them Pumas. Same thing with Lonzo.
Same thing with Harley, actually. He just got a signature shoe, right?
Them bullshit ass Pumas.
Oh, yeah, Puma. Hey, Ox, get the paperwork.
Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley.
Hey, for your little night court show,
James Wiseman. I mean, damn, the Puma got a bad history?
Well, what's it called? Aiden didn't get hurt.
Shit, he hurt something.
Maybe mentally he might have got hurt.
Yes, I did. I take that back.
He hurt his finger and missed like 2 weeks.
No, he
his finger.
No, actually, the rest of the season he actually got hurt.
DeAndre Ayton hurt his finger, and I swear to God, I think he missed like 2 weeks. I'm not bullshitting.
That's because his goofy ass is sleeping on an air mattress.
Cooper Flag, you better be cautious, brother. You better be cautious with them Pumas. But Simon 718
is Tyrese Maxey with Puma too? No, he with New Balance. Okay.
Simon 718 said Jordan will go to war for a dude who's a bona fide shot chucker who plays like he's still in AAU, but then will crap on elite point guards like Luka. LaMelo isn't a top 20 guard. Stop it.
And you know what's crazy about that dumb? Bring that shit back up while you talk, because you know what's crazy about that dumb shit that people just be saying and just talk out of context with no control. And yes, I'm calling you a dumbass. Number one, I talk shit about Luka and I still say he's a top 2 guard or top 3 player in the NBA. I still do it. So that's my whole point with LaMelo. You can have these flaws, you can do all of that stuff and still be a top whatever. I've said next year he could be from anywhere at best 3 to anywhere at worst 10. I don't get, sometimes people just hear what they want to hear and be a dumbass. You can't be a dumbass all your life. Sometimes you got to grow up and be smart.
Turn the lights on.
It is what it is.
That's not how it works, Jordan. A young fool grows up and becomes an old fool.
Yes.
You know right.
You a young fool don't do nothing but grow up and be an old fool.
Yeah, I know a couple old fools.
Right. I know a lot of old fools, boy. I look at them and I be like, that's a damn fool.
I got some I'm real close to. Cowboy Bob said, I remember on Open Gym, Mars, Real Talk, myself, and a few others talked about J Dub as a rookie, how talented he is, and I'm glad to see him have a chance at Finals MVP. Go New York, go.
I was biased to J Dub because he went to Santa Clara.
Really, you was?
Oh, yeah. I really like.
You like the Santa Clara? You like Santa Clara players, or you just know that Steve Nash went there?
Well, no, Steve Nash. I really like Pajimski coming out too.
Santa Clara, you know, people don't realize Santa Clara playing a very tough fucking conference. Like
The
they
West
playing
Coast
the best
Conference is a
ball.
good ass league, yo. Yes.
Yeah. Them boys play good basketball, brother.
Yes, the West Coast Conference is a good league, yo. I think San Francisco was in the top 20 this year.
Yeah, they
USF?
was. They was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they was in the top 20.
USF was all right. No, Santa Clara put out good prospects, bro. Well, not even just NBA prospects. I'm talking about pros, period. Like they just put out good
dudes who
pros.
can play basketball.
Yeah,
I was just about to say
they
that,
play a
bro.
good
They got-
brand. That's
they
why
got-
I
they
like
got a
most of their
kid-
prospects.
They got a kid went there a long time ago, back in like the early 2000s. Kid named Brody Angley, straight baller. Dude was so dope. Santa Clara good with those. Though they got a certain demographic,
got a good
point
coach.
guard that they usually go for. You know what I'm saying? And they be out there balling. You know what I'm saying?
I wanna say
Knocking
they
down
coach
wide open
been there.
threes, make their free throws. Good decision.
I forgot Brody used to bust you on CFB ass.
I think
Brody Angley's like 8-9 years older than me, Ron. What are you talking
Still used to
about?
bust your ass.
I never played against Brody Angley.
I want to say they
that was
coach
the
been
other
there for a
guard. My
little
bad.
minute.
I'm tripping.
No, they coach been there. I think this coach that they had, I think he came in like 2017. I think he came in like 2017 or some shit like that. But he took over from a coach that was decent too. But Santa Clara just have a good brand of basketball. Another school too. I was watching film on them last night. Robert Morris. They got a little shaky with the players that they got, but they play a good brand of basketball. That's why they won like 29 games or some shit like that. They got good coaches at these lower level schools. They got good coaches, bro. Like they be beautiful basketball minds. Like beautiful basketball minds. They just don't have the players. Like they don't have the elite of the elite best players in the world or in college on their team. But schools like Santa Clara, you'll watch them and see some good hoops for real.
My favorite
conference.
college coach that I watched last year if she actually is a women's coach though, Ivy League in Columbia. And they play some basketball over here.
Hey, Ox, that chick
I
from
only saw him
Harvard
play
coach our
once, I
ass
don't know.
off. That coach from Harvard coach our ass off. She got a baller. She does. She 100% got a baller, but she coach our ass off.
Shit. Oh, Coach Wade for McNeese. Y'all see McNeese? He just got a new job though. At
Where you
NC
at now?
State. NC State, I think now.
I'm gonna check him
Will
out.
Wade, boy, that
He
boy,
did, he did.
That
Yep,
boy
yep.
got fired. Boy got fired from LSU. And went down to McNeese, stayed in
Tearing shit up
Louisiana,
at McNeese.
Right?
and they made the tournament 2 straight years, and they won. I
Yeah.
think they won 30 games
That,
this year.
that's
yeah,
the school with
so
Buddy
wait,
that had the
NC State
radio
now? I didn't know
with Oricon. That's the school with Oricon. Remember he had
Yeah.
the radio. Oh, you know Oricon entered into the transfer portal too. He at NC State as well.
Yeah,
Shout out
but-
to
but-
shout out the boy Aura.
Boy, yeah, he did enter the transfer portal. That shit funny. Hey, but
Shout out
I'm
the
telling you,
kid,
bro,
man.
like, bro, some coaches can coach, bro. Like they just don't get that those type of guys. Like I watched Robert Morris play against Alabama. Alabama got a hell of a coach, but Robert Morris coach good as hell too. You just can't compete with Alabama. Like you're not gonna like compete against
it's
them.
a talent gap.
Yeah, but I can see why Mars is biased though to Santa Clara players. I can see that.
Mitch Cole said, I just want to say thank God for that the Thunder didn't get Cam Johnson for no reason. I don't know how long this core can stay, but let's enjoy it while it lasts.
Yep.
Also, SGA is the best point guard in the league.
I'm gonna still die on my horse. I just don't consider
muted,
them guys
John.
point guards. I
I absolutely think they
y'all
should have
hate.
traded for Cam Johnson, though. I think they should have did it. Like, for example, I think what may have been expensive to a team that didn't have draft capital or the salary cap to go get him would have been inexpensive to the Thunder. They could have gave them a pick that's maybe three years down the line, maybe 1 or 2, and they could have got Cam Johnson. That's an elite shooter, elite relocator, really good size. He would have fit in really well with the Thunder and what they're trying to do. So, at least on the offensive end. So, I really think they should have traded for Cam Johnson.
All right, y'all. The next super chat comes courtesy of Field Boy 7. Field Boy 7 said, "What's up, y'all? Love the show. Where do you guys think J Dub is ranked as a player in the league? I got him anywhere between 25 to 20, and I ain't mad at anybody putting J Dub ahead of Jalen Brown either."
Oh yeah, I have him above Jalen Brown, but I have him in between 20 and 30. I don't have an exact number on it yet. If I can take a look.
While he's looking that up, you guys do know here very soon We're gonna do the top. We're gonna rank the top 25 playoff performers, but we're also gonna rank the top 75 players from this last season. So J Dub, we'll have a good ranking on J Dub here very soon.
I already got my top 50.
Okay, we ready to rock then?
Let's do it.
The next super chat is from Trayvon Ray. Trayvon said a top 3 LaMelo is really just still taking fucked up shots, but it went in this year. and the 360 no scope pass somehow didn't get picked off. Shout out top 3 LaMelo.
Hey man, like I said, next year there's gonna be a whole lot of motherfuckers just acting like they ain't say what they just said. I just know it. It just
even with that though, Jordan, I don't expect the Hornets to improve that much. So
I don't expect LaMelo to be on a roster. I don't expect him to be on a roster.
If you projecting that, then yeah, but I can't expect him to look so much more better on the Hornets, and they still are who they are.
To be completely fair, I think the Hornets are one healthy season away from like the culture changing. I think you have the fourth pick in the draft. You have really talented players in Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams when he's healthy. I think earlier in his career he had a really good really solid defensive season. He hasn't really been consistent with his defense.
They might trade Mark Williams though.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you could trade Mark Williams and go draft Malowach, but
I think that they come back. I think that they revisit you guys again. To be honest with you, they don't
need to draft no motherfucker like that no more. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of the Hornets drafting. Nah, but and it's nothing against Malowach, but I'm sick of them drafting players
they've
like
been cursed
that,
with
bro.
that.
Cut that bullshit out, bro. Stop drafting. Them motherfuckers been drafting motherfuckers like that since like a Becca Okafor and shit like that. Like, cut that shit out, bro. That shit don't give you no look.
VJ then. Go get VJ. Go get VJ.
If I'm them, I'm putting together a solid backcourt forward. And I'm making them bond together. Like if I'm keeping LaMelo, give me Brandon Miller, LaMelo. I'll take VJ or shit. I'll try to see what the temperature like. I'm cool with Conker, but to me, I don't know if I want that. I see what the temperature is like on what's that boy Ace Bailey. Even though Ace Bailey's gonna struggle in the NBA for a couple years, bro. I think he's gonna struggle. But
yeah, I got beef with Sixers fans because I think
Ace Bailey gonna struggle. Ace Bailey's gonna struggle. I'll watch this.
I heard his draft stock is going down. To be honest with you, because he's
Carter Bryant is a good one that I think will fit good with the
he's an elite connector. He's an elite connector. But if you say he's not going to the Raptors, you know, you might get
Carter Bryant would be very good with them. But Ace Bailey, I'm trying to think of a defensive guard that can sit down. That can play offense and can sit down on D. VJ. But to me, VJ is only like 6'4", right? 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5".
So what position? Because
he can be
Brandon Miller 6'9".
He could guard 1s and 2s. Because Brandon Miller could guard 2s and 3s.
Brandon Miller played the 2 though.
He could play. Well, he could play the 3.
I think Brandon Miller got the size to play the 3.
I just don't think his game is a 3 though.
You have a really structured transition team. You have LaMelo, Brandon Miller, VJ, Mark Williams can move up and down the
Miles
floor.
Bridges too. You know he gonna run that fast break.
Yeah, wait. Diesel, what do y'all mean?
Get LaMelo. I mean, get Lonzo. Get Lonzo and just put
get
LaMelo
the fuck out of there.
Get Lonzo and
but Diesel, what do you? I've been wondering this for a little while, and I'm pretty sure we're on the same. But what do y'all mean by he's an elite connector? Connector of what?
Connector as in somebody that can, in my opinion, just keep the offense at a level pace. When I look at Carter Bryant, he does connective things as in being a spot up shooter, being an elite relocator, being a good cutter, somebody that you can flash to the middle of the zone and he can make the pull up mid-range shot or he can make the proper pass. Just somebody that you can put in multiple different scenarios and he can do multiple different things to keep the offensive flow. He can be put in multiple different
like a glue guy?
Yeah, basically. I think he's a
good basketball player. That's what it is. Connects is a good basketball player.
Like Carter can play
like J Dub.
I think Carter can play the 2 through 4. He's a really good rebounder. He moves really well on the perimeter. He can shoot a spot up 3. He's a really good off-ball player, and he's shown some chops as a passer. I think he can be somebody you can play like next to LaMelo Ball. It doesn't hurt your spacing. It doesn't hurt your size. It doesn't hurt your transition game. I think there's a world where you can go to the draft and you can see Ace Bailey could fall to 6 or 7, based off of what team he won.
He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle in the NBA.
Outside of the Wizards,
I think Ace gonna get busy.
Man, Ace, Ron, I'm gonna tell you something that might be a little bit in advance. Like draft analysis. Like I watched a lot of his film yesterday. I just was taking time because that's how I'm about to move into college. Bro, he sucks off the catch. Like if he don't catch the ball and ISO and jab and look around, if you make him, let's say you got a fast-paced offense like Indy, and it's swing and you got to play off the catch and you got to get down, he sucks.
He's
really bad, bro. Like I'm
unless
talking
the
about
play is right in front of
at
him,
a horrible level, bro. Like and it's glaring too. It's not just one game. He does it every game. Like he's even when he off the catch and get to the rim, he don't even finish. It's like the only good thing he does is if he can play off a catch and shoot, he can do that. And if he ISOs, if he catches it and then he get time to look around and jab and do all of that shit, then you see an Ace Bailey that y'all like. But as far as I drive kick, you gotta catch the ball and go to the net. No, bro, he gonna struggle. He gonna struggle.
He's not a connector.
No, not.
Yeah, I think Ace really needs to be developed. I still think there's a world where he can be a really good player. It's just right now, especially if I'm one of the teams in the top 3, I'm not looking at Ace Bailey. I think there's a lot more NBA ready prospects in this draft that you can go with the top 3 pick before Ace Bailey. That's not me saying that he's going to be a bad player, but I think you're going to have to be patient with him as a ball handler, as a decision maker, as a finisher. Those things just come with time. I do think there's a lot of ways you can use him as an off-ball player. You can put him in the dunker. You can have him run baseline runners. You can flash him to the middle. It's a lot of things he has to get better at. If you're just going to put the ball in his hand and let him go, he's going to be awful. So
sounds like he has Charlotte written all over.
No, he don't need to go to Charlotte. No,
yeah, he doesn't.
That's
what I'm scared of the most. Like,
hell no, please don't go to Charlotte.
That's what sounds like.
If I'm the Hornets, they should get. To me, I'm probably trading for Lonzo, not just because that's LaMelo's brother. That's number one. You need excitement back in Charlotte to get the fans involved too, but also because he's number one. He's a vet. He's a point guard. He can manage the game. He sets the tone defensively too, and they need more vets. I talked about this with Detroit last year when everybody was saying Detroit was so bad, and I said Detroit probably gonna make the playoffs. And I'm taking my victory lap for that one. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I'm taking it for sure. I'm taking it because I said that, but. They need vets. They don't have vets on that team to stop this wild boy. They play basketball like they just all went out at a club last night and stayed out till 2:00 in the morning and then got up at 2:00 and went to an after hours to 7. So my thing is you need vets around them, but you need vets that play. Like you need vets that I don't know, like a Mike, like a Malik Beasley was to the Hornets. Like he was a vet that plays. You need those type of vets on the team. Not James Johnson, because James Johnson gonna go over there and hurt them kids' feelings. We need somebody that's in the trenches with him. Like I don't know who that be, but I know Lonzo is Lonzo.
They had Taj Gibson.
Man, come on, man.
You can't be more veteran than Taj Gibson.
Taj wasn't supposed to be playing, Mars,
but he was.
But he wasn't supposed to. That's what I'm saying.
What does that say about Charlotte, Mars? The fact that he was playing him. What does that say about Charlotte?
Exactly.
They put Taj Gibson on the floor.
A little bit of injury crisis.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like they need some vets, and once they get a vet, they probably need a veteran forward, veteran center. They need a veteran guard too. You just need a vet out there that can help them. But I don't even know if they can. I would check people temperatures at the number 4 pick and see who's willing to give me something for that number 4 pick. Because I don't want another young guard over there. I want either a connector like Carter Brown, but I don't think you got to get Carter Brown at 4. I think you can get him later on.
Now, Jordan, I have flirted with a trade idea with Philly and Brooklyn. Philly's like, you know what, Brooklyn, you guys may have not wanted to be this good. Let's give you this top 3 pick. You give me Cam Johnson in that 8th pick, and we give you a salary filler, and we just swap out. The Sixers get a forward that can shoot and play off Embiid and Maxey. Yeah. And they also get another pick at 8 to where it can be a Colin Murray Boyles, who can be a really good defender in a position like that. If Carter Bryant falls, I really like that trade. And then the Nets, they probably go get a VJ Edgecombe, or if they really want to buy in on the upside of a guy like Ace Bailey or Jeremiah Fears, you can do that as well. But if I'm the Nets, it's like we got a really good coach. He may have outcoached us to the point where we fell out of the top 3. That's a good position to be in. I also looked at some trades for the Rockets to go get Cam Johnson as well. But
Diesel, what do you feel about Jeremiah Fears on the Hornets and moving LaMelo off the ball.
I think
Off the
look,
team?
No, off the ball.
I actually
I want
think
him off the
Jeremiah
team.
Fears
I want
would.
him off the
I
team,
actually
but-
think Jeremiah Fears would be really good off ball. I think he would be the guy to be really good off ball, just because I do see a little bit of a struggle with his strength and his build, but I don't see a struggle with his first step. If he can have an advantage created for him and he can get drives off of that, he's a really good pull-up mid-range shooter. He can finish around the rim once he gets there. It's just the strength problem that I have with him. But as a pull-up shooter, as a difficult shot maker, I really like it. I really like him playing with the ball. He can fit in transition because he's extremely athletic.
Hey, he seems smaller than what he is, though. He seemed like he's small, bro. He's not that small. He just looks small. He just looks small. But
Yo, we got a super chat from 8 Gates Lee. 8 said off topic, but peak versions, who are you cutting? Dwight Howard, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Nikola Jokic. This should be very easy, in my opinion. Dub
Yeah, we
Show,
can say this on 3.
Dub TJ McConnell, and F. Keisha
You're not
Cole.
gonna get the same.
Why
answer.
Keisha Cole,
I
though?
already know Ox's answer. I seen him reply to my tweet.
Prime
So-
D12, Prime D12, a motherfucker, boy. I don't know too many folks going against
Yeah,
Prime
that
D12.
motherfucker
man.
getting cut. That's all I know.
Oh God, he is. He's
I don't know
getting
what to
cut.
tell you. Bye
Dwight
bye.
Howard is gone. He's
What
gone.
we talking
He's
about?
gone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, Anthony Davis.
Dwight-
Bye.
Hold on, Ox. What was your response?
Cutting Jokic.
My response was simple. You cut the only guy up here that can't guard their own shadow.
He cutting Jokic.
So who we starting, Ox? Are we starting Joel Embiid or we starting Anthony Davis?
That's pretty.
I ain't
He's
taking
Oh,
no
starting
sorry,
Dwight.
who?
So we're
He's
starting.
starting
Thank you, Mark.
Dwight.
Thank you, Mark.
So we're starting Dwight. So we're
Thank
starting
you,
Dwight
Mark.
Howard.
There's somebody up there who's in their prime. Clear.
So we're starting Dwight Howard. We're benching Embiid and Anthony Davis, and we're cutting Jokic.
We bench AD and Embiid. We keep you around for every 4 years when it's time to go.
Hell
to the
no. Hell no. I'm keeping Jokic over Embiid. Get
You know what I'm
your
saying,
ass
bro?
outta here.
Embiid's there. For the
AD is
playoffs.
third, and then Dwight's fourth. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
Shit,
cutting
nah,
Dwight.
I'm with Mars
I'm
on this
cutting
one.
Embiid. I'm cutting Embiid. Shit, that motherfucker can't stay
They go
healthy for
Dwight,
nothing.
AD.
No, but
Man,
just
it said
all of them
peak
fully
versions,
healthy and
I
at
don't
the
think
peak of their
injuries
power.
are
I
factored
just,
into it. It's just like everyone at their best. But if you want to factor in the injuries, then yeah, sure, Embiid. But I think that's what the hypothetical is.
Man,
Wait.
to be honest,
D12,
in the
man.
peak of their
Dwight-
powers, I don't
Dwight
think
and
Dwight
AD
has
is
an
playing,
argument
that's all I
against
know.
Embiid or Jokic. I don't see it. I don't see it. You
The
can't convince
Jordan,
me
the
that Dwight.
best what's the best version of Dwight Howard?
The finals, Dwight, probably.
You're not about to convince me that player's better than Anthony
So
Davis.
so
You're not about to.
2009 Dwight Howard, is he better than 2018 Anthony Davis?
For me, yeah. For
Out
me, yeah.
what?
For me, yeah.
Out
Hey,
what?
AD is a better scorer for sure. I'm gonna give you AD a better score.
He's better at everything on offense.
No,
everything.
Everything.
But that defensive end, shut the hell
Dwight,
down.
you can say Dwight's a better rim protector. You can say that.
Cutting your water off at the rim.
AD's a way more versatile defender.
Do you remember
Way
Anthony
more.
Davis in 2018 as a defender?
Yes, I do. But I don't
The
need.
man
don't.
that should have won defensive player of the year.
No,
I
you
do, but
don't.
I don't need. Yes, I do, but I don't need D12 to be versatile. He's shutting the main.
But
bro,
what's
you
AD
cannot get a
doing at the
layup.
rim? What's AD doing at the rim?
Not with D2, bro. You could not get a layup on them.
Do you
Oh,
remember?
no layup.
I'm fine with Dwight being a better rim protector.
Okay.
My issue is compared to Jokic, cool. Compared to Anthony Davis, when Anthony Davis does everything else better.
Yeah, but the one,
Even if we look at like that
Lamar,
23 playoff
the
run.
rim, but hold on, the
The
rim
23
protection.
playoff run off the table. Do you remember him dominating defensively that series against the Trailblazers when he swept them?
Hold
He
on,
dominated that
hold
series.
on. What did D12 do in 09? The whole playoffs,
He was dominant defensively. 100%.
bro.
If I
This
speak,
man
I'll be in
is
trouble, so I'ma
taking.
just stay- I'ma just
This
stay
man,
quiet.
this man is chill.
Just so
He's
you know, he was a
taking-
turnover machine during those playoffs too. By the way,
Okay, this man is
He
taking
was a
chill.
foul machine too.
Chill.
On top of
This
that.
man is taking away one of the most valuable things in basketball.
which is
A layup.
and
He taking
Anthony-
it away.
Jordan-
Jordan,
Davis
don't let Chill and Mars convince you that Dwight Howard
Anthony-
wasn't a
and Anthony
monster on the
Davis-
offensive end as well. He was
Oh,
still,
yeah,
he
he
was
was.
still a problem on offense. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
this is the
Absolutely
gap
was.
between Anthony Davis and
I think
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard was cool.
This is the gap between them two on the offensive end. I don't think it's close.
That's cool, but
No.
see the gap between them two on the defensive end to me.
No, it's not. And here's why.
I don't give a shit about your versatility. I'm talking about that rim protection.
You just said it. You just said it yourself about. You just said it yourself about Dwight Howard in 2009.
Lead on the basket, chill. Lead on the basket.
And I'm glad you brought that up because Anthony Davis did the same thing in 2020 when they played against the Trailblazers, mopped them out of the playoffs in 5 games. He did the same thing when they played against the Houston Rockets.
Why he didn't do it against Denver? Why he didn't do it against Denver?
He did do it. He did do it against Denver. They won the NBA championship that year.
Yeah, because Rajon and Drew
No. I'm talking about. You know what? You know what Denver I'm talking about, chill. Don't try to go by.
So we're talking
Dwight
about
shutting his water off.
Dwight shutting his water off. And I can counter that by Dwight Howard being the dominant force that he was when the NBA 5-man was going this way. That's what he was.
Chill.
When he was going
ever since the White left, Jokic's been tearing AD ass up.
Ever since
the White left La La Land, Jokic's been doing AD.
And AD been talking about, I need a center. I need a center.
I
want to play with a center. I miss Dwight and JaVale McGee.
AD thinks he's a power forward. That doesn't mean he's worse than Dwight.
Yeah, no, I know, but we,
I wish I saw the Dwight you guys see. I think dominant rim
because you wasn't born yet, Mars. If your ass would have been alive, you would have seen.
Maybe it was something you had to be around to watch, and going back and watching, it's not the same input. I don't know. Because I'm watching that man goaltend like crazy and foul like crazy, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, he was just goaltending to intimidate you. That's all.
Sure. Maybe that
too. Just not watch it go in.
Maybe that is the thing, and I think he was the best rim protector in the sport. Absolutely, I think he was like LeBron, notwithstanding, the best athlete in the NBA as well. Like, cool. I don't think that makes up for I'm leaving Jokic and Embiid out of this. Respectfully, I'm not even entertaining that conversation. Anthony Davis. To me, we're talking about peak Anthony Davis, which is, in my opinion, 2018 to 2020. Anthony Davis, in that stretch of years, in my opinion, was the best defender in the NBA, while simultaneously dwarfing anything Dwight Howard could do on offense.
Not dwarfing.
To me, but it's not like he getting. It's not like he.
I don't see how it's comparable. I'm watching Anthony Davis. He's a dominant rim protector. 2020 in particular, dominant rim protector. Offensively, you can give him the ball to create for himself. He's a way better passer than Dwight Howard was. The best thing I think Dwight Howard did offensively was offensive rebound, which I think he's better than Anthony Davis. Wholeheartedly, better than the next best thing.
Real lob threat.
Yeah, the next best thing I was gonna say. The next best thing I think he was a great lob threat. I think Anthony Davis was better. So I just don't.
What?
I just don't.
You think Anthony Davis was a better lob threat?
Yes, I think
Eddie was a damn good lob threat.
I think vertical
better than
Dwight Howard's a better vertical athlete. But in terms of the actual ability to catch and finish with touch, yes, he clears. Dwight Howard, if he's not coming down and dunking it, he's not finishing the play. Anthony Davis can finish.
That's not true, Morris.
I just don't think I don't think his touch is comparable to Anthony.
AD got more touch.
In comparison to. When I say that, it's in comparison to AD. That's what.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, so let me be more clear. He's just not finishing the plays.
Yeah, I thought you was treating him like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Oh, I just don't think it's really comparable. And then I factor in the versatility of Anthony Davis offensively. You can use him as a pick and pop big. You can use him and actually run pick and rolls. All of that utility just dwarfs Dwight Howard. Who I'm giving Dwight Howard post ups, and I'm like.
But wait though. No, because Dwight did have that. He did develop that little.
He had that jump hook. He had that jump hook. He had
that jump hook. He had that open up bank shot. He had the drop step. He had that quick spin too. Dwight wasn't just nothing.
He wasn't really good.
You had.
It's not enough.
He's not even in that. Talks
for sure.
Dwight, you could dump it down to Dwight. Now, AD's better on offense. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. My thing is this though. I want to make this very clear. I'm taking I'm taking AD and Dwight over these two. Just want to make.
You put them together?
Yeah,
if I put them together, I
want
AD and Dwight over these two.
Yeah, that high low. Ooh,
that's probably the most seamless fit. But I think that goes.
And the league, is the only you never get a layup. You never get the layup.
Because I think AD is better than Embiid. I got AD over Embiid.
Wow.
See, I'm
shocked that y'all don't. I thought y'all did too.
No,
Yo, we got some more super chats, so let's go ahead and keep it pushing.
Yes, sir.
Simon718 has a discrepancy with somebody in the chat. He said, just a reminder, one buddy could get suited to oblivion for making those false accusations to chill. You know how easy it is to find one buddy's info? Just from his username. Control your chat, Ron. Ban him.
Oh, he was making accusations?
Everybody in favor of banning Buddy, raise your hand.
We got to stand with our panelists. What we doing? Stand with our panelists, guys.
Hey, man.
I don't want to ban anybody. I think
I don't know.
I don't care to ban anyone, but we got to stand with our panelists.
Yeah, I don't care for all of that.
There's
I
no
just,
reason
you know,
for him to be here. None whatsoever. He doesn't offer anything to the show. No.
He pays a membership.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
Well, I thought he was in the chat. He pays for a membership.
He'll say no, he don't.
Ban him. Buddy, comment so I can find you.
Y'all do know out with Mars in America right now. There are protests and riots because of this right now. And now y'all want to do the same thing up here on the panel.
I'm just well, first of all, I am from where you from, but I'm just standing with my panel. Me personally, I don't care to like ban people or whatever, but I also don't care if Buddy gets banned.
Buddy, type in the comments so I can find you and ban you.
Mars, if you standing with your panelists, why weren't you standing with me when I called Matthew Berg racist?
You're not a real panelist, bro. You don't show up every day.
Buddy, say something.
I stand with a 5-day.
Hey, I'll get him to say something. Say something, or you're not a real nigga.
Ron, I need to be on here 5 days a week.
Jordan become a 5-day a week panelist.
Yeah, we got his ass.
I might stand with him.
And now y'all about to start making propaganda. Buddy's dangerous. All this.
Yeah. They gonna start doing shit like that.
But we seen this in real life on every
a menace to
man.
society.
I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all don't fall for the trick, man. We just don't gotta acknowledge the brother. If y'all don't like him,
just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, right. You don't acknowledge a fire because it's small in the corner, and then that fire turns into it's lighting the kitchen on fire, and then the kitchen lights the whole house on fire. No,
I think you're giving them too much. I think you're giving them too much credit calling them a fire.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I just don't think he offers anything to this show. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, he ain't the only one. There's a lot of people in the chat.
Yeah, it's
a lot of just assholes in the chat, but
they just want to talk, bro.
We just got to let.
Yeah, but they pay money.
It's clear, Chip. Exactly. But Chip, it's clear to me that Buddy just has severe daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? He just wants your attention. You know what I'm saying? He just wants your attention. It's sick. It's sad, but. That's the life. That's how it is, man.
Yeah, I'm learning to ignore it. I try to stay out of the chat a lot just because it's pointless. But my thing
I had to learn to do that too.
Yeah, but my thing is this the worst one for me. I don't say nothing.
Y'all been letting these little chumps poke y'all?
No, hell no.
Y'all can't handle a little chat.
Right.
You raised your hand, boy.
What y'all can't handle a little ruckus from the chat?
Right.
The chat be throwing y'all off y'all pivot.
Hey, this the one that get me. They be like,
talk about the chat.
Hey, I could give an opinion or a take on basketball, and somebody will say Jordan coaches kids. The fuck they gotta do anything?
Nothing.
What the fuck? What's people that coach it like adults, kids, or whatever? Like, bro, just because I say that I think LaMelo is a top 3 to 10 point guard, I can't coach basketball. What the fuck they gotta do anything? Bro, y'all be killing me with this shit.
Hey, y'all, speaking of which,
Jordan, you are changing the world, Jordan. Remember that. Hey, the attention, the time, and the love that you show the youth and teach them a tool that they can go on and excel with in their life, bro. You are changing the world. You know
and the WNBA
too. No matter what nobody say, what type of goofball shit they say, they think that your opinion isn't valid because you don't coach professional basketball. That's ignorant, and you are absolutely changing lives and changing the world in the future, bro.
I appreciate that, Big Ox. I appreciate that, Big Ox, and that's why I keep doing it right there. That's my job.
Y'all, speaking of the chat, it's funny that this came up in this episode because next Friday, Players' Choice will officially be unveiling our first annual panel chat awards. Next Friday's gonna be a hell of a. I'm telling you, y'all make sure you here on time next Friday. We have 15 awards that will be passed out to members of the chat and people on the panel. I can't wait.
Members of the chat too, Ron?
It's gonna be awards such as the most obnoxious of the year. It's gonna be awards such as Yapper of the year. It's gonna be awards such as
chatter of the year, all of that good stuff. I can't let you guys know all 15 awards, but all I know is it's going to be
Who votes on these awards?
It's going to be a combination of all of us.
Wait, Ron. So we got
everything.
We got awards for the chat and for the people in the panel.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win host of the year?
Hey,
hey, good look. Hey, Mars.
Probably gonna be somebody from this show. Oh, speaking of which, from the logo today.
What the heck?
What
the hell is
today?
That the awards lose all credibility if that happens.
Wait, because Hayes is the host over there, right?
No one knows.
Yes, Hayes.
Mars, what is your beef with that? I just want to know what's your beef with that. Because this has been a consistent.
I gave
thing for
everyone
Mars.
on that podcast belt in the PCL, man. You don't take that.
That's crazy.
Damn, but
Hayes
Mars,
got packed up.
Mars,
DZ got packed up. Gifted got packed up. How you going?
Hey, but I'm saying before that even happened, you just been consistently from the logo. Mars has been consistently on bullshit with them. I just want to know why. How
many episodes you watched, Jordan?
I'm not gonna answer. It don't even matter.
There you go.
It doesn't even matter. I just want to know why you was on bullshit.
Hey, no,
I be tapping in from time to time to hate, but I be tapping in.
I really do enjoy from the logo though.
No,
logo's fine.
Oh, Bama's there now too. Well, he was last time I checked. I don't know. I haven't watched.
Bama's still on from the logo,
but Bama there too. So Bama be.
Bama about to transition off from the logo.
First time I seen Bama there, he was yapping something crazy about Kyrie. He was like, Kyrie not a top 10 something. He was hating.
He's spitting.
So,
He's not better than De'Aaron Fox or LaMelo Ball. But y'all, we got more super chats, but I just wanted to inform you guys. First off, that if Buddy types again in the chat, we will ban him. Second off, next Friday, once again, we have Players' Choice, the chat awards, the panel chat awards. My bad, the panel chat awards. So I'm telling you right now, make sure you are here next Friday. If you got to take the day off, whatever the case may be, because you never know, you might win an award.
The PCAs. There we go. Oh, somebody typed in the chat.
Where is he? Good night. Well, we'll let him slide for another chat. We'll let him escape. Buddy, we on your case. Just know that. All right, y'all. DSG Piccolo said Carter Bryant to Portland, man. I need to see it.
Man, Portland got too many guys like Carter Bryant over there anyway. Man, Portland just need to.
You can never have too many Carter Bryant.
They need to trade their goddamn pick, bro. Just go trade that shit. Like for a team like Portland, you don't need another player to come in from the draft. Like trade that shit.
I think
man.
It depends what's available.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that, but I'm just saying, trade that pick if you can.
I'd be open to it, yeah.
That Portland is already on the come up.
Because of Mars and JD, I now have been doing way more homework on the draft because I feel like I need to know what I'm talking about when the draft come up. When you do, because a lot of times y'all be talking and I'll be like, "Who the fuck is that? Who is this dude?" I just feel like a complete idiot. Like a lot of times when y'all, and I'm hoping that y'all don't ask me questions because I'm totally not prepared to talk about the draft.
It's all good. I can.
So like I got it. I now have to. I now find myself digging more into the draft and finding out about these guys because
I could give you some names. Thomas Sorber, Cedric Coward, Colin Murray Boyles, Colin Nipple, Jace Richardson, Bogulyup Markovich. It's so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
But John, no, this is the only thing that's having me tight about this draft. I'm not saying that this draft is. First off, I'm not hyping this draft like it's 96 or 84. But I'm also not saying it's weak. But the only thing is, you guys, even from last year, you guys overlooked last year's draft and said, "Oh, next year's going to be crazy." Now that we're here, I'm not seeing that this draft being so much more talented than last year. In fact, I'm looking and I'm like,
I think there's a lot of guys in this draft that could.
Well, I think the top two are a lot more talented than last year's top two. I think last year had a very deep draft, but I think this year is setting up to be a deep draft.
Okay, but that's the thing though. Everybody said last year's draft was weak because it wasn't a Cooper Flag. It wasn't.
It didn't have
Edwards,
the
it
top
wasn't,
end guy.
It wasn't that guy that you just think is going to be a superstar. Outside of that, like everybody in this draft, I don't want to say everybody. A lot of people in this draft produced, played,
for sure,
played and played good.
Like I wasn't saying, because the thing some people do with the draft is the talent has to be right in front of your face for you to deem it to be a good draft. But I think there's a lot of valuable players, because when I look at prospects, I look at their floor. Like I value the floor of a prospect a little bit more than I do a ceiling, depending on what team you are. If you're the Brooklyn Nets, you may value ceiling. If you're the Philadelphia 76ers, you may value a player's floor. That's why I think Ace Bailey shouldn't go at pick 3. But when you look at a lot of players in last year's draft, I think Klingon had a high floor. I think Stephon Castle had a high floor. Jared McCain was somebody I was very high on. I was also very high on Topic. Even Bobby Klintman, who hasn't played at all for the Pistons. Wow. I was high on him as well. So there was a lot of players that I was high on in the draft, even if like they don't end up being an all-star player. It's just somebody that can bring value and have multiple layers to their game to keep their team at a level pace when they're on the floor. And I think that's one of the best parts about the draft is you're 9 times out of 10, you're going to be wrong about a lot of players, but that's what makes it so exciting to me.
That's the beauty of it. Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I'm still not sold on the big fella either though. Maluach, I don't think that.
Oh yeah, John Z swears he's the second coming. I don't know.
Is that the give him Duke? That's the give him Duke.
I've been saying the same shit too, though.
I do think he needs to stay in school for one more year, though. I don't think
he's right there. He's right there.
That's right. One more year of school, Ox, and you'll be sold.
He's a decoy candidate in the future.
I done seen this story so many times with these African niggas.
Exactly, bro. Y'all
with African niggas. I done seen this story year after year.
I'm talking about so many times.
I'm not saying he's going to be weak.
No.
Don Maker, Mecca Okafor. Goddamn!
Wait. We're gonna respect
Emeka. He wasn't what he was supposed to be. But Emeka was good.
Said he was supposed to be.
Emeka was supposed to be Dwight Howard.
I've seen this story, man. Hell,
he was rookie of the year over Dwight. He's 4 years older, but
they said
only 4 years older.
He was like 14 years old. He was like 14 years old.
Come on, bro.
They said Joey Dorsey was supposed to be Dwight Howard too. Shit, but man, I just seen this story so many times with them, bro. And it's like the kid, John D, he's impressive in college. He's very impressive in college. But in that championship game, he was nowhere near impressive.
Okay.
Now, for it's abnormal potential. When you go and watch him work out and he working out, I fucking hate pro days too. They're fucking working out against nobody and you going through the pick and roll and dunking that shit get on my nerves, bro. And that hot bullshit up too, bro. Yeah. All right, motherfucker, do that shit in the game. Now you got 8 turnovers. Come on, bro. Like,
but when they missing them shorts in pro days,
I don't say nothing. I don't give a shit about missing that. But
I seen Brandon Miller airball.
I don't get that, but it's just like, bro, people look at his pro day and watch him shoot and all that shit just for him to get in the game and don't shoot no threes. And it's like, what the hell we doing?
Yeah,
so
that throws me.
I think
that shit be killing me, bro. Like, oh, he can shoot it, but in the game,
and then that draw profile, shooting potential. Okay,
like that for who?
I think Maluach has like a very high defensive floor. Like I think him and Flag, Duke ran a lot of action, or the Duke ran a lot of sets defensively where they were fine with Flag at the top of the key defending as long as Maluach was the low man, and vice versa. I think Maluach did a really good job of defending on the perimeter in spurts, in opportunities. He has really good foot speed. He has a really good length to even where he does get beat, he has the length to still contest the shot. And that's why I think people, when they talk about his rebounding, he doesn't spend a lot of possessions around the rim as consistently to be as an effective rebounder like Thomas Sorber, who I think is one of the more polished drop coverage bigs and rim protecting bigs in the entire draft. Like I think he's more.
I like Alabama big man better than both of them though.
His name?
Amir. His name is Amir something.
I think he's doing
Alabama big. Yeah, he is doing 1 more year. But I'm saying I like him better than both of them. Like as far as putting him in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, Maluach is still going to be. He's going to be a project coming in. Like I think he provides a floor, but I also think there's so much he can get better at. Like as a rim protector, we see a lot with young centers. They just get really, really aggressive when it comes to chasing blocks, and that could lead to fouls. That can lead to missing a lot of dump off passes and interior passes and giving up offensive rebounds. We see that a lot. I think he'll have a leg up as in guarding on the perimeter, and this is why I mock him to Washington. I think if he goes to Washington with Sarr and Bilal, that's a 3-man trio defensively that could be very, very tough to deal with.
That's his name.
Amori.
His name is Amori. Shit like that.
My thing though, Diesel, is with a guy like Malawak. It's like I look at kind of like, so for instance, like a Zach Edey. And I don't think he's as good as Zach Edey, but I look at it kind of like I'm okay with drafting a guy that I know can't play against everybody, and he'll probably be situational. Like even if it's a lottery pick, just because you're a lottery pick doesn't mean that I expect you to come be a superstar or even an all-star. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you might be a lottery pick and you might come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? If that's what I need. So I think Malawak is probably a good pick for certain teams, but I don't think he's a guy that whoever has the pick and he's up next should take him. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he might end up, especially early in his career, being very situational. Where it's like we'll play you here. Some nights you're going to play 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I definitely think he is a very raw prospect, and sometimes I do project when it comes to him, but I see the ceiling of him, and I think he can be one of the best defenders in the NBA. Even with the young talent defensively we have in the NBA right now, I think once he puts it together, he's going to be one of the best defenders in the league.
But is he a better prospect than Chris Boucher was coming out of Oregon?
I wasn't.
He is a better prospect.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. He wasn't a better college player though.
No, he was not a better college player than Chris Boucher.
Hey, Chris Boucher was
a motherfucker, boy. That's what I'm saying. And only reason why I'm saying that, John D, you could be right. But I'm saying when we compare these guys to players like that, you feel like it's gonna be awesome. Like, don't think remember there were awesome players like that too, and Chris Boucher was very awesome at Oregon.
Yeah,
right? Went to the Elite Eight.
I can see a world.
You don't see N'Faly Dante at Oregon?
Who
you don't know about N'Faly Dante? He's on
N'Faly Dante.
Yeah, Houston's backup big. You don't know about him? You ain't seen him at Oregon? He was tough.
No, hell no, I don't know about him. But I'm just saying, Chris Boucher and Malawak, like it's like, bro, look at the player Chris Boucher is now. He's a solid NBA player, but for what people thinking Malawak is gonna be, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't jump the gun on that. I mean, potential is potential. You could, like John D said, 9 times out of 10, you could be wrong. So,
I just really value what he could become. Maybe not as a rookie, but going into maybe his 2nd, 3rd, 4th season. If things go well for him, I'm not even asking him because he's shown shooting potential. I'm not asking him that out of him. I'm not asking him to knock down threes consistently. But as a defender, I just think the ceiling is so high. As somebody that's 7'2" and can move as good as he does, that's a very high ceiling in my opinion. But that's we can move on though to the super chats. I know we got a lot left.
All right, y'all. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you like the video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe, and become a Hall of Famer like Multi Kenny, like Kingster, who is our latest Hall of Famer. Shout out to Kingster, like Cheese, like Worldwide Mace Television, like Teddy Hart, like Braden, like the GOAT Super Chatter Arch, like Jason Grillionaire, like Miner, like Rob Deere, like Joe Breezy, and all of them. Salute to all of our Hall of Famers. We got a hell of a lineup. Simon718 said, Chill is right about one buddy, not bringing anything to the goddamn show. But y'all also have guests that bring nothing to the show as well. Like a certain throat goat yesterday.
Oh, man, I should have never said that fucking name. I should have never said that name, bro. I
got so many messages yesterday about him.
I only said that name because he called me a zesty Jeffrey. By the way, I that's where only.
Jordan, I didn't know you kicked that off.
Yeah, for sure. Come on, man.
So we don't have to rehash that, Ron. To answer this question, win or lose, where does Hallie rank? I'm comfortable having a conversation about him between 15 and 20. I'm comfortable with it.
Right. UMB said,
quick question.
What do you guys
wait, before we
what's up?
About Hallie? I know real quick because I think people are forgetting about this guy. Hallie or Devin Booker?
Devin Booker? The fuck?
What?
Okay,
what is Hallie doing here?
I see Hallie being really high in the rankings, and people are just forgetting about D-Book.
No.
So I just wanted to make
It's
sure
just because it's the playoffs, John D. Like everybody's list and everything gets altered on the playoffs because people, you know how it goes. It's
Book is
basketball. It's
comfortably
happening
a
right
top
now,
10,
so,
a top 15 guy, comfortably.
Yeah.
I still think Zion's better than Hallie. So.
I mean, Mars. I think
not
Zion
really
better than a lot of
ridiculous
mother. I think
What
Zion
you be
better than a
saying-
lot
what you
of
be
mother-
saying, Mars?
Mars,
Zion
don't
he's
play.
up there. He's up there.
Yeah, I don't know where Hallie ranks. I just know that
Mars,
if I
Zion
went
better than a
down,
lot
I'd
of
probably have
people.
him around like 15.
Mars,
I mean,
Zion
it's just
is
an
better than a
overcast
lot
here,
of
so the
people.
sky technically is like white.
If
but-
if
It's blue down
if
here.
Zion just stayed healthy and stayed
It's blue
away
here
from them
too.
abnormal cheeks, I promise you he would have more. He would have
Abnormal
more in the
cheeks.
tank if he stayed away from all of that off the court stuff. He'd have room to wiggle.
You say abnormal cheeks?
That's what I
Oh
said.
man, Jesus Christ!
Thought
Yes.
that's
Oh
what-
All
my
right,
God.
y'all.
That shit
UMB.
looks
That shit
nasty.
crazy. Hey, that shit is crazy, bro.
Oh.
Zion a
UMB
big nasty.
said-
Wow.
Oh.
UMB said, "What do you guys think this series would look like if Trey replaced Hallie?"
Oh,
Okay,
way
so
better.
swept them. Okay,
It
so
would
swept
be
OKC and 4. OKC.
Jordan,
No,
just
it'd
walk
be
around
preseason
like this.
6.
Just walk
OKC
around
60.
like this, Jordan. What you doing? Why you walking
that
around
boy.
like
That boy. Hey, that boy Zach. That boy. That
Ain't no
boy
way,
Zion
right?
is
Jordan,
a
they
freaky
would-
man.
they would-
diagram. Okay.
Jordan, they would go after Trey Young way more.
And he would
It's
go
not- I
after
don't
them
even think
way
the offense
more.
would be as good. I don't
And
think
the
He would go
offense
after
would be
them way more.
They get swept. I don't.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
Get
think that. I don't think that
swept.
means Trey is worse than
Please.
Halliburton. Like I just
Man,
different
please,
team,
they ain't
different
get
system.
swept.
I think they get.
Jordan, what you doing walking around like this?
MP13 said it's kind of too
Man,
late,
that shit
Jordan.
crazy.
He'd be in his mid to late 20s by the time he gets competent teammates, and his bad habits will be too ingrained in him.
He's talking about.
You talking about LaMelo? I don't think so. I think he a wild boy in his head, man. LaMelo is a wild boy, bro. It's like he's 23 years old, a wild boy. I think, man, little vet that's about 28, 29, that can come over there and and kind of show him some things. Still hang out with him. Still, them motherfuckers need to quit wearing all that jewelry on the sideline. Though. They need to cut that shit out. But somebody that that just get him real, and just bond with the kid, bro. His brother. He need his brother over there. I don't get how.
I don't
Look at
know
how
if his brother
GMs
helps
is
him.
overthinking this
I don't
shit.
know. I
Please,
really
I'm
don't.
getting Jello.
I'm trying to
I'm trying to get
Lonzo.
Jello. I'm getting
Jello.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Hey,
I'm
you
getting
gonna-
his brother.
I
over
don't
there.
even think Jello is still trying to hoop, but I'm
Shit, yeah, he
I'm
is.
trying
gonna
to get
turn-
Lonzo. If I'm trying to build a serious team, I'm trying to get Lonzo. That's what I'm.
Yes, I'm trying to
Yeah.
get Lonzo.
Get
I'm
Lonzo
getting his
over
brother
there.
over. Hey,
All right, then hire LeVar too.
No, hell no. LeVar
Nah,
gonna
let's
be,
do it.
LeVar,
Let's-
LeVar,
let's-
LeVar gonna be showing favoritism. But listen, what
just-
I'm saying is
yeah.
this though. What I'm saying is this though. You got to get them comfortable. Ain't nobody saying nothing about when Giannis get his fucking brother. He got 4 of them.
I think we.
He had 4 of them. He had 4 of his damn
But
brothers.
this the
So
thing.
Jello
This the
not better
thing, though.
than
This the
little
thing,
one?
though, Jordan. You got to
What's
look
the
at
little one
different.
name?
You got to look at
Alex.
the different
Right.
ones though. There's a difference between Giannis and LaMelo. You know what I'm saying? Like Giannis have his brother because he a family oriented dude. His brother brings him calm and peace.
Man, please.
LaMelo think his brother's around. He like, man, my brothers is here. I can do what I want. I can act up even more.
They gonna
He
be-
a live wire.
they gonna be hooping.
He
No,
gonna,
no,
you know what
no,
I'm
no,
saying?
no.
First, what he
Nah,
need
nah.
to do, what he need to do is
I
get
seen
some
Zoe- I
media
seen Zoe
training.
be a big brother.
He need to
definitely
get
need
some
that.
media training.
Definitely
Calm
that.
down. You know what I'm saying? Be a professional. You know what I mean? His brothers ain't gonna
Yeah,
do nothing but
I
turn
agree.
him up more. He gonna especially Jello. Man, come on, but what?
Yeah,
He-
no.
he gets-
I think Jello was.
I
the
seen-
first-
I bet
Jello
you
ain't
was
no
the
throw
first.
in.
Lonzo
Ain't no throw
Lonzo
in.
don't want to be no. Lonzo don't want to be nowhere around them
Antetokounmpo
fools.
was in the NBA.
He was
Listen,
on the- he was on the Bucks
Lonzo
TV.
don't want to be around them
He
fools.
shouldn't have been on
Jordan.
there. But listen,
Dude,
no, hold
you-
on,
you-
Ox.
you-
Listen. Lonzo, I've seen Lonzo interact with Melo like a big brother. Like he for sure be stopping Melo from doing some crazy shit. It's just shit. They're on 2 sides of the world now. I'm telling you, like Lonzo with Melo, that's a serious, like you being serious, because Lonzo got a serious demeanor. Like he's a serious
Right,
guy.
that's what
I'm
He's
saying
also a good player. So that helps.
yes,
By the
also
way-
that's true. I'm saying
By the way,
if
that's-
Jello
that's
don't
important
even
to mention.
play, if Jello don't even play, I just know I got all three of the Ball brothers. So there's no more distractions about you need to go get Jello. Because once you get Lonzo, they gonna ask for Jello. So you might as well get all three of them. He can be the 15th man or whatever you want to do. Put whatever you want to do. And Jello got a flamethrower, regardless of what y'all want to believe. he
Y'all
got
do
a
remember
flamethrower.
Thanasis used to be good, right? Like everybody,
No, he never was good.
Thanasis.
No,
Yes, he
I
was.
remember
Yes,
he was
he
in the
was.
Jordan,
Chill, he
Thanasis
was
was
Yes,
not
he
good.
was.
He was not.
Thanasis
I
was
remember
better
him
than
when he was with the Knicks.
Before he got on
I remember
Milwaukee,
him
it
with
was a
the-
serious conversation between Milwaukee and the Knicks. That was happening. That was
Thanasis
going
was
on.
better than
The
Giannis
Knicks
for a
drafted
minute.
him. The Knicks
Yeah.
drafted him, and then the
Yeah,
Knicks
'cause
wanted
that-
to
yeah, 'cause
sign him
that
in
whole-
free agency.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Quiet,
maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, maybe it was.
His brother.
Thanasis, like Jello, is not an NBA player. Thanasis
Wow.
at one point in time, I think, had NBA potential.
Mhm.
Now,
Man, shit.
No.
Jello got a flamethrower, boy. Jello got
that's
a
that's
flamethrower.
cool.
all I'm saying.
Jello's a 6'5" power forward. I'm sorry.
That's what PJ Tucker is.
Yeah, and the issue is PJ
Without
Tucker
the
guard.
defensive
Like,
chop.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like-
Out the defense.
We
dog.
don't-
Leave
we
that
don't
down.
even know- we don't even know if-
I can't guard.
But
Like,
we don't
I'm
even know.
sorry.
And he can shoot the. Hey, he shoot the shit out that ball. But
He
we don't
do,
even know.
but-
But we don't even know if Jello can guard. We never seen him.
But Thanasis put
Jello
put
is
himself
like-
on though,
Jello's
Jordan.
like a worse Yabusele. That's what Jello is. He's a worse Yabusele.
No, he's not even in them that conversation.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yabusele.
does.
Thanasis dunked on Braun.
Thanasis
put himself in the
I said
game
what?
though. There's a difference. There's
Yeah,
a
he
big
did, he
difference.
did.
Like
No,
Thanasis
he did.
got to the league by himself on his
Yeah,
own.
he did. On the bank of his brother was coming, but I feel that Giannis
No.
Giannis was in the
No,
second division. Giannis was in the second
Thanasis
division.
was drafted the year after Giannis.
Yeah, but he
But
was
he
he
was-
was
but he
no,
wasn't
no,
drafted
Thanasis
when
was
he
going
Thanasis was
crazy.
drafted before.
No, Thanasis was drafted in 2014.
But what
Yeah,
he
but
just didn't
Thanasis
come.
was drafted before.
Thanasis was drafted in 2014. I know.
Thanasis was already balling before that. Though.
He was-
I
He
think
was
he
cooking
got
at
drafted on
Panathinaikos.
Thanasis got drafted off his own merit. I'm just letting you know. He
Yeah,
got
that's
drafted
what I'm
the year
saying.
after Giannis. Like, I just
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying he didn't get drafted because of
Giannis. Yeah, I mean the
Right.
Knicks drafted him.
Y'all, I got more super chats though. So as much as I would love to
Super
talk
chat,
about
that's-
Thanasis and Jello and LeVar really being the coach over there,
Rest
make
in
sure you
peace
go vote
to
on the
his-
poll too on who you
Rest in peace
would
to
rather
Jello
be.
rap career. That shit over with. But
Yeah,
he might as well get back to
What do you have?
hooping though.
He had 2 songs.
Yeah, he
Three.
had that song with Glorilla.
He had 3. He had 3.
Oh, 3-hit wonder. 3-hit wonder.
3 hit 1. in 1 year.
Nidell said, although they played in the dead ball era, would the 2004 Pistons be as dominant as OKC now or even better?
No, the offense
Yeah.
sucks.
I don't think they have the half.
It would be better.
court
It would be
scoring.
better
That's
though.
crazy.
It would be better in this. It would be better in this era. You would just space it out a little bit more. You would just have Ben Wallace setting them big ass screens like Steven Adams. Like Ben Wallace setting a screen on you. He was probably split you in half. I ain't gonna lie. He keeps setting them
Yeah,
handoffs.
but
and shit all day.
are we still getting the Ben Wallace post ups that I was subjected to?
No, hell no.
You don't need those. But you know what you do got? You know what you do got? You got Rasheed Wallace.
I was just about to say, how good do y'all think Rasheed is in this era?
But the
He's
He's
the
the
best
best, he's the best power forward in the NBA, Diesel.
But with that being said,
Anthony Davis.
What position
still
is Anthony Davis?
Ben Wallace
Shout out
can't be
to
hidden
Giannis.
on offensive.
I
On
forgot.
offense,
Oh my
Ben
God.
Wallace cannot.
Shout out to Giannis.
Ben Wallace can't do what you?
Ben Wallace can't be hidden on offense. He can't be.
You don't
No.
gotta hide him though. Ben Wallace. First of all, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people might disagree, but go back and watch the tape. Ben Wallace was a decent passer. I'm gonna tell you that now. Decent passer.
Sure.
Decent passer.
When you suck at everything, the thing you suck the least that makes you look.
Hey, whatever. No more. Out of that short roll, Ben Wallace was making.
It's the same
decent
reason I've been
decisions.
like, hey, Killian Hayes can pass. Like, yeah, when you suck
hell
at
no,
everything
that- no,
else.
that's what you do with Ben Simmons garbage ass. But this is
Ben
what I'm
Simmons
saying.
can pass. Ben Simmons can pass.
But this is what I'm saying. Ben Simmons throw a fucking transition wide open pass.
So Ben Simmons-
Man, he did really
Ben
good at
Simmons is a better
transition
passer than
last
Ben
night.
Wallace.
Yeah, he is. But this is what I'm saying. He is. But this is what I'm saying. Ben Wallace, you would use him kind of like a Steven Adams role, but you would just have him in handoff situations, step up screens. Bro, he would wear you down by setting screens and rolling to the basket. And he could finish too, by the way. He just not no post up. Yeah, he ain't no we not doing no post ups.
Ben
We just
Wallace
gonna spread
finished
them
in
out.
2025. Okay.
I mean, Ben
Ben
Wallace is
Wallace
Ben Wallace is
real.
better than Iheart. And one thing I don't know. if
Definitely
everybody
better
knows,
than
Overall,
Iheart.
Yeah,
Ben
he's
Wallace,
definitely better
Ben
than
Wallace definitely wasn't just no slow-footed.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know,
Ben Wallace
Yeah,
was
no,
athletic
no.
freak.
Ben Wallace was a
So we-
boy,
so
Ben
we
Wallace
know he
was
not
like
gonna
a
play that
nature.
role. What I'm saying is, I wish Alex
the best
Caruso.
defender in the league today.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I wish
Yeah.
Would he be better
Alex
than Wemby?
Caruso would try to guard.
Yeah.
Would try to guard
I think he'd be
Rasheed
better
Wallace.
than Wemby.
Chill, you know Rasheed
Hey.
Wallace to do to Alex Caruso.
Tear his ass up.
Anybody know
Get
Rasheed
locked
Wallace?
up. Yeah, get locked
Yeah,
up.
you crazy as hell. Hey, I ain't gonna tolerate no Ben Wallace slander. I went to school with his nephew. Shout out to Silas Wallace. We was like,
I
9
really
years old. We
like
was
Ben
best friends.
Wallace, but if I have to go watch the Pistons draw up post-ups for him one more time,
Shout out Ben Wallace.
Hey, shout out Ben Wallace and Silas Wallace. We was like best friends at like 9 years old. I haven't seen that nigga since. I don't know.
Shout out to
I probably walked
Silas
past him a lot.
and also shout out to Cecil too. Your Highness Charles, Your Highness Charles said the narratives about Maluach are stemmed in ignorance. I'm sorry. He's not raw at all. Like, I really wish folks would do more research on him before yapping.
Yeah, you
What is that saying?
I think he's raw. I think he's raw.
Yes,
Is that super chat saying that we
his
think he's
ceiling
too
is
good,
so
or is that
high?
super chat saying that we think he's?
We don't think he's good enough.
Not yet.
Hold on.
There's a lot more there. I mean, South Sudan just got a basketball court that they training on.
Yeah, he hasn't been playing ball long.
Like,
Maluach hasn't been playing ball.
What are we talking about, Your Highness?
So wait, is Your
Like-
Highness saying that we're not high enough on him?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
he's saying that he thinks that we are overhyping him, that he's raw and he's going to get a lot better.
Oh, that's not how I am. That's not how
No,
I
he
am.
said he's not raw at all. Like,
I think
Yeah,
he's
like,
saying that
not raw.
Maluach is just really, really good right now.
NBA ready. Like, he's NBA ready right now.
I might have interpreted it
don't-
wrong, but that's what I am.
As an offensive player, I think he's very raw. I think his hands could be a lot better around the rim, especially as a lob catcher. He's shown some things like a face-up mid-range jumper. I don't think he's going to do any of that in his rookie year. I don't think they're going to really try and go to him with that. He does have a really good form for a big. Once again, I just don't think they're going to be going to
Seen
any type of
zero
jump
flashes
shot.
of passing. But,
Exactly, that as well. Defensively, once again, over aggressive, chasing blocks a little bit too much. He could be a better rebounder, even though I don't think he played around the rim as much as people would think. I still do think he could be a better rebounder. That goes back to his hands, but I still think just as a prospect, he can get a lot better. And the base is there. The base is there. I see the path to him becoming one of the best defensive players in the game. And if we can continue to build off that, off the intangibles that he has, the athleticism, the size, the strength, we can get there.
Pimp named Slickback said OKC is a better team. I'm hearing, Hallie got exposed. Yes, that's what they do. The best player dropped 8% in true shooting and averaged 5 turnovers versus this team.
yeah, I do think we're at a point where like the OKC defense just does things to stars that not many other defenses can do, which is why like I'm not. My opinion of Hallie hasn't changed based on this series. I also think that if he is dealing with a calf strain or calf, whatever he's dealing with, it's hard to play with lower extremity issues, and that's definitely not helping the situation. But I don't. My thoughts on Hallie haven't changed at all.
I haven't said this episode. Pacers in 7. Nick Quick said, Ron, we need PC weekend panel versus chat.
No, we don't.
Last time I shot against somebody versus the chat, I won. But I will say somebody from the chat did block my shot. I tried to sneak him. I tried to shoot him while he wasn't looking. He heard me turn around and block my shit. But he definitely did that. I tried to sneak that bit. He blocked him up. But whatever. Last time I shot against somebody versus chat, I lined them up. That's all I'm gonna say. Lined them up.
Pinsare Basketball, whoever this guy may be, he said the 3 a.m. lights expose the frauds. OKC shows you who you really are. And right now, the lights are too bright. OKC in 6.
This is the first time OKC have led the series, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cam Cobain said, I'm taking a hypothetical, fully healthy Joel Embiid over all of them.
Man, hell no.
I got Jokic, but Embiid second for me.
Embiid gonna turn into Joel Embiid Harden.
I'm
really
taking
not mad at
Embiid.
that, so
I'm
back
taking
to
Embiid, and I mean this because I think I'm like the AD guy up here. I'm taking Embiid comfortably over Anthony Davis. I love Anthony Davis. When we did our top 10 power forwards ever, I think I had Anthony Davis at 6. I love Anthony Davis.
Did you have him? Did you have him over? Did you have him over 32?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought you was being biased.
It was unbiased. Let me check where I had him. I had him. Bear with me. It might have been 7. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I had him 6. I had him right behind Giannis. I had him 6.
So where did you have number 32?
3.
Okay, cool. I
was being unbiased.
I was about to say because boy, I watched a lot of film yesterday. Boy, I watched the finals they was in. I think that was 97. Was it 97?
It was in that 97 and 98. So.
Where you got him at, Jordan? Where you got him at?
2.
That's where I got
Ben
him.
KG?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I ain't doing that.
You know,
he third to me,
yeah.
but I ain't doing that.
Bro, first of all, he was a goddamn big ass football player playing that power forward position. And as skilled as he was, I've never seen somebody that goddamn big play like that in the NBA, bro, with touch. bro, he big as a football player, bro. Like big as a big ass ox. Like that probably was his nickname back
The
then.
real big ox.
Yeah, bro, he was big as shit, bro. And you look at him, and you think like, he ain't gonna do this. Shit, boy, he can move, he can touch, pass. Like, nah, bro, I got him better than KG.
Sounds like you're describing KG. He's just skinny.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
Mark,
yeah.
since we're able to separate the man from the actual act.
This is the only time you're gonna get a genuine.
That's what I'm talking about.
conversation
Since we're able to separate the man from the act, I just think his ability to post up and seal guys. He was a deer in transition. He had a money mid-range game.
At the free throw line too, Till.
He's a better scorer than KG was for sure. Like he was a. I don't want to say he was a better shooter.
Wasn't he second all time in points before Bron got up there?
Yeah, he had like 36,000 something like that.
Yeah,
like
shit,
he's and I think the longevity is a huge reason why I have him number 3.
I think he was a more consistent. I think KG was a more productive. I think he was a more consistent rebounder than KG.
Bro, this man, chill. This man had 2 years where he scored under 20 points. His first year and his last year.
He averaged 28 and 11 for 11 straight years. That's almost 30.
Bruh, that's exactly what I'm saying, bro. That shit is crazy.
His longevity is crazy.
He was averaging 31.
No, I do think KG comfortably clears him defensively. And I think as a passer, I don't think 32 became that level of passer where it was comparable until like the late 90s for me. And I think KG was a better
passer. He was first team defense too, though, Mars. I know KG.
Yeah. KG's one of the 5 best defenders I've ever seen. So
I
ain't gonna argue with that one. I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not gonna argue on that one.
But 32, that's the thing. I think
I would love to have this conversation later because this is something that I would love to have in the offseason.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna get a serious conversation out of me ever again after this. But yeah, I had him at 3. I'm comfortable with him at 3. I think he's comfortably. I had Dirk at 4. I think he's comfortably over that. So I had him at 3.
MP13 said, Chill and Ron getting fired. They are killing the team. We praise coaches for in-game adjustments, except when it comes to star players. We are here to win.
That's where I'm at. Well, I don't know about you guys getting fired, but no one's above an adjustment. If the adjustment is you're hurting the team, you need to come out. Then
and you did adjust.
The adjustment is then we need to fire Chill and Ron. Then we gotta make an adjustment.
Fire me. Hey, do what you got to do because I'm doing what I got to do. Cowboy Bob said Hallie's turnovers have raised the last 2 games. TJ stepped up a lot. Starting TJ over Hallie, I think that's a move that can get your head coach fired. Go New York, go.
No, ain't no.
Nah, you ain't supposed to.
Ain't no one saying change the starting lineup.
I was trolling. I was trolling when I was saying that shit. I was trolling when I was.
How much do y'all really think that factors in though? Like, do you think if he kept TJ McConnell in the rest of the game and they would have lost, do you think like coaches look at stuff like that and be like, "Yo, I benched a star player," and we know how.
But that's what the question would be. Why'd you not go back to Halliburton?
Exactly.
It's all outcome based. If they would have went back with Hallie and then they would have made that comeback and completed it on one. No matter what Haliburton did, like no one would even question it. So it's all based on the outcome of the game, which is.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot.
Rick not getting fired. I can tell you that though.
Yeah, like I think there's not a lot of coaches that have that I think they get prioritized more than some of the players. Like there's organizations where it's like we'll get rid of the coach quick as hell if that means keeping our star player. The Bucks will fire Doc Rivers right now if Giannis says I will stay if he's gone. It's no question.
100% that's happening.
So I think that's the hard part, you know. Like
I don't think they'll do that with Hallie though.
Yeah, I mean Rick Carlisle has built a structure there. I mean, I think Spo before Pop had got away from his head coaching position, I think he was one of those as well. Phil Jackson back in the Laker days.
Step down, by the way.
Yeah,
about time. He's about 3 years too late, to be honest with you.
Trayvon Ray said, to be fair, the answer is somewhere in between. I watched Charlotte significantly. LaMelo is hard to evaluate when half the roster shouldn't be in the league.
Agreed.
I think the team sucks, but I just don't think I can absolve someone of their deficiencies because the team sucks. I just feel like it's a beneficial situation to be in when all of your flaws apparently can just be negated by your team sucking. And then all your strengths can be like, oh, imagine those strengths on a better team be even better. So it's a win-win situation at that point. I don't know. LaMelo's a really talented player. I'm just not.
I mean, you're right, Mars. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I agree with your concept. I just know that there's context to that concept. Is what I'm saying. You are 100% right. You can't do what you believe that's what I'm doing. That's not necessarily what I'm doing. I'm just talking about the undeniable talent of
For sure. Uber talented.
And I'm saying a lot of that, what y'all see is here because of how he approaches the Charlotte Hornets. I think, and you're going to say, well, he approached every team and he played with like that. But a lot of teams he won on. So what I'm saying is put him around some different structure. Put him around some different guys that can go. LaMelo not even going to do all. He's really a passing guy. He likes to pass the ball, even though LeVar think he a 2. But he likes to pass the ball. So
LaMelo's a scorer who's a gifted passer.
Yeah, he is. But this year was like, I mean, when he got with the Hornets, when he upped his scoring a lot. Like him coming into the NBA, I don't think we saw him. So I didn't think I saw him as the scorer that he's became. Because she was shooting bullshit ass shots, and I think
his passing is his best skill. But he's
100%.
He's an aggressive scorer.
But I think he built that over time. I don't think when he first came in, he was that aggressive scorer. Now, you might say he's aggressive because he'll shoot the ball from deep, but he really liked to get in playing transition. He liked to go. He's a Giannis Antetokounmpo type of player, but we don't see it because
I said he would fit next to he would be a better fit next to Giannis, better than Dame.
LaMelo to me is like if Tyrese Halliburton's decision making was just dialed down to like a 3rd. That's just how.
Yeah, but I feel like if LaMelo was playing fast that Pacers offense and under Rick Carlisle, who's going to give him some structure, I think that Pacers team would be better. But
it'd be interesting. I would like to see him in a situation like that, just to see
where a coach can give him structure. Like, yo, bro, instead of shooting this, go to a dribble handoff. Like the same shit I was saying about with Jalen Green. You need that structure.
Fellas, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, chill.
All right, but that's all I was saying about the LaMelo thing. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you about what you're saying. I'm just saying I think this kid would be a lot better on a different team.
I hope so. I want to see it.
Your Highness Charles said, I don't know why we aren't acknowledging that these are abnormal circumstances. Nobody has seen a defense this good in over 20 years. Pacers tried their best.
I remember a year ago when the Timberwolves locked up the Nuggets. People were saying that same thing about the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I remember. This defense, the best defense since the 08 Celtics, all-time defense. And then I watched the Mavericks obliterate that defense. And then those talks were just crickets. So I do remember that. I'm not saying that makes OKC. I'm not saying that takes away from OKC's defense. It's just I do remember like people saying that. So it's
okay.
It was a funny thing.
You gonna watch Luka do it again next year. Just wait. Just wait. I'm telling you, this revenge tour, real quick, Jordan. Let me get this off. This revenge tour is going to feed generations, and I'm going to be here.
You might be right. Hey, John D. You know what's crazy though? John D. You know what's crazy though, John D?
What?
After Luka start playing good, I'm gonna flip the script and start praising him. I don't know, like I know people expected me to hate on him. I'm not hating on him. I never was hating on Luka. I just think what he did last year was some bullshit. That's what
he wasn't fantastic this year. He was not the Luka that we know Luka can be. But you see that weight starting to trim off a little bit. You see him locking in his head. He gonna come in next year. I'm gonna just let y'all find out.
Shout out to Luka for losing the blubber suit.
I hope the Lakers are good with Luka Doncic, but I also hope, I'm gonna be real, and I know a lot of people don't like this. I genuinely hope LeBron James retired next year, bro. I genuinely hope that he retires this offseason, because this is why I don't think they can play together. I just don't think they can. And it's not a knock on LeBron, or it's not a knock on Luka. I just don't think at this stage in LeBron's career, I don't think he can make the adjustment to play alongside Luka Doncic. And if that's the case, either trade LeBron or LeBron retire and just build you something with Luka Doncic. But
I do think this is LeBron's last year. And to be completely honest, one of the biggest things I get mixed up with, people think I'm a Bron fan. I'm cool with LeBron. I'm cool with the Lakers if Bron's here or not. And we could use that salary cap.
100%.
So if he retires, you had a great career. Thank you for bringing my team a championship. I really appreciate it. Spend time with your wife, your kids. You know what I'm saying?
Dre Wheatley sent through a super chat and said, question for the panel. If SGA wins a ring, does he pass other PGs who never won, like Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, or Stockton all time?
Too early in his career right now.
I think he's better than two of them.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's too early in his career right now, though. I think he's too early in his career right now, bro.
Yeah,
I agree that he better than two of them, though. Nash and Stockton.
Yeah, it might be a different two from all of us, but I think he's better than two of them.
Nash and Stockton for sure.
He's better than two of them in my opinion.
I don't give a damn, Mars. You can't replace a dude because he got braids, and you think you
he
can
better than
take
two of them in my opinion. That's all I said. He better than two of them.
Don't you ever play with Allen Iverson like that? Don't you ever play with Allen Iverson like that?
He's better than two of them.
You look at a nigga with braids and think you can replace him with another nigga with braids.
But I think the longevity holds him out.
And no tattoos too.
Holds him out, period.
How you gonna have braids with tattoos?
I think longevity holds him out for all time.
Now Mars, if he get two of them, and two MVPs,
it won't make a difference to me. Like that for you.
Oh, yeah. This is a really good super chat day. It's been a really
longevity.
I gotta go to the gym and coach the kids that y'all say I can't coach. So I see you guys next time.
He raised a bunch of LaMelos, guaranteed.
I would love to raise a bunch of LaMelos, man. If you can be LaMelo Ball, good for you, bro. You a hell of a player. But like I said, I gotta go change the world. I'll see y'all later on.
Merry Christmas.
All
right, y'all. We got another super chat from Your Highness Charles. Your Highness said a raw prospect is someone whose floor is a non-NBA player. That's not Maluwatch. I think he'd be a backup on a team. His screen setting, pick and roll, and rim protection alone. But agree to disagree.
I'm gonna make this quick, Ron. I think a raw prospect is someone who shows flashes of what they can be, but don't have it all put together. I think coming into the NBA, Scotty Barnes was a raw prospect. Noah Asenge in the draft is a raw prospect. Somebody that has some type of base, but you can see a lot of things that they need to get better at, whether it's inconsistent shooting, ball handling, IQ for the game, passing, rebounding, whatever it is. We can move on though.
Isn't that like all prospects?
Yeah, like a lot of prospects are really raw. Like there's NBA ready prospects, but they're still raw at the same time.
And then you got 2 years away from being 2 years away. The Tijon Salons.
Yeah, like
sick for all.
Scotch Tape said Pacers lost the game as soon as they subbed out TJ for Halliburton in the fourth quarter. I get Hallie is the star player, but you got to analyze the situation.
I understand giving TJ a break, and I would have subbed in Hallie, but I would have subbed Hallie out again when I seen the nonsense that was unfolding.
Pimp named Slickback said, all respect to Lakers fans, but if I'm Luka, I'm leaving next offseason. Houston has money. Spurs might have money. Y'all have a lot of holes. Good luck.
There's a lot of talk around Luka leaving the Lakers. I'm not worried until it happens, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not worried about Luka leaving.
I'd leave, but I'm not Luka, so.
Jonathan Frazier said, Ron makes me want to drive my car into a telephone pole, standing on the gas with no seatbelt on. He really came on acting like nothing happened yesterday. What happened yesterday?
Nothing. I mean, it was
there you
cool
go.
Day.
Hey, see, Mark said nothing.
The Hoop Talk podcast happened. That was a good episode.
Oh, yeah, you see?
Thanks.
Thanks. One good thing happened. Slim Jim said, I've never seen a worse player in the first quarter than Obi Toppin. He kills the momentum and looks scared as hell. Like, chill, Obi.
He's going to find a rhythm in the game.
I promise you, it really looked a lot of game 5 looked a lot like game 1. It looked a lot like game 1 in my opinion, but I don't know what you're going to do.
JB Waldo said, Hallie is not better than Trey. Trey is still top 5.
I disagree.
Trey is tricky, man. He's tricky. Like, I can see somebody having him 5 to 7, but then I can also see people having him around 7 to 8. Like, I can see him throughout 5 to 8, just because he doesn't get the best shots just due to how tall he is. Yeah, it's really tough with Trae Young.
I got Trey. Your Highness Charles said, you can't tell me he's worse than Jalen Brunson when JB is awful on defense and a black hole at times on offense. No offense, but your eye test overrates him.
Who's he?
Jalen Brunson.
No,
he's talking about Hallie.
Oh, Hallie.
I value Jalen Brunson's self-creation a lot more.
Yeah.
I understand the heliocentrism and I understand the defense. The defense is definitely what makes it. I could convince myself of Haliburton, but advantage creation, self-generation, I value that as the most valuable skill set in the NBA. And Jalen Brunson has that in spades.
and Haliburton
Yeah.
leaves a bit to be desired.
Brunson would be living at that free throw line in this series. Living there.
Pimp named Slickback said, one guy in this draft I do not want is Ace Bailey. I'm sorry. If my Nets draft him at 8, I might actually crash out. The interview questions are scary.
He's a confident guy.
He might be like a Cam Whitmore kind of guy, like where he may fall. He may fall.
Not that far though, surely.
Yeah, I would say like maybe the lowest is probably top like 10 or 11. But coming into the season where he was mocked like second best prospect in the draft, that's a significant.
If he's on the board for Portland at 11.
Yes.
If he's on the board for Portland at 11, I take him.
He's on the board for Houston at 10.
I don't take him. You guys are a playoff team. I don't think if you guys are looking to make the playoffs, I don't think Ace Bailey's the pick. I think there's so many more playoff prospects that can probably excel a little bit more than Ace Bailey. I think that's who they go with. I think if it's a team like Portland that if Ace Bailey, because I've said this multiple times, if Ace Bailey figures out the handle and he builds offense consistently for himself, easy offense, I think he could be the best scorer in this draft. But right now it's just upside. So
Your Highness Charles said Brunson has the edge offensively, sure, because of his scoring. But the gap that gives Hallie the edge is the massive defensive gap. JB ain't in them talks either.
I don't know what talks he's alluding to, but for me, the top two is the top two. Luke and Shea. Steph is by himself, just chilling up third, just comfortable, being all old and stuff. Then Brunson, Hallie would be my 4 and 5. And then after that, I have no idea.
To be completely honest.
Yeah, we can start with LaMelo.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I think Cade would probably be next, but I don't know. So, Kyrie. I don't know.
Yeah, because Kyrie's a point guard now.
Yeah, someone 6. I don't know who, but someone 6.
Shout out to Zay 2024 for becoming a YouTube member. Be like Zay. Nadeo sent through a super chat and said, who is a better leader and playmaker, Garland or LaMelo?
Garland. It's at least a playmaker. I think.
I don't know who's leading whatever, but I think Garland's the better playmaker.
I think Garland gets
the better
downhill.
leader. I think LaMelo's a much better playmaker.
I think Garland gets downhill into the rim more consistently, and he shoots better at the rim. Like if he's bending the defense more, and he's a better mid-range shooter. Like if he's gonna bend,
he has a better handle.
Yeah,
I think his decision making clears. I think his accuracy is better as a passer. LaMelo can have passing angles that Garland doesn't have. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just uncharacteristically high on Garland.
Your Highness Charles said, yeah, y'all, especially Mars, downplays how bad JB's defense is compared to Hallie. I know y'all are scared of math, but the math and the eye test shows a massive gap.
I think I'm the lowest on Brunson's defense here.
Cook, Charles.
And I think I'm the highest on Halliburton's defense here. I think I make the gap bigger than anyone up here.
Keep cooking, Charles. Keep cooking.
What? I mean, I guess.
Hey, Charles, man, you couldn't have said it any better than me.
I guess.
MP13 said Jalen Brunson was killing the Knicks on defense, and Tibbs benched him for 12 straight in-game minutes for McBride, and they brought the game back.
I think that's
they just talking about in-game adjustments.
They have bench Brunson before. Yep.
Yeah.
LeVar B. Ballin was yapping when he said Nash would have won that game, Ron.
I do think Nash's dribble penetration is better, but
yeah, I mean,
Ron, you're sick, bro. You're just sick.
Steve Nash would not have won that game last
You're
night.
just sick,
I don't.
bro.
Maybe they win. Maybe they lose. I'm probably leaning towards lose anyway. But Nash is better than Halliburton. So
You
Yeah,
guys do
that's
know
all I'm saying,
if
bro.
Steve Nash is playing in this series, you do know that the series is over, right?
Sure, he's still better
Yeah,
than
'cause
Halliburton. Like, I don't care.
All right, that's all I want y'all to know.
I don't know that.
Everything
I
y'all
don't
said
know
about
that.
Trey. You said they get swept with Trey, they get swept with Nash.
What?
Sure.
Shit, Ron.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying.
Halliburton
This
and
is
this
what I'm
many.
saying. They don't lose game 4 with Nash.
What happened?
They
again?
lose game 1 with Nash.
The Benedict Mathurin.
They all that shit, bro. Like, look,
yeah,
I
they lose
think
game 1 with Nash.
I think Steve Nash is overrated, but he's just much better than Tyrese Halliburton.
I think Steve Nash is underrated, but yes, I think he's better. Sorry,
Rob Lowe said, I love Hallie, but his ass needed to ride the pine last night. TJ had it going. Why is it so hard for you to get it, Chill? Huh, Chill?
he was just.
Oh,
in
we
the
got-
chat.
we got some new members. 300 J Baller became a new member. UMB also became a new member. Your Highness Charles became a new member. Field Boy 7 became a new member. Back to Basics joined up. Jalen sent through a members chat and said, turn 23 today. In my Bron year, Dub show, Dub Pistons.
That's your Jordan year. That's not your Bron year, buddy.
It's his Bron year.
That is true. Definitely in his Jordan year.
Happy birthday.
Naptown said Pacers still gonna win. LOL. Keep doubting.
I want to see a game 7. I don't care who wins the series. I just want to see a game 7. First time since 2016, right? In the finals.
You know, if the Thunder lose, it's gonna be real ugly. It's gonna be real. Mars, I had found that video in the archive. It's ready to go, just in case.
Naptown said Pacers in 7, and I agree. Zigsaw Puzzle said, "Can we get a panel big board episode
For the draft?
Yeah, we can make something like that happen.
I'm
We
not
can
locked in.
draft
I'm not. It's like where you project like the best prospect, keep a flag, and you go all the way down to like 60 or wherever you want to start.
Oh, okay. Got you.
We could do it. I mean, it's gonna be carried by John D and Penn.
Yeah, I'm not locked in enough to where
can
I'd
do
be
it.
able to contribute to that conversation a whole lot. But
I can give you
Mar-
40,
Mars,
I can give you 40 to 45 names. Like
Yeah,
that's
Mar-
I can participate in the first
Mars.
5
Yeah,
picks.
our contribution would just be us asking questions, and we'll let John D and Penn once again do what they do.
me and Penn just did.
Jordan, maybe.
Bro,
Jordan.
I'm
Yeah, but you
so
did it from the
not. I am
Raptors perspective.
so not interested. I am so not interested in hearing about life lessons that this kid picked up in the 3rd grade, living over. I'm so not interested in that. Right? I swear, I have
Respect
agendas
Penn
upon me
Walton?
that day.
Can you respect Penn Walton?
I will not. Okay, I will not. I got much love for Penn and the legend Bill Walton, or RIP. But I am so not interested in hearing that, and I definitely got to go get that toothache fixed on that day. So.
Bill Walton, another underrated legend, by the way, because his peak was shortened by injuries. Amazing.
Oh my God, Bill Walton used to piss me off with that, bro. He used to make me so mad. You know this kid, his mom, when she was 17. Well, I'd be like, yo, Bill, bro, we got a good game going on, Bill. Please, not right now.
Bill was a bad commentator, man.
Nidale said, "I value playmaking a
Good
lot,
riddance to the
but
Dubs,
that man
crazy.
Ron said LaMelo was better than Kyrie. Lord help us."
Help us.
Yeah, I just think Kyrie's underrated on this show. No, I don't even think that's about LaMelo. I just think Kyrie's underrated.
I don't even remember saying that. I've been trying to look for Buddy in the chat, and I feel like y'all just overreacted. But if any of you guys find Buddy in the chat, direct him to my office. Last but not least, Artur Vieira sent through a super chat and said, "Russ won MVP and took the Thunder to 6th with the fucking trash team. Oladipo injured, Roberson and Adams, who simply don't score. LaMelo is in the East.
Russ is better than LaMelo.
Yeah, LaMelo and Russ is like, and on top of that, too, like when LaMelo did that, when Russ did that, how old was Russ?
27, 28, maybe.
28. This is after he already won multiple scoring titles, assist titles, was an MVP. Or he was MVP that year, but he was a little older. Like LaMelo still has growing to do, and I'm not denying he still has improvements. And I also said too, this is hypothetical. This is in theory if LaMelo pans out to be what I believe he can be. As of right now, like I said, I got him around. I think I said 9-10.
I also think it's plainly obvious that Charlotte may suck. They suck less when LaMelo's on the court.
That's a fact, Bill. I see what you just said in the chat, Ron. You're gonna say that about how he's better than LaMelo, but you said that shit about Michael Jordan earlier.
We done with the 80s.
You was in your feelings so bad right there, bro.
Another super chat slipped in from Nidale. Nidale said, "I'm so tired of the CP3 disrespect. I've seen people say that Shea clears him, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Isaiah Thomas, Westbrook, and Chauncey. CP3 is a top 5 point guard. Doesn't matter who gotta go."
When we did
on that note,
when we did the list last year, top 10 point guards, I had CP3 at 5. I'd probably maybe 4. I think I'd maybe have him at 4 in hindsight, but that's where he's at. He's 4 or 5. Yeah, he's probably stuck at 5. Yeah, he's 5, but I think he's the 5th best point guard, 5th greatest point guard ever, which is amazing.
I got Chris Paul wherever you guys got LaMelo Ball.
Okay. Okay.
What?
You got it, Ron.
All right, y'all. It was a hell of an episode. Y'all be sure to pull up to Playback on Thursday. You know where we gonna be. In the meantime, From the Logo is today, so make sure you pull up, like the video, and spam Alabama. In the meantime, in between time, we'll catch you at the same time tomorrow. We out.